Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are all doing well. We're back in business. I know it's been a while since we've had some tournament action here on the channel, but we are here with the ECL Season 6 Qualifier number 6, and we have just reached the top 4. So the first match of the day is certainly going to be quite a bit of fun. Let's jump on over and take a look. It is going to be Enticity of Clan ODM facing off against the champion of Clan VM, which is going to be Crabling. The two individuals on the top side of the bracket have yet to be determined. I do not believe anyone's gotten there, but on the top side, we do have Evenstar facing off against Migsa. Evenstar, of course, the Warhammer World Champion in the big World Championship. And then we have Lunacy against Handedance on the other side of that top 4. So it should be quite a bit of fun. How you guys doing? Welcome, welcome. It's good to be back. I know we've been caught up with all the Warhammer 3 stuff, so we kind of got out of the loop a little bit as it pertains to covering some tournament action, but we're here. Yeah, baby. Let's do it. Let's see see if Grom the Paunch is still reigning terror over the forces of the old world. I'm quite curious to see if there's been some adjustments in the meta in the past couple weeks. But yeah, certainly very excited for Warhammer 3, to say the least. Now, for anyone who's just joining, the way the ECL works is essentially we have 8 weeks of competition. Not necessarily right in a row, but we have 8 qualifiers in total. Individuals that win each of these big tournaments, ranging from 50 to usually 90 players, depending on the week and how things are going, do earn this top 8 spot. So here we have Falcon, Alfredino, Imperator, Ice Power, Total War, and Void Lull. So those are our current top 5. Of course, we still have 3 spots to be filled today, so we'll be seeing who will be earning that last spot. Dawi play incoming? Perhaps so. Perhaps so. But nonetheless, it is time. We're going to be jumping into the match here in just a second, so let's go ahead and fire this bad boy up and have some fun. So the first match of the day, I've been seeing this quite a bit, actually. I've been seeing a lot of people picking or ending up with Dark Elves into Vampire Coast. I don't know, maybe people have been practicing it. I used to think it was a pretty bad matchup for Dark Elves, but times are changing. Times are changing. I think the new domination mode is going to be great. I think it's a huge step forward. I think that one of the big limiting factors in terms of Total War for being a truly competitive game that doesn't need policing is the victory conditions for battles. And adding in a victory condition, which of course at first it might not be perfect, but I think over time, Creative Assembly will probably be able to iron it out, and that will create a very good multiplayer experience for us. Very, very excited for what it brings. Now, somebody in chat earlier was asking, this is a question before the stream started, do I think Kislev is just going to be a better Empire? And I think Kislev will be very good at what it does, but I do not think it's just going to, be a better Empire, right? Empire is going to have not better heavy cavalry, but more heavily armored, so it serves that kind of purpose a little bit better of like tanky, sustained combat. On top of that, Empire will have more Lords of Magic. They'll probably have better artillery. They'll have cheaper troops. I think Kislev is probably going to have more expensive infantry in line with Dwarves. So I think they're going to be very different factions. But somebody did ask that while the stream was kind of in the waiting zone. So I figured we'd kind of address that right now. Yeah. Yeah, not bad. Should be fun. Crabling, of course, has got some schemes. Good luck, have fun. Enticity said he accidentally deleted his whole build. No problem, brother. Take your time. I know you've been streaming all day. If you guys haven't seen it, Enticity, of course, over on his channel, has been streaming his run. Doing a great job. He's an amazing caster. Great player as well. Not holding anything back, man. Not holding anything back. So, yes, this weekend we're going to be having some fun events. On Saturday, we will indeed be having a faction war. Sunday, I'm not sure what we'll be doing, but we'll be doing something fun. Whether it be a quick battle stream or something like that. But Saturday is the faction war. The next ECL, I'm thinking about doing a 2-for-1 ECL, where essentially for the last we combine the last 2 qualifiers into one, and the individuals who get first and second will both qualify. Thinking about doing that for the next one. And then the Legendary Lore Tournament is underway as well in the grand final. So they're playing through the top 16 right now, and as soon as that's done, I know people are pretty busy right now, and there's a lot of downtime. Sorry guys, just shutting the door between this and Warhammer 3 and all that good stuff. But yeah, we're getting it going, which is good. What makes them different to the stuff they've, let's see, some questions here. Oh, you're talking about end time stuff, yeah. Faction War will be Saturday, though. I love the new Kislev trailer. Super fun. Super fun. Oh my god, there's like some Tokyo Drift racing going on outside. But yeah, I love the new units. I think Kislev having the man-bear wagons is pretty funny. I think they're basically just going to be slower versions of Empire wagons, and then they're going to be like actually have some chariot capabilities. So I think they'll be more like chariots than they will be like war wagons are generally used for like kiting and shooting. I think the Kislev variant might not be as good at shooting, might not be as fast, but will be more of a dynamic like chariot piece. That's my kind of suspicion about that. Yeah, and the Kislev Cavalry, of course, is going to be faster, but, you know, more lightly armored, right? I think even the Griffin Legion had, like, what, like, just over 100 armor, whereas, like, Reichsguard Knights and Demis are more heavily armored. The Bear Cavalry also had less armor than Demogryph Knights, so you're basically just trading, like... The Bear Cavalry, though, it'll be really interesting to test them against Demis. They probably would win in a straight-up fight, but the thing about the Demogryph Knights is they have access to healing and, like, you know, lores of magic that support them very well. So that is something to be considered. Yeah. It's not my birthday today. It is not, but thank you so much for the kind wishes. My birthday is actually in July, which is coming up soon, actually. Yeah, a couple months from now, man. If you guys keep saying it every day, eventually it will be true. Hey, thank you, Mr. Crump, for becoming a member. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much, and welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. Hopefully you're enjoying the ECL action. And now, my friends, we're going to be taking a look here at the forces of Crabling, champion of Clan VM. So Crabling going with a huge shady build here. He does have a whole front line of shades with dual weapons. Basically, the reason why you bring the dual weapons here is because I believe they count as different variants towards the total shade limit, right? Just like how you see that with, what are those units called? Oh man, I'm totally blanking right now. But nonetheless, there's a lot of units that have those like similar rule sets. So shades with dual weapons, it looks like there's going to be 4 in total, backed up by 4 standard shades. We have the Crows of Cain, Slaanesha's Harvesters, and a Supreme Sorceress of Burning Head, just to kind of burn through the witches. Now for the forces of the Kraken King, Enticity, hands down the leader of the Vampire Coast, and certainly innovating a lot of meta for them. His front line here is going to be deckhand mobs, backed up by bombers. Up in the sky, we also have handgun mobs and bats. So yeah, double Gunnery White is very meta. Although Scab's Wraith, I'm not quite sure how good it will be against the Shades with their looser formation. I still think it should do some good damage. So Crabling coming in with a very aggressive Burning Head, and getting a win here in Game 1 against Anticity's Coast would be a huge morale booster. Crows of Cain moving in. Crows of Cain going to take a beating for sure, but they do regenerate and are fairly durable, so might be able to get some work going here. And it looks like there is going to be some more Witchcraft going down. Just the miss there. That was Arnsapal's Black Horror, which I believe is a spell. It's like a bound spell, but it does miss right there. So a little bit of unfortunate timing there for Crabling, but all is good. So the Crows of Cain, yeah, Cascading Fire Cloak, trading super efficiently. That is a really, really nice one. Also, it looks like there is a Soul Stealer coming down from the Slaanesha's Harvesters, which does hit all the bats as well as the deck droppers. One deck dropper handgun being healed up by Enticity. And you'll notice this if you watch his gameplay a lot. A lot of people don't kind of use invocations on deck droppers and hounds, but Enticity really realizes the tactical value of these units and often does do that. Now, one unit of Shades here getting Karate Chop pretty good. As far as the other Shades go, the dual weapons, of course, making very, very quick work of these zombies here, cutting through the polearms pretty efficiently. And the whole kind of battle line of Shades has stabilized here. Enticity has very much moved his formation over in this direction. You can see he's kind of secured this side of the battlefield, but so far, Crows of Cain have been the huge MVPs. A decent Burning Head, not the best I've ever seen. It kind of took a little bit of an unfortunate drift, and Enticity did also partially dodge it and move out of the way. Although at the end, it gets some good value. Actually moves through the deckhand mobs on the tail end. Really nice invocation going down as well on top of the Scurvy Dogs. So those dogs are going to be scurvy, and they're going to be enjoying every moment of it. You can see here, 3953 model count is raising up. Scab's Wraith coming down from Enticity on top of the Shades that are very lined up. And now it's going to be cool to see the applications of the Shades and their melee prowess actually against Scurvy Dogs. Normally, of course, Scurvy Dogs have a field day against such units, and with their numbers here, they could probably overwhelm the Shade unit, but Shades with dual weapons will probably actually take out Scurvy Dogs very, very quickly in combat. Right now, we have a pretty damn close game. Balance of power looking pretty even here. Crabling has a big archer line that's very much in shape in many situations in which we've seen Enticity games. His deck droppers are much healthier at this point in the battle. We're very early on, and Crabling has done a pretty exceptional job taking out those deck droppers. 2 of them just wither to dust, which means the extra ammunition is just going to be poured onto this one handgun unit. But for like a very long kind of drawn out game, all you really need is one bat unit, right? Just getting that extra ammo. But man, oh man, that is a lot of Shades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Shades still online. Really handedly defeating. I never thought I'd see the day when the dual weapons would actually have some cool applications, but against the Scurvy Dog heavy play as well as just the cheap zombies, they're really doing an excellent job. Yeah, those Shades are pretty angry for sure. Ooh, beautiful Scab's Wraith goes right down the pipe there. Scurvy Dog's moving in to attack these Shades here, who appear to have earned a couple chevrons over the course of the battle. Burning Head coming in from Crabling. Might as well. I don't think there's too many other targets for his magic. Although, does he have Fireball? Yeah, he's got Flaming Sword. He's got Cascading Fire Cloak, Fireball. Maybe using the Fireball just to kind of pick things off could have been a little bit of a better choice. Now right here, we do have some Gunnery Whites getting Last Samurai, being shot down by the Shades. And, you know, Gunnery Whites are okay in combat. They have low armor though, so Shades actually with the dual weapons should be able to cut through them, especially if you cycle charge with the Supreme Sorceress in the back and just kind of get some blows in there. In the meantime, the other Shades shooting into either Noctilus or the Deck Dropper handguns. A little bit hard to tell, honestly. But this is looking to be a very, very even game between these two top-level players. Obviously, these are two of the best players in the entire community, and they're going fisticuffs here, live on the ECL. So, Shades getting charged down by the Scurvy Dogs. Scurvy Dogs should be able to chew them down pretty effectively. Their 30 armor doesn't do them too many favors here, but the other Shades do pile in, try and get a couple kills, but clearly Enticity is really, really on point with the Scurvy Dog micro. He pulls back before the retaliation. He does also have a pistol summon here, which is blasting into the light armor. And the Shade core is getting much lighter. We have one Shade with 57 here, 37. These ones, of course, are rocking 51. This is a zombie summon, so trying to get away from that certainly is good without having to fight them. One of the Gunnery Whites did pay the troll toll, but having one left here, I would imagine he probably still has a little bit of extra powder there, so the powder is going to be coming in and helping quite a bit. Nice volley coming in from the Shades on top of Count Noctilus there. The Hard Knock Life certainly taking a bit of a beating, and Slaanesh's Harvesters come back but immediately shatter. They could have potentially had some sort of a spell. I'm curious to see if the Supreme Sorceress is going to dive in there. I think chasing down the Deck Dropper handguns isn't a bad idea. She's not very expensive, so even losing her wouldn't be the end of the world. Winds of Magic probably is running a little bit bare bones here for Crabling, I would imagine. We've seen a ton of magic usage of this game. I think we've seen like 3 or 4 Burning Heads. Scab's Wraith goes down, but an unintentional dodge there as Crabling did have an attack animation shooting up here on these units. Pistol Summon will be disappearing here in a moment. And here, yeah, we do have the Shades with dual weapons piling in to fight the Gunnery White. Now, Gunnery Whites, without Crabos, only have 30 armor, like I said. These Shades do have 43 melee attack, 30 weapons rank, a great bonus for his infantry, and you can see that he is actually taking some pretty substantial damage here. His leadership holding at 25, and the other Shades do decide to get into combat while Enticity continues to just be relentless with these hounds, man. They jump over here, they go after these Shades, who do get the Cascading Fire Cloak, which will buy him a second, but they were so beat up. Those Shades literally had like a handful of models left. And man, this is such a scrappy game. And how did the Gunnery White... Oh, okay, that's what did it. Count Noctilus was shooting down Talon, and it looks like the Kraken King might be pulling ahead here on the Bounce of Power. The Scurvy Dogs just being so clutch, and you really see the value of keeping those Scurvy Dogs online. One of them is crumbling down, -17. The other one's crumbling as well. They're both crumbling, and this is actually pretty big. I mean, if the Dogs chase down these Shades here, I think it gives the Kraken King a pretty big advantage. But then again, if the Hounds do crumble down before they can butter the bread of these Shades, yeah, it's a whole different picture. So here, Shades still getting hunted by the Gunnery White. Supreme Sorceress looking pretty grim, and I think Enticity has pulled ahead. It kind of looked like he was a little bit down in the mid-game of that battle, more around the 5-minute mark, but at this point it looks like he has kind of clawed his way back. As you can see, both players are saying good luck, have fun, good sportsmanship on both sides here. And here comes the Supreme Sorceress, going to be jumping in and going after the Gunnery White. And yes, we have indeed seen Enticity in a couple of these ECLs. He's gotten to the top 4 many times, has fallen a little bit short this season, but some very tough opposition. And, it was any given Sunday. So many of his games were so close. And here he is to attempt to qualify and get to the grand finals, which should be quite a bit of fun. And yes, that looks like it's game at this point. The Gunnery White does have his long rifle. Count Noctilus shooting. His Supreme Sorceress isn't a great late game, carry character. Fireballs will be nice and cute. And pretty good right there by Crabling. Does pop the Gunnery White. This would be an insane comeback, but I don't think the comeback's possible with the Scurvy Dogs chasing everything down. GG, well played. Game 1 going to ODM and Enticity. Amazing match. That was awesome. Really, really good scrappy play on both sides. Awesome Dark Elf build. I loved seeing the Shades. They were really neat, and I would imagine a fair amount of them got their value back. Let's go and take a look. 900, 620. Yeah, like really good performance from the Shades for the most part. I mean, a couple of them got shut down, obviously. Something has to pay the troll toll, right? Crows of Cain also amazing. Look at the value on the Crows of Cain. Yeah, man. 1447. Beautiful stuff. And over here for Enticity, this is, kind of his new playstyle, basically, using double Gunnery Whites with bats to replenish ammunition. Really gives you that long, kind of grindy, extended playstyle, which can really drag your opponent through the mud and do some beautiful work. So, but again, I think the big staple of his play is his Hound play. He's so good at chasing down units and keeping those Hounds alive, whereas a lot of lesser Vampire Coast players lose their Hounds in the early and mid game, and then they don't have anything to chase in the late game, and their opponents come back because their army's slower. But he's so good at that. So beautiful play right there. So now we'll be going into the next match here as the players load up their second picks and bans. We are going to be doing the Astalian Tomb. Map set. Good luck, have fun. And we'll see what they decide to play. Yes, yes. That was a really good game. Yeah, a couple Dark Riders could help too. Yeah, you need something to control Scurvy Dogs. But the whole idea with Crabling's build is that the Shades can fight them off, which they can. But the Scab's Grace, the Noctilus firepower with the extra ammunition, there was a lot of nasty stuff going on. The dogs were beast mode for sure. I would imagine the dog value, I think I saw it for a split second. I think one was at like 800 and the other one was at like 1,000 or 1,100. Really good value on the dogs, actually. Yeah, they were chasing units down. Yeah, the Harvesters, I agree with you, Ice Power. The Harvesters had a really nice play in the beginning where they got the Soul Stealer on the blobbed up bats with the Crows of Cain. So that was kind of a cool combo. Crows of Cain with 1400 value is pretty insane. But yeah, 3 Dark Riders would do a better job of controlling the battlefield and keeping Scurvy Dogs in check. Yeah. That will keep them in check. So we can go ahead and check. It looks like it's going to be Chaos versus High Elves here. Always a fun matchup. On the top side of the bracket, we do have an update. So we're going to go to the 4-man bracket right now. And we do have the most recent Warhammer World Championship champ qualifying here. Or not qualifying, but getting to the top 4. So he is going to be fighting for a spot here and facing off against the mighty to be determined, who is going to be either Lunacy or Hanedin. So that'll be our second best of 3 of the day as we load back into the battle and get ready to party. Yes, yes. Hey, Turin, do you maybe ask when you were at Creative Assembly, when will the last... I wish they would tell me. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. I definitely would be very appreciative of a DLC. Especially if it's for the Beastmen. I feel so bad for the Beastmen. They've always just, in everything the Beastmen do, they're just bad. They're bad in campaign. They're mediocre in multiplayer. They're okay in multiplayer. They have a couple niche matchups, but they rarely have epic, solid wins and performances. I just feel like they're such underdogs. And in like tabletop, Beastmen also suck too. That's the funniest part about it. Like Beastmen are just, they get no love across the board. Like, I'm pretty sure in Warhammer Fantasy 8th edition, Beastmen were terrible. And then in Age of Sigmar, they got like Beasts of Chaos, which are just god-awful. I don't think they have a single named character. They're just so depressing. Yeah, very strong Final Four. But usually we have a pretty strong Final Four. I mean, I think today was one of our smaller events, but we did it during the week, not on the weekend. On top of that, we did also only give 1 day's notice. I announced it yesterday. So usually we have between 50 and like 80 people nowadays, but it's been getting a little bit slower because a lot of people are taking breaks after the World Championship. And obviously there's a little bit of a drought of DLCs. So, it's a little bit slower lately, but still, a lot of great games, which is awesome. I know. Yeah, for sure. The Beastmen are definitely the forgotten ones, 100%. So we got Warriors of Chaos versus Empire. I would imagine here, I don't know what Enticity would like to do. I like to use Franz in this matchup, for sure. Franz is great. He can deal with Warp Chicken, and Volkmar is certainly an option too. I mean, Empire has a lot of ways to play this. You can also go full kiting if you want to. You can go Pistoliers, Outriders, Grenade Launchers, like with mobile characters and hit and run. Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways you can play this. There's a lot of different ways. The Heretic in chat saying, I own a Beast of Chaos army. It's just pain. Just getting run over. It's just pain. Yeah, that's so funny, man. Yeah, being a Beastman fan is pain for sure. You just get you only have one good Lord choice, Morker. Like the other ones are just haggard memes. I mean, Malagor I guess is okay occasionally with double Gorbel, like Viletide spam with not Traderkin, Viletide and Bray Scream, but at the end of the day, compared to the power level of Lords and other factions, they're just such trash. It's just so bad. It's so sad. Yeah. I'm excited. I hope Beastmen get something. Yeah, Beastmen probably have the lowest played rate in both campaign and in multiplayer. Yeah. It's pretty grim. Pretty grim for the Beastmen. Although Beastmen had a better performance, I think, than the Tomb Kings did in the Warhammer World Championship. The problem with Tomb Kings is that other undead, so if you're looking at Vampire Coast, you're looking at Vampire Counts, right? When they get hit with burning heads and spells like that, they can heal through it, or they can have the option of healing, whereas Tomb Kings don't. And Tomb Kings, you can't really utilize their good infantry because they're always going to be facing off against Lord of Fire typically, and their Tomb Guard just get eviscerated by it. Whereas Vampire Counts, okay, you have Grave Guard, they're armored, Burning Head isn't quite as bad if you want to go that route. So, yeah, I feel a little bit bad for Tomb Kings, too. I feel like they probably need some minor tweaks. Maybe if Tomb Guard got a slight armor increase, I think that'd be a nice little change for them. Like if Tomb Guard went up to 75 armor. I don't think that'd be unreasonable either. You could even add 50 gold to their cost, but I think a change like that would be very, very nice for the Tomb Kings. They just struggle so much against that, to have some sustainability in the front line because of Burning Head. I literally was going to make a video. It's being how to defeat the Tomb Kings. It's going to be 3 seconds long of just a Burning Head cast killing 3,000 gold worth of Tomb Guard. Yeah. It's a rough one. It's a rough one. All right, my friends, we're here in match 2. It's going to be Enticity up a game right now against the mighty Crabling. Wow, they readied up super quick. So yeah, Enticity going with a very similar build that he uses against Norska, which is Pistolier spam, backed up by grenade launchers to kill the infantry, backed up by heavy cavalry. So you can see Knights of the Blazing Sun and Demograph Knights. We saw him do this earlier. I was watching his stream, and he actually did this against a Norscan player, against Flying Taco, and it worked very well. Boris Todbringer, Bright Wizard, and that is it. So for the Hordes of the Dark Gods, oh, we got the Mountain God. We got Kolek Sun Eater, baby. We do also have Marauder Horsemasters for counter-skirmishing, Spawn, backed up by Chaos Warriors with great weapons. And yeah, so it's basically Chaos Warrior front line with a little bit of support from Spawn and Forsaken with Kolek and a Deathcaster. Pretty heavy metal for sure. Now, here we do get a Spirit Leech going down on the Bright Wizard. There are some tactical reserves in the back, the Silver Bullets, but I think that's actually intentional. I think Enticity is leaving them basically in the back just to bring them in the late game and surprise his opponent. Because again, you know, they can be really impactful in the late game. So the game plan here for Enticity is basically going to be jumping in and just eliminating all the mobility for Chaos. He wants to do everything in his power to snipe the Horsemasters out, because in doing that, he has full free range to use his grenade launchers to clean up the infantry and can do a lot of stuff like that. Alex Sear, thank you for the donation. Hey, bub. Great content as usual. Do you know if the Lore of Beasts passive is just the same? I'm not sure, actually. I'd have to go ahead and test that. So my apologies for not having an answer to your question. Nonetheless, the battle rages on. Grenade launchers pulling back. Mountain God's getting in there balls deep. He's getting super aggressive. I might be able to hammer a couple of units down. Looks like Toddy decides to land, and yeah, a lot of shots going into Kolek. Kolek does have a big HP pool. Might be able to return the favor to Toddy. Toddy does take a pretty big blow, but of course, the Mustache himself does have the capability of healing, so that is a little bit of a different circumstance. How's it going, Matt? Hope all is well in the 40k league for your Slanesh army, my friend. Kolek Sun Eater advancing with the Scroll of Shielding. Scroll of Shielding does give him 22% damage resist. So Kolek basically working as like a giant damage sponge right now, which seems to actually be going okay. Most of the missiles coming in from the Empire are non-armor piercing via the Pistoliers. So Kolek's armor plus the Scroll of Shielding is making him pretty resilient here. He actually picks off a couple demis, and it looks like Toddy thinking about going in, but Enticity with some good control does pull back. Now, have these Silver Bullets been discovered yet? Let's go ahead and take a look on the far side of the battlefield. No, they haven't. They're just kind of running and staying away from the battle, which I think is a really clever tactic. Up in the sky, though, Burning Headcaster does get a little bit overextended. Takes a Spirit Leech to the face, as well as some Horseman Fire, so he might actually potentially break here if he takes too much more damage. Demograph Knights with the Lances actually charging in. Lance Demis, I like them against Dark Elves. I think they have some cool applications against Chaos. They can fight Chaos Knights, Chaos Infantry, pretty well-rounded. But they do get in against the Forsaken, but many of the Forsaken right there are able to take him down. So very even battle at this point. I think Crabling is staying very calm and composed in the face of this kind of skirmishing pressure. Kolek Sun Eater taking a Fireball to the face does quite a bit of damage considering his armor. Usually Fireball doesn't do a lot against heavily armored units, but yeah, it seemed to do some okay work right there. In the meantime, though, Enticity's army certainly has taken its blows. Boris Todbringer down to about 45%. The Bright Wizard, a couple more overcasted Spirit Leeches probably will mean no more magic here for the Kraken King. And the Pistoliers still trying to counter skirmish, but, you know, Crabling's Marauder Horsemasters seem to be doing pretty well. We did see this again, like I said earlier, on Enticity stream. We did see Flying Taco in the same situation. But Taco had a very aggressive commitment, whereas Crabling is kind of keeping him back, getting a little bit more passive. That was a really good series, man. Flying Taco, of course, is probably going to be someone we'll be seeing in the next couple qualifiers. He is a former ECL champion himself. Well, not former. He is an ECL champion. Usually in the beginning of the ECL, the only individual to win ECLs for like the first 2 or 3 was Falcon. Then we had Flying Taco win. Then, of course, we had some other champions emerge as well. Pretty cool stuff for sure. So here in the front, we do have the Chaos Warrior Great Weapons moving in, getting grenade launched. Grenade launchers, really, really great crowd clearing tools, especially against hordes of infantry. And Chaos does love their armored infantry. Now, let's go ahead and take inventory of the ammunition, see if players have any questions. Nope, just good luck, have fun being set on both sides. The Bright Wizard is in a little bit of trouble. Overcasted Spirit Leech, so if you guys don't know what Spirit Leech does when it's overcasted, it basically massively extends the range. So in this case, the Bright Wizard is going to be brought down, and it looks like he is gone. So no more caster here for the forces of Sigmar, and it looks like there's going to be a frontal charge coming in from the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Fully couched lances, baby. Getting in there, running down those foul mutants. But the Mountain God comes in, going to be dropping a Lord of the Storm. There is a pretty good magic resist on the Knights of the Blazing Sun, but oof, a lot of them do get blasted there. That was a beautiful engagement there by Kolek. It took out what appears to be 5 or 6 models. Certainly not bad, but yeah, Chaos is inexorable, and they're moving forward. Yeah, Zyphos won an ECL as well, correct. So I think Falcon, Zyphos, Flying Taco. I'm trying to think. I think there was one more champion in there as well. But the Empire's rotating about, correct. They're basically doing giant circles around the map, and the Silver Bullets are the vanguard of that circle, running ahead. And man, that's actually really cool. If it gets to a late game situation and there's like the Silver Bullets still sitting there with full ammo, and it's a very slow Chaos army, if they can actually succeed in getting rid of the Marauder Horsemasters, that would be very, very strong. So Boris Todbringer juking about. Silver Bullets have shown their hand, so now Chaos does know they're here. And it looks like they're shooting into the Chaos Warrior Great Weapons, which is very, very cost effective, right? Chaos Warrior Great Weapons have no mitigation against missile shots whatsoever, so those Sigmarites with their long rifles going to be picking off many of these heretics and sending them to the warp or wherever they decide to go when they decide to croak. But the Chaos Warrior Great Weapons still marching on. Balance of power is pretty even. I would say there's not really anyone who's in a decisive state of advantage here, but now the trap has been sprung, and so far these Silver Bullets have been paying their dues. Immediately finishing off a Horsemaster, and now the Chaos Warrior Great Weapons are going to be making their way over there, but there's so much nice layered fire. I love this tactic, man. I think Crabling probably has to take a moment to reform his ranks. Kolek is at about 60-70% HP, which is good. Toddy's healing, but Toddy is approaching his healing cap, so there might not be too much more healing. And it looks like Chaos is really, really posturing here to go after the Silver Bullets. I think he wants that bread. You can see there are 68 models, yeah, so they have a bit of an odd model count. You don't see that too often, but yeah, Chaos Warriors here are probably going to get rode down. They're a little bit overextended away from their pals, so it looks like there is going to be a fully erect charge here from the Knights of the Blazing Sun, as well as the Lance Demis, and that should be enough to melt these Chaos Warriors. Oh, they're durable, but yeah, getting a full surround. It looks like Lord of the Storm. Lord of the Storm has been so good this game. That's going to zap quite a bit of those Empire Cavalry. Brutal one right there. Let's see how many actually falls. Yeah, a couple Demogryph Knights fall, as well as some Knights of the Blazing Sun. And that does force them back, buying time for the Chaos Warriors. But now those Chaos Warriors are going to be mowed down pretty badly here by the Sigmarite Powder. You can see the Silver Bullets doing some really, really beautiful stuff for sure. So here, Pistolier still running back, and now it looks like a bit of an overextension here from Crabling. He does commit the Horsemasters, but maybe he wants to commit to this fight, pulling in Kolek, hoping he can win the picture. Horsemasters are okay in combat, and it looks like there's an aspect of the Dread Knight going down to the Horsemasters. Ooh, actually giving them a terror route. And they do rat off the grenade launchers, so that actually looks like it was going to be really bad for Chaos, but the Horsemasters held pretty well, and Kolek coming into support did make a big difference. We still have the Spawn who are full health, we still have the Chaos Warriors. Yeah, and it looks like that does actually give the first clear advantage of the game to Crabling. So Crabling does win the fight, pushes back the Knights of the Blazing Sun with some terror routes, and now the gates kind of have been broken open. This is a big, big issue here for the Empire, because now that their cavalry are on the run, right? Knights of the Blazing Sun and Demis are just in a super tattered state. Those Forsaken can potentially chase down the Silver Bullets in conjunction with the infantry pressure here. So Silver Bullets going to be forming up ranks, certainly smart. I mean, they're not going to outrun the Forsaken if they just keep running, so picking them off is a smart play. Those Forsaken do get gadded down pretty good at -18 leadership. And here we have the Chaos Warriors with Great Weapons moving on over to chase down the Silver Bullets as Todbringer just goes for the low-hanging fruit over here. Yeah, the Empire Cavalry Corps looking very, very beat up, and it's pretty concerning here for your boy Enticity. These are, yeah, that's right, these are actual tactical reserves. They're actually being used as a tactical reserve, which is so cool. But ammunition is getting very sparse, and the Mountain God is still pretty angry. I would imagine he's got over, 3,000 HP. He jumps in there, gets a nice Hulk smash there. But the Silver Bullets actually could bring the game back if the Silver Bullets can put some hurt here on Kolek, and then Toddy can get in there and kind of follow up and do some really good damage. That could actually get the Empire back in the game. Now, looking around, Chaos does have a fair amount back here. We do have 74 Chaos Warriors, 51 Chaos Warriors, and the Forsaken do have pretty high speed. I think their base speed is in the 40s, so they can kind of keep up with like the slower Empire Heavy Cavalry. Chaos Warriors do get intercepted by the tattered remnants of these forces. Grenade launchers still doing some nice splash damage, but they don't have the best armor piercing, so not brutal damage. But Mountain God better be careful, man. It looks like Toddy's coming in. His cardio certainly does quite well against Chaos. Will Mountain God hold? He's at -8. Ooh, that's a really, really nice play there for Enticity, but I simply think there's too much Chaos left on the battlefield, even with Mountain God getting broken here. I think there's going to be some sort of a follow-up, right? I think Boris Todbringer probably can, hunt him down. And, yeah, but there's so much Chaos, man. We got 74 Chaos Warriors here, 51 over here in this unit. The Empire pretty much only has Toddy left and a couple of very tattered units. And Great Weapon Chaos Warriors definitely do some work. I mean, the one thing that could really go for the Kraken King is that he could get like a big terror route, maybe, because Chaos Warriors aren't immune to psychology, but I don't see that happening. Now, Kolek looks like he's going to rally. Oh no, the Mountain God is back. Has Enticity noticed this? I think he just did. And there are a couple Pistoliers supporting, and now Kolek's going in, aspect of the Dread Knight pop to give him a little bit of a leadership buff, and he does actually hit Toddy on the way up. That's actually something you don't see terribly often. But the Mountain God returns! He is here! And Chaos looks to be claiming the day as the Chaos Warrior Great Weapons do clean up the Knights of the Blazing Sun. The Pistoliers are the last remnant of the Sigmarite army in conjunction with the Silver Bullets here, who are doing some nice work for sure, but I think Crabling just has far too much. Let's see what they're saying. Just good luck, have fun. Okay, I didn't know if there was like some sort of a rules question or something, but Yeah, this is just too much stuff, man. Chaos Warriors are so meaty to bring down. Silver Bullets maybe could pull a miracle. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Enticity could bring it back. It's not point of no return, but man, oh man, that is so much chaos. That is so much chaos. Yeah, it's a very, very close one. I think this style of play that Enticity is doing works a little bit better against Norska, because Norska has lighter infantry, like armor across the board. So the grenade launchers and pistoliers are like exponentially more effective against Norska, right? Whereas this same build against the Warriors of Chaos, it still works. I mean, clearly it was a very close game, or still is a very close game. But it doesn't seem to be as effective against their heavily armored infantry and characters like Archaon, Kolek. All these guys don't really care about pistolier fire as much. And Kolek does not have any form of regen, no. Perhaps in Game 3 we'll be able to give him Mark of Nurgle. I mean, if Kolek had healing, he would be one of the best characters in the entire game. He would just probably be close to broken. I mean, unless he got a big price premium increase. Like, if you give any big monster like that regeneration, it's quite... I mean, you see what Grom the Paunch does, right? So Kolek getting blasted, he's at -3. Looks like he might break here, -3. And I think Kolek's like, screw this shit, I don't want to chase any more silver. So he is going to be pulling back, and he breaks. Yeah, so Kolek's broken. Might come back in the late game. Forsaken and Brum rushing here, and Toddy probably going to be able to intercept. Marauder Horsemasters in mortal combat with some of the pistoliers, and it looks like they do get shattered as well. Enticity scrapping pretty damn hard here, guys. Pretty damn hard. Yeah, the spawn's certainly a big factor, because despite a lot of the army being potentially terror-routed or sniped, the Chaos Spawn units will be very, very tough to break. Ammunition, a couple grenade launchers left. Beautiful, beautiful silver bullet play. I would imagine they probably have up over 1,000 value. Let's go and take a look. Yeah, man, 1,800 value on the silver bullets, but it looks like they might finally pay the Troll Souls. The Forsaken are getting in there, but no, that'll probably terror out them off for sure. Forsaken are immune to psychology, but I believe it's only while their frenzy is active, so yeah, something to take into account here. Spawn moving in, crumping Boris Todbringer a little bit. He takes quite a bit of damage, and the Forsaken do get in there. That is going to be a really good aspect of the Dread Knight there from Crabling. It actually keeps the Forsaken from breaking. It gives +8 leadership, and they were at 4 leadership for a moment, so they probably would have broken, but that aspect of the Dread Knight, a masterful play there by Crabling, champion of Clan VM here, and yeah, Pistoliers are broken off. Todbringer is able to get that Chaos Sorcerer, though. That's a nice little grab for sure. Sorcerer should come back, though. Looks like it was just a terror out, so he's not going to be like completely off the battlefield. And now the Forsaken do finally get into the cookie jar, as they should be able to start cutting apart these Sigmarites here, who probably up to close to 2,000 value. Yeah, pretty damn close. They're going for the record, man. They're doing their business. So Kolek is back from outer space with that sad look upon his face. The Empire should have changed that stupid lock, but apparently they did not. So Kolek is coming. Toddy looks to be going for the Goon, which is a very, very good play, but I think the rest of the Sigmarite army is pretty much done for. Pistoliers here are gone. Silver bullets are gone. All the Empire really has left is Toddy. Might be able to get that Kolek. We will see. Yeah, Aspect of the Dread Knight is actually a really underrated spell. So Kolek Sun Eater does break the Pistoliers, but does he take the rear charge from Toddy? It looks like he actually breaks from the rear charge, so certainly not happy about those engagements, but I do not think there's much of a chance here for Toddy to defeat all this chaos. Like, he's doing a masterful job with Todbringer. He takes out Mountain God here. He is also going to be able to take out that Chaos Sorcerer of Death. Value on Boris, not that good actually, only 1,100, which is kind of surprising. But still, he was able to get some beautiful terror routes and really be a perpetual threat this entire game. So, yep, there you go. GG, well played. An awesome match. Enticity will withdraw, and we got a 1-1 series. We got a rubber match on our hands. This is what it's all about. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Thank you to Lich109 for the donation. AOS added Morker, and his rules are good, but he's in the Legends PDF only. Okay, that's unfortunate. Yeah, poor Beastman, just getting no love anywhere. Kolek did really good, though. Kolek was a raid boss. Even though he did appear to be getting beaten down, he still accrued 3,000 value against the heavy cavalry. He also took Boris to his healing cap. Was really, really a playmaker for sure. The Horsemasters did excellent work. Yeah, this build is super hard to pull off. Very, very micro-intensive, but clearly he's got the micro for it. It was a close scrap. It was a close one. Yes. So let us go ahead, update the scorecard here. We got a 1-1 series on our hands. And we'll go ahead and see how the top side of the bracket's looking to see if we have our next game. Kolek was pretty awesome there for sure. So for the map, let's go ahead and do Carrick Ungor. Carrick Ungor, I think, is fine. We could do Peak Pass or Cliff of Beasts. Cliff of Beasts is another one that's pretty good. You know, we could do Southern Chaos Wastes. Yes. Let's just go to the Chaos Waste, even though Chaos can't really be picked here. Chaos about to get some serious gifts for sure. I always like forget where this stupid map is. Is it Southern? Is it the Southern Chaos Waste, or is it just Southern Chaos Waste? Just all sorts of treachery here. But yeah, man, I'm so excited for Game 3 for Chaos to get all those goodies. All right, Southern Chaos Waste. There it is. Map set. All right, let's see what the players pick. Let's get to it. No, Chaos did not withdraw. It was just Toddy versus like a full Chaos Force, basically. Yeah, he had no chance, especially with the spawn being unbreakable. Maybe there could have been a fraction of a chance if there wasn't like an unbreakable centerpiece, but yeah. Hey, Rubber Duck, thanks for the help. Lady Turin appearing in chat as well. So, something fun, exciting stuff. You guys will be seeing it soon, but Lady Turin actually did a painting tutorial for Warhammer 40k that's going to be going up on the channel. She painted the Tallyman of the Death Guard. It's a named character. Well, it's just a basic character. He does have a name. It's like Scribus something or other. But she did a painting tutorial video. So that'll be going up sometime this week. Very excited to share that. Yeah. Such a good job. She did so good. All right, so we will see what the players do for their picks and bans. Looking on the top side of the bracket, we do have Evenstar versus Lunacy. Lunacy we've seen in the top 4 as well. So we're going to update the bracket here real quick. And then Lunacy will be joining us for the next match once we finish the series. It'll be Lunacy taking on the world champ. Pretty awesome stuff for sure. The winner, of course, of this whole event will be earning a spot in the top 8 to join these mighty champions. Falcon, Alfredino, Imperator, Ice Power, Voidlaw so far. Some very, very scary, very, very scary play there. Yeah, that's a mean bracket. All right, so loading back here. Let's do it to it. So Crabling going Norska and banning. Oh, he picks Norska, Beastman, and Skaven. Oh, no bans? Holy shit. Crabling going with the alpha play here, trying to intimidate his opponent. So typically how this works in game 3 is the winner of game 2 picks 3 factions and bans 1. But Crabling goes in like a true alpha here and just goes Norska, Beastman, and Skaven and bans no one. That's a bold move. I'm surprised. He's not even banning like with Norska, Beastman, and Skaven. I would definitely ban Vampire Counts. Because Enticity could just go Vampire Counts and ban Norska. And then like Skaven have trouble against them and so too do Beastmen. Or you could honestly just go Counts into Norska too. Like they're favored there, but I don't know how practiced the Kraken King is with his vampiric cousins there. Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be great. That's the big flex right there. Yeah, that's sending a message. That's sending a message. I wonder if Enticity will be like not ban anything back. Like I'm just gonna pick this and not ban anything. Pick your poison. Will he respond? That's a power move. That's a power move for sure. Yeah. Super Chad. Yeah. So we will see. Okay, Enticity goes Wood Elves banning Beastmen. Wood Elves are pretty good against Skaven. Also, probably favored against Norska. I would imagine Crabling probably goes Norska here. Although, I don't know. Skaven, I think have learned to fight Wood Elves. Of course, Enticity hailing from the mighty ODM clan. Many of them are known for their elvish play. Typically not going to go for rushes, at least in my experience. Goes for Skaven. All right, so we got Skaven versus Wood Elves. We got the DLC matchup, the most recent DLC. The Twisted and the Twilight, so this should be quite a bit of fun. I'm really curious to see how Crabling is going to potentially approach this. I'm going to be taking notes because this is a matchup that, as I do consider myself a somewhat of a Skaven player, I struggle in this one. But the truth is, I can't practice enough because my stupid hands pisses me off. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I've seen Beastmen beat Vampire Counts, but Beastmen have to work so much harder. Correct, I agree with that. We did actually see a really good game with that. It was in the ODM versus RTK Clan War. I believe it was Shidoku who played Beastmen against, I think, was it Valkanos on Vampire Counts? I can't remember. And he actually had a really good Beastmen build there. Yeah, great match. That was a really good match. Simon, evening, and fellow Dukes of Haggard, yes. Yeah, so we're getting some rats. We're getting some Skaven. Haven't seen a single Greenskin game here in this best of 3, which is very suspicious. Although I'm sure when Evenstar and Lunacy play their game, we're probably going to be seeing it. So let me go ahead and message those two and make sure they're waiting for me. All right, so see and Evenstar. Lobby. Join my lobby once we are done here. You'll be on stream. All right, perfect. We are all set. The next 2 players are standing by. I know it's getting a little bit late in Russia. Certainly feel bad for Evenstar, but you know, the players know what they're getting into when they sign up. These tournaments typically take quite some time. I mean, today's tournament, we started at like 10, 15. You know, and these tournaments usually are 5 to 7 hours, so we're kind of on par. A little bit slower today. Some people were having like Steam issues and things like that. So, yeah. Ooh, that's rough. Dutch Flavor, you shattered your hand. How'd you do that? At least these aren't Abaddon's hands. Yeah. Well, for Abaddon, it's his entire arms. Abaddon is actually one of my favorite models in 40k. I think he's so cool. He's got like the Bane mask and just looks all intense. Yeah, I can't remember. Is my Abaddon wearing a mask? Hold on, let me check. Yeah, he's got the Bane mask on. He's good to go. I wish that Chaos Space Marines were actually good. It's so annoying. I want to play them so bad, but they're just so terrible right now because they haven't gotten their updated codex, whereas like everyone else has. So you're using like the codex from like 8th edition that was just god awful. 4-hour streams? Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Hey Mark, thank you for the kind words. Why do all the Warhammer 3 trailers drop now? With the game still 6 months away. I mean, who knows how far off the game is? Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of factions to cover, right? So we have all the Chaos Gods, Kislev, and Cathay. So I mean, theoretically, even if we were still 6 months away, they could, you know, there's 6 factions. They could have each month focus on a faction, and still people would be hyped, and it'd be a nice build up, right? I have a feeling it'll come earlier than that. Like I would even wager like November, like time period. Yeah, would be something I would guess. So we'll see. I know, Samurai Warrior, we're all waiting for Warhammer 3 news, man. I just want to get my hands on a battle so goddamn bad. Like, I want to just play a PvP battle in domination mode. Oh, God, give it to me. Be so nice. It'd be so nice. All right, so, yeah, looks like both players are more or less ready. We're going to be jumping in here in just a moment on the Southern Chaos Waste. Pretty open field map. No trees for the Wood Elves to hide in, which is always nice to an extent because then you don't have to worry about, you know, forest shenanigans and things like that. Total War Westeros would be fun. It'd be kind of a mix of fantasy and like historical a little bit in terms of like more grounded fantasy. Yeah, that'd be neat. I don't think we're gonna get that though. I think my predicted roadmap for Total War is that we are going to get Warhammer 3, obviously. After that, I think you know, we're gonna get a ton of DLCs. Warhammer 3 will have a very healthy, long lifespan, much like Warhammer 2 does. Then we will get a big historical title. My wager would be, based on, you know, what people want, I think people probably want medieval. They want a new medieval historical title. So I think that'll be probably after Warhammer 3. That'll be the next big title. Then once medieval drops, I think we're going to get Total War Warhammer 40k. I would bet a substantial amount of money on that. I think we're going to be getting Total War Warhammer 40k. Like, why would they not do it? This title is so successful. And 40k is an even bigger intellectual property. It has even bigger cross-promotion with Games Workshop. They're still actively selling, you know, 40k models, so the amount of potential for, you know, both companies to profit is just too huge. So that's my roadmap. I think that, you know, right after Warhammer 3, we might get like a Haggard Saga or something, like a Saga title, which I think is just, the Sagas I'm just not a fan of. But that's my roadmap. That is my roadmap. I think it's going to happen like that. Just the toxic Lannister blob. Yeah, just like Jaime and... What would Tyrion do? I guess Tyrion would be more of like a campaign map agent, you know? Yeah. All right, guys. No, you know, hello, it's me. That's a big misconception. A lot of people think, isn't 40k just a bunch of ranged units shooting at each other? Yeah, there's a lot more shooting than fantasy, but there's a shit ton of melee in 40k. Like, my Chaos Space Marine army is like 80% melee. You know, my Death Guard army is like 70% melee, 60% melee. The shooting's okay, but generally they're all melee focused. Yeah. Just think of the Free Company Militia. They charge, they shoot while they're charging, and they fight melee. That could be a Space Marine unit. Or an Imperial Guard unit, whatever, you know. All right, guys. Here we are. Let's get back to business and focus on the task at hand. It's going to be Crabling, of course, winning his last game and coming in with the ultimate, I think somebody in chat said the Chad move. He was able to take no ban. So yeah, he's just going for a rush, really. He's got 4 wolf rats here on the... Holy shit, that is a lot of wolf rats. Who let the wolf rats out, man? Yeah. This is some serious stuff. Look at this. He's got 8 wolf rats, 4 with poison, probably 4 standard wolf rats. On top of that, we do have clan rats with spears. We have a plague priest. We have double brood horror characters. We have Throughout the Unclean and a Packmaster on the other side. Who let the wolf rats out? Oh man, dude, I'm so hyped for this. This is gonna be so good. Oh, yeah. That's the good shit. So now for the forces of the great Enticity, the Cracking King. Certainly a very good Wood Elf player, too. I played many, many games against Enticity. He's someone I messaged quite a bit for games, or at least I did before all the Warhammer 3 news. I'm very out of practice right now, man. He's got Hawkeyes of Jakira, Deepwood Scouts, a fair amount of cavalry to fend off the Wolf Rats, the Lost Sylvan Knights, a Glade Lord with Prey of Anathrema, Waystalkers to snipe artillery, and that's it, with a couple of Glade Guard here in the backfield. But that is a huge, huge rush. No, you're allowed to bring that many Wolf Rats if they are different variants. Some units count as the same in the rules, but generally units like Shades and Wolf Rats do not. So you can see there's a combination of Wolf Rats with poison and Wolf Rats without poison. Now, one of the coolest things about this against the Lost Sylvan Knights is that Wolf Rats, the basic variant of Wolf Rats, actually do magic damage. So if you can keep them in the fight using like a Death Frenzy or some other supporting spell, you can actually really punish the Lost Sylvan Knights and drag them down super quick. So pretty cool for sure. Here we do have the Plague Priest. He's got a lot of spells. He actually has Wither too and Pestilent Breath. So coming in with a pretty big kit of magic. Lich 109. When you are playing the demo for Total War Warhammer 3, did the Gatekeeper yell out stuff like, the only Total War games that count are historical titles? That's really funny, dude. Oh, man, no, he did not. That would have been hilarious, though. So, the Packmaster here does use the Scrying Stone, but gets focused on pretty heavily here by the Glade Lord. Of course, the Packmaster does have access to healing, but that's a really good start for Enticity. Certainly getting some big damage here on the Mighty Rat. One of the bigger rats that tends to make all the rules is getting focused there. Now we do have some Crossfire coming in from Deepwood Scouts, shooting into Skaven Slaves. Obviously, they don't really care. That's 100 gold. That's what it's all about. But the Wolf Rats are advancing in. Enticity sitting on top of the Packmaster. And now we do get a big fight as the Wolf Rats actually charge the Lost Sylvan Knights. But yeah, you can see this. Look, the Wolf Rats doing magic damage. Look at the amount of burst they did to those Lost Sylvan Knights. Yes, they got routed off and took a little bit of a beating in the process from the Terror route. But that is a big, big value engagement there. As the Lost Sylvan Knights actually being dragged down. However, it seems that Enticity is getting a much better engagement over here. He breaks the Wolf Rats, he breaks the Packmaster, and these Wolf Rats kind of get 2v1'd here. So far, I would say the Cracking King is getting a little bit of a better engagement, rotating away from the stronger side of the Rat forces. But will he be able to get some good catches? I think Crabling, in order to get his value back, really needs to kind of catch some of these Glade Guard, catch some of these missile units, and get into the back line a little bit, because this backside here was a little bit disastrous. Now, the Packmaster, though, does have healing. He's on his way back, should be able to kind of get his business going once again. Looks like there is going to be a regrowth as the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers move in. Not overcasted. Plague Priest moving in, Throt the Unclean, and his posse. Man, Creature Killer. So Creature Killer activated there, and you can see the Creature Killer just drags down all of those Glade Riders. And now several Archer units are going to be going down, and it suddenly looks like Crabling is back in this game, getting a couple of really nice grabs here on the far side. He's got some Wolf Rats that he's actually forgotten about in the back, so there's some true tactical reserves here for Crabling, which, you know, I'm sure he'll appreciate in the late game. And the Packmaster's on his way back in. Remoldered would be huge here. If you could heal that Packmaster up and kind of salvage him, he's obviously a pretty important character. And due to the fact that he does cause terror himself, that does make him immune to psychology, basically, so he can't be terror routed. But there needs to be a Remoldered ASAP. He's at negative 13. I think maybe Throt had used Remoldered on himself, and it looks like the Packmaster is going to break. So really, really nice catch there for Enticity. But now we get a big blob fight. So we get the Plague Monk summon, we get Throt the Unclean diving in, we get the Rat Ogre summon in the back as well. So the Rat Ogres are going to be piling in. And what sort of Skaven magic will we see? Are we going to be seeing a Plague Breath? Are we going to be seeing a Wither? Will the Packmaster be able to kind of be salvaged here? And it looks like the other Wolf Rats have been rediscovered. So they're coming back now, should be moving in to fight. And the other Packmaster is back once again. So he's just going to be healing, and it would appear jumping on that Waystalker there, which is certainly quite nice. Prey of Anathrema going down and Throt the Unclean. Looks like the Archers, the Deepwood Scouts, going to be going after Throt, which is certainly a strong play. But some of the Wolf Rats do jump in, but they do get tethered here a little bit by the Spellsinger of Life. And the Glade Lord on the Eagle does jump in. So Crabling's Wolf Rat ambush here is temporarily foiled. And it looks like the Packmaster is finally shattered after having broken, 2 or 3 times there. The Packmaster has had enough, and he is going to be pulling back. Wolf Rat's still, chasing around. It looks like they're able to get some Glade Guard here. There are some Archers on the far side, some Archers and Dryads that potentially those Wolf Rats could dive on. The Rat Ogre summon looks to be going in the can, so that's not going to be here for that much longer. It was definitely a nice usage on that kind of big flank there. Balance of Power is more or less dead even. It's a really, really close one, man. Here comes Throt the Unclean. A little bit aggressive for sure. He's got to juke that ammunition if he's going to be charging like that. You got to also be careful for Skaven. They don't want to be fighting close to the edge of the battlefield. Their leadership is very fickle. Throt's actually shaken. He's at 22 leadership right now. So if an unfortunate volley hits him and he broke off the edge of the map, that would be a really, really sad way to lose the game. Now, this is a huge grab here for Crabling. Wolf Rats will, with Skaven Slave support, will easily take apart a Waystalker, I would imagine. I don't know, though. Their leadership's pretty low, but I typically, Waystalkers are very squishy in melee with only 40 armor. Arrow of Kernus going down and going after the big Chungus Rat. Throt the Unclean does get popped. He's juking and is nowhere near his healing cap. So Crabling with some nice jukes, but again, a little bit danger close to the edge of the battlefield. But it seems like the Skaven are doing pretty well for themselves across the battlefield. Maybe Enticity will rotate over to try and save the Waystalker, as that Waystalker is pretty close to breaking at 10 leadership, being fully surrounded by those relatively hard-hitting rats. Wolf Rats have really good DPS, for sure. Now, Volley goes in, going after the Wolf Rats. It looks like Crabling does juke that. And now he's making his way back in as the Clan Rats with shields here actually fend off the Glade Riders pretty effectively. Now, is there any magic damage Wolf Rats left? Ooh, Pravenoth Raymond going down on Throt. This could be a big volley. This could be potentially a game-winning play here for the Wood Elves. Yeah, Throt getting nuked. Beautiful, beautiful play there. And it looks like there's going to be an Earthblood on top of the Wood Elf forces. If Throt doesn't have a remoldered, this could be a big problem. Now, you'll see what Crabling is doing here. Is he's getting the Furnace to actually block some of the shots on Throt. That is like some MLG, high-level plays right there for sure. Don't see that every day on Ladder. Beautiful stuff. Throt moving in with Creature Killer. Now the Wood Elves are on the run once again. There are Clan Rats moving in. Throt is very close to dying, though. Ooh, man, Throt breaking is really, really bad for this Skaven. And it looks like he is going to break. And now the Glade Lord probably will be able to chase down the Rat. But despite that break, the game's still really close. The Lost Sylvan Knights are being hunted down. The Clan Rats are very, very close to pinning them in. And do we have any more Wolf Rats around the map? It looks like we do. Yeah, the Waystalker in the back does get taken out. Throt routing towards the edge of the map. But if Throt rallies, I think the Skaven are still in this game. But if Throt breaks, it's certainly going to give the Wood Elves a huge advantage, or breaks off the map. How close is he? He's at -6. Doesn't look like he wants to come back anytime soon. That Rat has taken a beating this game. And Throt the Unclean is officially gone. However, the Rat's still pushing strong. Balance of Power is Wood Elf favored. But it's anyone's game with all these Wolf Rats still in the battlefield. These Wolf Rats chasing down that Waystalker there. Clan Rats fighting Dryads. Dryads, of course, will win that fight. It looks like another Scorch effect is going to go down. It does kind of tickle those Lost Sylvan Knights, but I think with the Glade Lord on the Eagle, I think that's probably going to be game. Like, it's going to be too much of an impactful presence. The Glade Lord can deal with Plague Furnace, which, of course, is doing the Mortis Engine. Has GG been said? Not yet. I think both builds are very capable of winning this game. Just came down to a couple little executions of their tactics and whatnot, but very, very close match. Going, almost every game between these two, clearly they're very evenly matched players, going up to the 7 or 8 minute mark, every single one. So the Glade Lord and the Spellsinger of Life jumping on the Plague Priest. It looks like there's going to be a Rat summon coming out, so some Clan Rats being used to buffer off the Archers. Wolf Rats do get that Waystalker off the battlefield. I'm trying to see and think, is there really any way that the old Rats can get back in this game? I don't think so. I think the Wood Elves certainly got this one in the bag at this point. Here comes the charge. The Lost Sylvan Knights moving in. Getting a nice terror route there on the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers, though they are mighty by Skaven standards. They're certainly not up to fighting the Lost Sylvan Knights. And the Plague Priest might have another summon in the back pocket, but it looks like that is going to be army losses. And the Kraken King will be going on to the Grand Finals to face the winner of Evenstar and Lunacy. Very, very exciting match. Beautiful one. That was a really fun series. Dynamic gameplay, back and forth. Can't ask for much more. That's what it's all about. Yeah, crazy good micro. Yes, I agree. I think I love the Wolf Rat build. Like, look at this, 1400 on that little guy. Yeah, but the Packmaster taking the early damage, like the 1300 gold Packmaster getting 0 value is probably why he lost the game. I think if that Packmaster had stayed with Throt, had got remoldered, I think the Skaven might have been able to pull that one out. I think that was literally the only real big blunder from Crabling. Enticity, of course, was really, really taxed on his micro, but he showed he has the micro to run away from 8 Wolf Rats and 2 Packmasters. And it was a very, very masterful game, man. So with that, let's update the scorecards here. We have the Kraken King going up 2-1 and winning that particular series. Now we can go to the bracket and update it. Anticity, representing his clan of ODM, will be facing off against either Evenstar or Lunacy here. And hopefully he can take a little bit of a break right now. But let's go ahead and do it. GG, well played. See you in finals, Ent. Man, yeah, these tournaments are really marathons too. They're really marathons. I think that's why the best of 1 tournaments are actually more popular these days in terms of like people signing up. AUK, thank you. Quick army build suggestion. How important is it that the last 300? How important is the last 100 to 300 gold? Typically, you want to buy items. In my experience, items are, unless there's no good items, like buying a little item or getting like Foe Seeker, little things like that. I think are usually where you want to spend that last 300 gold. All right. So let me go ahead and tag the gentleman. Lunacy versus Evenstar. Password is 1234. Do it. Anticity going to take a lunch break, which is good. So he's going to go grab some food and he'll be back. So he's going to be properly rested here for the grand finals. We'll get these other two fine gentlemen in here now. All right. So let's make sure they can get in. No problem. We'll go from there. All right. Brackets. We're all set. So just updating the nameplates here. I'm going to invite them. I think they're both on my friends list. That's probably one of the most annoying things about hosting events is just the fact that if they're not on your friends list, they often can't see your lobbies. It's just like, why? Why are you like this? All right. Cool. So Evenstar has been invited. Let's do it to it. Yeah, Throt got the nerf stick for sure, whereas Grom has really been running rampant, yeah. Grom is much better. Turin, are you going to play Age of Sigmar Stormfront? Is that an RTS game? If it's an RTS game, I'll give it a try. I'm not a huge fan of Age of Sigmar lore, but I love RTS as a genre, so I'd certainly be willing to give it a chance. And if it's like really well, if the mechanics are really good, I'd be excited, yeah. I'd be excited. All right, and Lunacy, is he on my friends list? I don't think so. They're not reading Discord. How dare they? All right, getting a phone call. Super popular. Who dares call me? All right, so we'll be having Evenstar here. Evenstar, of course, the most recent world champion. An amazing series against Alfredinho. Amazing series. That was insane. If you guys haven't seen the World Championship, it's up on Total War Official's YouTube channel. It was so good, man. It was so good. All right, so let's see if Lunacy can see the lobby. Can you see it now? Please send me, add me on Steam. So we'll have Lunacy add me on Steam, and then we should be all set, guys. So hang tight for a hot second. We'll go from there. All right, where the hell is this? I feel like in the past 3 years, my aptitude with technology has gotten so much worse. Like something clicked, man. I don't know what it is. But something really, really just clicked, and I've gotten so much worse with it, you know? I've gotten so much worse. It's a little bit depressing. Cool. So he is going to add me. It looks like both players are indeed Russian. So I don't know if Lunacy's in a clan, though. We'll find out in a second. We will find out. Wesley, thank you for the 2 Canadian bucks. Thanks for all the glorious content. You're very welcome, man. Hopefully you're enjoying these tournaments and all the good times. Yeah, Grom is definitely a raid boss. Yeah, Kislev looks absolutely glorious. I'm so excited. And though I've had very limited experience playing Kislev, you know, we just had to play them in a quest battle. If I had to give you my initial impressions about their playstyle, it feels like a hybrid of the Empire and Dwarves. It's pretty damn unique. Although I don't even know if that's like fair because they have such fast cavalry too, which is very unique to them. Kislev certainly has its own flavor. Kislev also seems to have a lot of hybrid units, which I'm slightly concerned about because hybrid units are usually pretty bad. Like, you know, although Lothar and Seaguard do well for themselves, you know, yeah, I love their playstyle though. I love the Streltsy. Tsarina is really cool. Map set. Good luck, have fun. Like, Kislev as a roster is so goddamn awesome, guys. And like in today's video, if you guys haven't seen it, we actually got to see like more units like kind of fleshed out. It looks like Kislev has great weapon Sarguard, and they also have another elite infantry unit that's holding like a Harganeth Executioner type sword. So that's really exciting. I am so hyped for it. All right, so just updating the nameplates here, and we'll be jumping into the match in just a second. And let's do it. All right, looks like the names fit pretty well there, which is pretty rare. Usually it doesn't fit. No, it's not actually my birthday. It's a running... So there's a lot of new people here on the channel. It's a running joke in the community that they say it's my birthday every single stream. My actual birthday is in July, for the record. No. What do you think the weakness for Kislev is so far? They don't have the best armor, so I think Kislev will struggle against factions potentially like Bretonnia, or factions that have like heavy shot cavalry if they're not microed correctly. Now, they have ways to mitigate this. Like Kislev has Lore of Ice, so they can slow down the charges and then counterplay them. They have guns, so they can, you know, blunt charges with powder. But like, I think if a Kislevite infantry or cavalry line gets like if winged lancers try and fight Knights of the Realm head up, they're going to get destroyed. You know. So they do have fairly light armor. Their elite units, for example, like the Ice Guard Glaives, the ladies with the halberds and the bows, like very lightly armored, very expensive. So if they were to take a cavalry charge, you're immediately going to be losing a ton of value, right? Jeremy says, between these tourneys and the late night Warcraft 3 streams, you're the #1 creator. Hey, I'm glad you're enjoying all the content, man. Yeah. Yeah, so it's weird though because Kislev has many squishy units that are lightly armored, but they also have some really tanky units. But they're not tanky because of their armor per se; they're more tanky because of their leadership. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. Yeah, yeah. Kislev's chaff units we haven't seen yet. I'm sure they'll just have some lightly armored kind of like infantry, like Marauder type units. So Evenstar picks Bretonnia, bans Vampires and Lizardmen, which is smart. Evenstar's a really good Bretonian player. Very nasty. It's 100% going to be Fey double Paladin. Yeah, the Griffin Legion. So here's the thing. You can basically compare the Griffin Legion and the Winged Lancers directly to the Empire Knights and Reiksguard Knights in terms of functionality. Although Griffin Legion is probably more similar to Knights of the Blazing Sun, like high shock damage, good charge bonus. But they both have slightly less armor than their Empire equivalents. Empire Knights are 120. Winged Lancers are like 85 or 75 or something. I can't remember. And the Griffin Legion's 100, whereas Reiksguard Knights are like 120. But they're faster, so it's like a trade-off. I think Kislev will have a pretty dynamic playstyle. I think if you want to play Kislev like a hit-and-run faction, I think you can. You can use Winged Lancers, you can use their Horse Archers, you can do all sorts of stuff, manipulating speed using Lore of Ice. And I'm sure Tsarina will have a Chariot as well, so she'll have a mobile option. Or if you want to play Kislev more like Dwarves, I really think you can. You can have Zargard. You can have them basically be your Longbeards in the front line. God damn, there's some trash truck just going apeshit right outside my window. It's so annoying. And you could also have the Streltsy in the back with the guns. So you could have like a Dwarven type build with like artillery support. Dude, there's so many ways to play Kislev, at least as far as I'm reading into them. Also, one of the coolest things about Kislev, which I think a lot of people are kind of forgetting about, is that the Iceclave Guard, though they look a little bit underwhelming, you see them, you're like, oh, it's just this like weird halberd hybrid unit. It's probably going to be overpriced. Is that the Iceclave Guard have frostbite with their bows. So they can shoot and apply slow downtown, much like poison. So Kislev is going to have 36% frostbite arrows on top of Lore of Ice, which can slow them down by 48%. So if a Kislev archer unit, the Iceclave Guard, shoot your cavalry, it takes 36%. Then they cast the Sheet of Ice. The Sheet of Ice is another 48%. So suddenly your unit's like a potato. Like Kislev is going to have a lot of good battlefield control and manipulation effects with Lore of Ice. And Sheet of Ice costs like nothing too. It's so cheap. It's like several Winds of Magic. What's the noise in the background? Sorry, there was a trash truck like just doing all the trash out in the street, and it's just so obnoxious. So Kislev is going to be a really like awesome faction. Like you want to play them like dwarves? Hey, you got Zargard, you got Streltsy, you got high leadership units. Treat yourself. You want to play them like a combination of dwarves and Empire? Like you want to play hit and run with their cavalry, very unique to them. So many cool playstyles, man. At least as far as like what I've seen. Yeah. Iceclave Guard, it's going to be interesting. Having the ranged Frostbite is really nice. What's cool about them also is they have Frostbite and melee with their Iceclave, so if somebody gets on them and needs to get away, they can actually trap them in. Yeah. Yeah, they're really, really cool, man. I'm so excited. I don't think it's OP, because a lot of the stuff I'm explaining to you guys is very finesse-based. Like, you need to really nail it, or else you're just going to be getting, like, Haggard slows. Yeah. I think Kislev is going to be awesome. I'm really excited. I didn't see any. I don't think Kislev will have any poison on its roster. No, I don't think so. No, definitely not. Frostbite and Lore of Ice is going to be their jam. All right, so here we are. Of course, after this game's over, we'll talk more about Warhammer 3 and my kind of thoughts and from what we've seen so far. But for now, we're going to be jumping into the commentary here. And my apologies if I do miss your questions. The best time to ask questions pertaining to anything really is in between games. So we'll see you guys in just a hot minute. Yeah, let's do it. So for the forces of Lunacy, we got Prince Sigvald, the Dark Prince, backed up by a Deathcaster of Spirit Leech. We do also have Halberds into the Sunset, backed up by Chaos Warrior Grey Opens. Of course, Halberds are always pretty good against Bretonnia. I mean, they defeat most of the roster. They might struggle against Footsquires, but aside from that, they do quite well. Soul of Damnation is definitely the better choice here. Very good against Peasant Archers. On top of that, Soul of Damnation has some very, very big, ammunition reserves compared to the other Hell Cannon. Basic Hell Cannons have 25 shots, and the Soul of Damnation has 40, which is very big. And just basically Marauder Horsemen here in the backfield. We did actually see this matchup in the Legendary Lords tournament. We had Aerocrastic playing Warriors of Chaos against Prussian Princess Fey Enchantress, and a pretty similar build, although I don't think Aerocrastic used a Hell Cannon. But yeah, more or less the same, right? Just like Sigvald, Halberds, you do your thing. You do your thing. So for the forces here of Evenstar, the Warhammer World Champion. He's rocking double Paladin on the flying cycle charging beasties, the Pegasus. Fey Enchantress, Battle Line is going to be Questing Knights, Foot Squires. This is a very straightforward army. It's like, hey, you're going with an armored infantry faction? Well, let's bring Foot Squires and Questing Knights. It's just straight up business. Now, the one thing I'm really shocked about, Evenstar almost always brings trebuchets. I'm really shocked to not see like a single trebuchet here just to like, you know, poke and prod and, you know, be annoying like that. But we will see. Isn't Nurgle going to be really slow? Yeah, Nurgle will certainly be slower, but Nurgle will have Furies. It'll have probably Poison Hounds. I would imagine Nurgle's Lore of Magic will have access to slowing effects. And I would suspect that Nurgle will either have regeneration or ways to really survive those kind of attacks. So Nurgle will be totally fine. I have played Nurgle in tabletop for quite some time. I have a 40k Nurgle army, and they take a beating with the ranged attacks, but once they get in there, man, they hold like champs. I think Nurgle's playstyle is very easy to replicate in the game too. Khorne is the one I'm most concerned about, but again, like, yeah, we don't know anything about Khorne yet, like, really. I mean, we know, but in that battle, they were heavily nerfed in terms of HP, so we didn't get to see their true efficiency. Yeah. Khorne is like always gets the short end of the stick, like always. Yeah, Nurgle does have faster units. They have the drones that are pretty quick. They're not all slow. Granted, the Nurgle infantry will be probably quite slow. Yeah, like Khorne is, in my experience, always has it a little bit rough in tabletop, so I hope that when we see their full roster, they have some good tools. I think the biggest boon for Khorne is going to be the skull cannon. Like mobile artillery that can regenerate and heal and like just be super annoying. So I think the skull cannon will probably be the best unit on the roster. Just my 2 cents, but yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, because Tzeentch is great at magic. Magic's always good. Nurgle's tanky and resilient. Slaanesh is like super hard-hitting glass cannon, but it can go either direction, right? And then Khorne is just kind of somewhere in the middle of like Slaanesh and yeah, I don't know, something else. All right, so Hell Cannon shooting in. Going to be going after the Paladin. Paladin juking away. Lunacy probably going to want to start shooting Foot Squires. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Lunacy advance up. But I mean, you could keep shooting at the Paladin. But I mean, if Evenstar's watching, that shouldn't hit. Oh, and he jukes it. But it looks like it actually hit the Paladin and did some decent damage. Chase, that's pretty funny. So here comes Evenstar, just trying to get a square engagement. Evenstar doesn't want to push up here and get caught on the hill, which is smart. So Evenstar taking the wide engagement. And holy shit, this is like the most accurate Hell Cannon of all time. Nailed that Paladin again. You can see the tooltip, of course. He's a little bit shook from having been damaged by artillery. Evenstar, of course, one of the first players that I saw, at least, to popularize the use of mounted yeoman archers. I remember watching the Everchosen, because Evenstar won the... Did Evenstar win the Everchosen? Yeah, Evenstar won the Everchosen. And then won the World Championship. And we saw Evenstar use mounted yeoman in the grand finals against Talaxon Soothsayer very effectively. Logan, thanks for becoming a member. Welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. Appreciate it. Appreciate it indeed. So the Chaos Sorcerer of Death pulling back at this point, which is smart. You don't want to overextend. The Paladins could potentially dive in and go after the Chaos Sorcerer and give it some serious trouble. And it looks like that is going to be the case. I mean, is there going to be some follow-up? That is the one thing about Sigvald, right? Sigvald is not going to be a character that can react to such things very quickly. And that Paladin should be getting back up in the sky here in a second. Although it looks like the Sorcerer tried to keep the Paladin on the ground. So far, some very light skirmishing, but I would say that the Warriors of Chaos getting some decent value here as they, of course, do shoot into the Paladin with the Hell Cannon. You can see that Hell Cannon just... Was it Fistek? Are you sure Evenstar didn't win? Oh, that was Fistek. That's right. Yeah, so it was Fistek who won. But they have pretty similar playstyles. Yeah, Fistek won the Everchosen, and then Evenstar won the World Championship. My apologies, I got that backwards, but they have very similar playstyles. Like, watching them play is like almost like it could be interchangeable. So, the Chaos Sorcerer of Death lurking, playing very defensively. One of the reasons why I think Evenstar likes to bring mounted yeoman archers, and I think this is the case for many players, is that what you do is you just poke with the yeoman archers, and that obeys the attacking rule that we have in place, and then you can just chill with the rest of your army and harass with your single entities. It's a very, very common tactic that we see, and I think that's the reason why you do see things like the Wardens, but I think that Evenstar is... Yeah, he's moving his army forward, so the Foot Squires are moving up. Obviously, they're going to not want to be taking this Hell Cannon fire all day. So far, the Hell Cannon's doing great work. I mean, the Paladin took some damage, and Earthblood has been forced out already. The Wardens of Montfort are also getting punished quite a bit. And yeah, the Hell Cannons definitely have some crazy kind of physics. But I mean, it makes sense, right? It's literally like some demonic fireball. So of course, it's going to be able to do like 360 shots and all sorts of crazy stuff. So Chaos advancing up. For Chaos, it's very important not to let your army get pulled apart. Bretonnia is very good at that, especially with Fey Enchantress. She can, you know, Alpha Strike a blob, get the Mortis Engine, break it with the Questing Knights. You got to be a little bit careful there. But yeah, Soul of Damnation, 100%, just open up on Foot Squires now. Foot Squires are going to be the prime target. Here comes a shot, goes in, and it kind of drifts at the last second. Looks like it does take out 5 Foot Squires. Certainly not the worst value in the world. Yeah, that was a very, very weird Hell Cannon shot. Very, very strange. It's a strange piece of equipment. The Chaos Gods work in mysterious ways, so let us not ask questions about the Hell Cannon. Yeah, they're very surprisingly accurate. Hell Cannons can track heavy cavalry and infantry pretty well. Both players just kind of talking about being ready. Ooh, Hell Cannon, another nice shot right there. Does pick off a couple Foot Squires. Foot Squires, though, need to be dealt with because they're going to be big performers against the against ye old Chaos Warrior Halberds. The Great Weapon Chaos Warriors will dominate them. I mean, not dominate, but they'll be able to defeat them quite decisively, probably still keeping like 40% HP. But the Halberds, it's a little bit more of a back and forth affair. What the hell is going on? There's like 10 trash trucks have just been going back and forth. It's like, how hard is it? Goodness gracious. Crazy times. Or maybe they're getting like recycling and trash, or maybe it's 2 different trucks. I don't know. Sorry about that, guys. A little bit of background noise there. So the Chaos Warrior Halberds are pulling their ranks back in. This is a good play here from the Chaos Army. You do want to tighten up. I think advancing out into Bretonnia is a pretty big mistake. So Spirit Leech going down to that Paladin once again. You can see the Paladin is... I mean, he might be approaching his healing cap kind of soon. Looks like one Paladin does decide to dive in there, but is potentially going to be hit by Sigvald if he overextends. Sigvald is slippery, and he's coming in to butter that bread. Let us see, is he going to get an attack on the Paladin? Looks like Heroic Killing Blow used, and ooh, Sigvald getting in there. That Paladin better retreat. If Sigvald gets another attack, that could be a big loss. Yeah, that Paladin's down, potentially. Ooh, man, you got to get him out of there. Sigvald really buttering him up. On the backfield, we do get Knights of the Realm charging into the Hell Cannon. A very desperate attempt here by Evenstar to take it offline. However, there are Spawn as well as Halberds back here, so you could get trapped up. Now, in the front line here, you can see the Chaos Warrior Halberds about to engage against Foot Squires, and it looks like there is an Awakening of the Wood on top of the Horseman, of course, which does trigger the Life Bloom passive, giving a little bit of healing. And now Fey Enchantress is diving in for a Mortis Engine fight. So, the Mortis Engine from the Fey Enchantress changes everything here. It certainly puts the Halberds in a little bit more of a precarious situation, but Sigvald's probably going to try his best to get on the Fey Enchantress as we do get more Chaos Warriors piling in. So it's basically the Fey Enchantress Mortis Engine racing against the Chaos Warrior DPS, because Knights of the Realm and Questing Knights, though Questing Knights are good in sustained combat, they're not going to want to fight Chaos Warrior Halberds, as well as Great Weapon Chaos Infantry. That's kind of the cool thing about the Chaos Warrior Great Weapons. They actually do a really good job against the Cavalry as well. So the Chaos Warriors do have a hold line here of the Chaos Warriors kind of holding back the Foot Squires, but the Foot Squires of Evenstar, with the favor of the Fae, generating some nice value. It looks like that Paladin was able to escape, and I think they're trying to cycle charge Sigvald. It's a little bit hard to tell. Yeah, favor of the Fae on Foot Squires, quite saucy for sure. 66 melee attack with an amazing bonus for his infantry. Helps them surpass the 42% or 42 melee defense of that particular Halberd unit. Yeah, the Mortis fight's still going strong. I mean, the Hell Cannon is still there, but you can see the Mortis Engine effect. I mean, without the Fey Enchantress, these Chaos Warrior Halberds would be nowhere near this point, right? They would be holding, they'd be happy, they'd be cackling to whatever Chaos God they worship, but in this case, Evenstar really getting a bunch of value. And also, amidst all this chaos here, you can see Evenstar does get a beautiful goon. So he's able to get his Paladin squad there. He does hit the Chaos Sorcerer of Death, who is now broken. But thankfully for Lunacy, the Chaos Sorcerer does pull back, or runs the right direction, to the point where Evenstar isn't able to chase it. There are some Mounted Yeomen here, but they're being intercepted by the Marauder Horsemen, which means the Deathcaster probably will come back. And I think Chaos will probably continue to stretch out their lead. And yeah, look at that, Fey Enchantress got Sigvalded. That's a new adjective right there. Or descriptor, or verb, sorry. But yes, Sigvald got in there and just gave the Fey Enchantress the business, which pretty much seals the game. I was so focused on the Deathcaster that I did kind of miss that, but it looks like Sigvald really just got in there and did some brutal work. Holy shit, Fey Enchantress got karate chopped. Yeah, so I don't see any chance now for Bretonnia. I mean, there are some Foot Squires left on the battlefield, but Sigvald is just, he's so angry. And there's still a lot of Halberd infantry. It looks like there's a unit back here of 64. And now that the Mortis Engine's gone, I just don't think Evenstar is going to have the stopping power to get through this. And it looks like Lunacy and the Warriors of Chaos probably going to be pulling out this first game. Most likely. Foot Squires, of course, I really like that pick. I think with a little bit more cautious positioning from Fey Enchantress, it was going very well for Evenstar. I think he was draining down all this back line, but Fey must have overextended into the battle lines and gotten trapped by Sigvald as well as the Chaos Warriors. Yep. There you have it. Get Sigvalded. Yeah, Sigvalded. I think that's good. I like that. That's a new thing here on the channel. It's here to stay, baby. So, the Sons of Bretonnia, without their daughter there, the Fey Enchantress, are going to be having a hard time, and Evenstar will withdraw. GG, well played by both players. But in the end, the Halberds and Sigvald able to claim the day. Sigvald with 2,000 value, Hell Cannon getting about 1,300. Pretty good. Fey Enchanter has still got 1,700 despite a very suboptimal performance from her, which is crazy. And yeah, the Bretonnian Cavalry really struggled against the Armored Chaos Wall. So, Lunacy is up 1-0 in this best of 3, taking a game here off the World Champ. We'll see if he can close out the series or if the World Champion will rally back. And it's always a good sign to see this healthy competition like this. Not seeing any one particular player just dominate nonstop is certainly, I think, a very good sign for the metagame and all that stuff. Despite the greenskins and their issues, you know, Grom and Punch and all that. So, let us load in, get the next map set for these two fine gentlemen, and we should be good to go here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and do it. The Tomb of the Shifting Sands. We could do Cliff of Beasts. Cliff of Beasts, I believe, is a good map. The Cliff of Beasts. All right, map set. Good luck, have fun. There is a hill on this one, but both players have access to it, so. Yes, yes. Yeah, Lady Turin is the Fey Enchantress on my Bretonnian campaign is my favorite thing. It's so good. Yeah, great thumbnail for sure. And then there's the one campaign with me as Sigvald, which I think is a pretty disturbing thumbnail. That's an old one, man. Yeah, we did a legendary Sigvald campaign. When was that? That must have been like a year and a half ago. God damn, time flies. Shit, man. Yeah, trebuchets could have been really good there, actually. Trebuchets against like a halberd defensive build, like 2 field trebs would have just like really owned chaos there. Like the halberds would have gotten whittled down. You could probably even snipe the hell cannon with the trebuchets, which is really funny, but I'm pretty sure it would have gone like that. Yeah, I'm very excited for the for game 3. And only raw, to answer your question, yeah, there can be a lot of blobbing. It depends on the matchups, but and also the playstyle. Many players don't blob. Some people like to pull people apart, and you know, every playstyle is more or less viable. But in game 3, if you know domination mode becomes the standard multiplayer format and it's well done, yeah, like then that's going to change everything. Because when you have, there will be blobbing on objectives, but if it's a map with like 4 victory points, that's going to change everything, right? I'm not sure how they're going to do it. What's kind of a cool idea is domination mode not necessarily being all about the objectives, but if somebody wants to be degenerate, then you can win on objectives. That's like one version I think is kind of cool. Yeah. Kissel will have snow leopards. They'll be the best faction. I think that the snow leopard that we see in the cinematic is going to be a single entity. I have a feeling it's going to be like a named pet for like the Tsarina or something. It'll be like her Krell, basically, or her Gotrek and Felix, which I think is really cool. So Lunacy pulling out the big guns, going greenskins and banning Lizardmen and Vampire Coast. Evenstar will probably go Vampire counts here. I don't know. Yeah, I would expect maybe a Vampire count pick. Evenstar is a very good Vampire count player, so we will see. I think domination mode is a huge step in the right direction. And we're in very good hands, too. The gentleman who's the battle designer for Warhammer 3, Duck, of course, you probably heard him in the interview that I put up on the channel. But so if you guys don't know about Duck or CA Duck, he's like a longtime tournament player. Like he has played in these tournaments that we're having now. He has played in them. He's experienced them firsthand. A long-time competitive Total War Warhammer player. He played previous historical titles competitive, and he's in charge of battle design for Warhammer 3. And also, I think he's like in charge of domination mode. So I think we're in really, really good hands there. I've talked to him on many occasions. Like he's one of us. He really is one of us. Like he's played in my ECLs before. Like he's awesome, and I think we are really going to be taken care of for sure. Why do you think the Rasputin guy is yeah, I do think he's a legendary lord. I mean, because like the shot that you see of him, of the Rasputin guy from the trailer. Like, it doesn't look like some side character. He looks like a legendary lord, the shots of him. Yeah, CA Duck, not poison, not rubber. Yeah, there's many ducks in the community. It's not a rubber duck of war, nor is it Poison Ducky. It's a different person, yeah. CA Duck. He is a fellow duck, though, that is for sure. There's so many ducks. Yeah, I mean, is Duck a good player? Yeah, he's a really skilled player. Like Duck, CA Duck, we'll just call him CA Duck. He's really skilled. Like, I think when he was like playing like really actively, you know, and he had a lot of time to play, like he was a top tier player. Like probably winning. I don't know about yeah, I'm trying to like. Cause when did I start playing with him? Probably Warhammer 2. Yeah, more or less. I saw him in a couple events. Yeah, he's a top tier player for sure. Great micro. Yeah. You think he's a warrior priest? Well, so the thing is, Misha, I do not think he's a warrior priest character because he's like, we already have the warrior priest, which is the patriarch. We saw him in the survival battle. So this guy looks like a warrior, like a priest type character, but a legendary version. So he's going to be like a legendary version. He's like Volkmar the Grim for Kislev. He'll have his prayers. He'll have additional stuff. He's basically Volkmar the Grim. Yeah. What was your video game of choice before Warhammer? Warcraft. No, was it Warcraft? What was I playing back then? I played I played Rust actually a shitload. Yeah, Warcraft 3, Rust. I wasn't playing too much, to be honest. Yeah, I was just mainly playing Warcraft 3 and Rust. I played Shogun 2 a lot in college, but, you know, that was a long time ago. So we do get vampire counts for screen skins. Yeah. He could be a quest hero like Codil. I think he's going to be a legendary lord. Like the screenshots that I showed in the video that they sent us to share with you guys, it looks like a legendary lord shot. You know. Captain teamwork. So the thing is, there is quite a bit of downtime between the games because they have to build a new army every single time. It's not like StarCraft or other RTS games where you can just like load in and, you know, build an army on the fly. So yeah, you just bear with us. It can take a little bit longer, but you know, it's all good. We get to hang out and chat, you know. Gives you time to get your snacks ready. Or you could always come back and watch it later if you don't like the downtime. I'll have timestamps so you can come back and like watch, and you know, you can just skip through all the banter and just jump right to the battles. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, Evenstar is definitely an undead player. Could be a legendary hero. That's something to consider. I do think it's gonna be a named character though. Maybe there is a conspiracy in the community that all the ducks are the same person. Like Rubber Duck is the same as Poison Duck, is the same as Creative CA Duck. They're all just one person. Yeah, it could be. Rasputin is definitely a priest of Orson. Yeah, he's pretty badass. Oh man, how do you think Cathay will play in Warhammer 3? Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Dude, I know nothing about Cathay. I think there was very little lore on them too. They're just like kind of a blurb that was mentioned. So, dude, I have no idea. No, I never played Iron Harvest. No. I thought about it because it's an RTS game, but I don't know. I didn't know if like a big community formed around it. So, yeah, they're all the same duck. We are one. Well, Poison Ducky, yeah. I'm trying to think. I think several of the ducks are from the UK. I'm not sure where you're from, but yeah. Do I stream? I only Captain Teamwork. I only stream on YouTube. Yeah, I've thought about streaming on Twitch before, only because I'm not. I don't think I'm going to, just for the record. So we'll just put that out there before I kind of explain why. But the reason why I've considered doing Twitch for certain things is because YouTube basically punishes you if you put up multiple videos in a day. So for example, if I were to stream like an ECL and then put up a second video after that, in my experience, on days when I stream and put up a video, the video that I put up does exponentially worse than videos on days where I don't put up. So right now, by streaming, it seems from experience and analytics that I've looked at that YouTube actually tanks my other video. So like the video I put up today on the announcement, the trailer, is probably going to do worse than it would have on a day if I didn't stream. It's a very strange thing. Like your second video usually gets tanked, and that can be your streams. It's a very, very weird thing. Poison Ducky's an American duck. So that's the only reason I've considered it. I much prefer streaming here on YouTube. I really, love the community, and obviously this is my home. But I've considered doing like campaigns and other things just so it doesn't affect my other videos. Yeah, it's so dumb, man. It's so dumb. Like YouTube wants to have like a big streaming community, but then shit like that exists where like you get punished for putting up multiple videos a day. Well, if you're a streamer, of course you're going to have more videos because, you have your video and then you have your stream. It's really dumb. Like, I hope that YouTube does something and puts out an official statement saying like, hey, if your stream VODs are not going to affect like your other videos, because they do. And I've seen it in my analytics, and I'm sure many other YouTubers can relate. Yeah. I really dislike it. It's so frustrating. But, you know, streaming is my favorite thing to do. And yeah, that's correct. A lot of content creators are moving from Twitch to YouTube. There's a big influx. So I hope with that happening that YouTube will take some steps to remedy that, because I think it's so dumb. Anyways, guys. Yeah, and that does nothing's changing. I'm still going to stream and put up videos. Like, nothing's changing, so don't worry. Yeah, I put up a video today, correct. So, let's go ahead and jump into the game. Enough complaining. Sorry about that, guys. I hate complaining. We do have the greenskins here. Of course, very, very meta, very strong. We got the Black Orc battle line for immune to psychology. Front line's going to be a couple Orc Biggins backed by some light skirmishing, of course, to obey the attacking rules, it looks like. Some Orc Air Boys in the back, backed by AP Loonies, so it looks like triple. We got Grom the Paunch, Hag, and a Brain Bust to cast here for Lunacy. So this is very, very meta. Very, very meta for sure. And let's go ahead and jump on over to the forces of Evenstar. So we have the Strigoi Ghoul King. Is he... Yeah, the Ghoul King is not the fur coat one. He's the one without the fur coat. He's the OG. He has Spirit Leech. That's why a lot of people bring him. You can get in there and give some business to people. On top of that, we do have a battle line of zombies. And you'll notice why Evenstar is like deploying his forces like that. Is that the zombies are giving less surface area to the superior greenskin infantry. So basically, less greenskin models are going to be hitting the zombies overall. So they last longer. That's why people use this formation, if you're wondering. On top of that, we have two black coaches. We do also have a necromancer in the back, ready to stroke his forbidden rod furiously. And it looks like some skeleton spears, graveguard, great weapons, backed up by blood knights, which are very, very good against greenskins in my experience. They can really dominate the cavalry game, deal with monsters. Shock damage against infantry is good. And the black coaches can deal with black orcs, and, you know, the blood knights can deal with the other threats. That's it. That is it. Is this the Warhammer Pro League? Yeah, more or less. Yeah, I would say so. There's a handful of content creators, amazing creators out there in the Total War community who host their own tournament circuits, all of which I would say probably would be considered professional Total War Warhammer, which is what you're watching now. So yeah, definitely, man. Definitely is the case. So the hordes of vampiric monsters moving forward towards the Greenskin army. Now, a very common tactic is for vampires to kind of just waddle very slowly. And when you do this, you fly in, you spam Spirit Leech. That's what the Strigoi Ghoul King is going to do. But honestly, even if Evenstar does that, I don't think it really matters, simply because you have Grom and you have a Hag, and neither of them give a shit about being Spirit Leeched. And yeah, Strigoi Ghoul King could Spirit Leech down the Orc Shaman, but that's really not that big of a gain for those Spirit Leeches. I would probably honestly rather see the Spirit Leeches used on the Black Orcs or the more elite durable infantry, and just kind of kill Grom with the Strigoi Ghoul King in the late game, so we'll see. Turin, you consider riding as a sidekick? You know, it's really funny. Despite my haggard kind of language and things like that, I used to work for a newspaper. I was actually a staff writer at a newspaper. That was my first job out of college. So I used to write articles and press releases and things like that. Yeah, definitely didn't get paid very well. It was a pretty grueling pay there. But yeah, it was fun. Get Old Yellard. Wow, that's one I've never thought of. That's for sure. So Evenstar is moving up. The Strigoi Ghoul King advancing. I mean, it doesn't really matter. He's not even using Spirit Leech. He's just advancing slowly to probably maintain his vigor. Although no, it looks like the zombies are actually diminished. Yeah, and what are the skeletons are animated? Do zombies just have bad vigor or something? I never really noticed that. Anyways, the greenskin skirmishers doing some work here, shooting into the black coach. Certainly getting some HP, and every little bit counts, you know, in this matchup. It can often devolve into a very serious late game fight. Spirit Leech going down there, hitting the Morgub's Mage and Marauders. Just double checking the white line situation. Okay, it looks like Evenstar has plenty of room to surround this greenskin army. So just something you always want to look at before the game progresses to make sure to catch those. Yeah. No, I did not use my YouTube Total War, you know, meme language when I worked for the newspaper, I promise you. Yeah. Yep. So here it is. Forest Goblin Spider Riders getting caught. A little bit of a misplay there by Lunacy. Nothing, you know, terribly disastrous. But the Blood Knights do finish off one of the skirmishers, it looks like. Many of them got trapped there. I have no idea how those little Spider Riders got caught. But the Savage Orcs moving to intercept. Probably going to be getting a charge potentially on the Blood Knights. If Evenstar doesn't pull back. Ooh, they've been slowed, man. What's their speed right now? It's 20. The Savage Orcs got 37 speed. Grom the Paunch is intercepted. Really nice play there by Evenstar, blunting the charge of Grom. Although Grom, honestly, could probably just stay and fight. If he pops all his buffs with the Hag support. Oh, you better watch out, Ghoul King. He's getting that giant sack of meat right to the face. And now the Strigoi Ghoul King is going to pull away. But ultimately, Evenstar did escape that, you know, without taking too much damage. A little bit up here. Didn't lose any Blood Knight models. And the Black Coaches do get in to cause some disruption as well. And now Lunacy appears to be pushing up to get some work in here on the Black Coach. And yeah, Greenskin's getting good value so far. Grom the Paunch is a raid boss. He does a surprising amount of damage to single entities. And you can see there he is able to chase the Black Coach and, you know, bring him down to, or it down to a fairly low amount of health. Strigoi Ghoul King does drop a Crypt Ghoul summon, so that's one of the unique aspects of the Ghoul King, is he summons ghouls instead of the standard skeletons and zombies. He can overcast that, and it summons Crypt Horrors. Granted, Crypt Horrors would not be good against anything here. Maybe the Black Orcs. Summoning a Crypt Horror unit on top of them would help you kind of wear them down. Both players are ready. Black Coach is cycle charging in once again. Grom the Paunch can't be everywhere at once. Where the hell did Big Chungus go? I lost track of him. Looks like Grom pulled back to the main army, but this is not good for the Greenskins. The Savage Orc Biggins here do not want to be fighting Black Coaches. They're basically a hard counter, right? They do magic damage, which surpasses what little ward save the Savage Orcs have via their physical resist. And another Mither going down. Might be able to get some value here. At the very least, Spirit Leeches will go. But the Greenskins can't really overchase because the Blood Knights will just annihilate whatever chases. And yeah, another nice catch here. Lunacy does forget about his Forest Goblin Spider Riders, and the Knights of Red Keep do get in there and really do charge down those spiders. So they're going to be getting pushed off the map. Now, Grom the Paunch coming out to fight. Going to be trying to deal with the Black Coach, but I would say Evenstar is certainly in a big state of advantage this game. Like, he is getting a lot of picks. He broke off a Savage Orc Biggin unit, which costs, you know, upwards of 800 gold. He's killed 2 Skirmisher units, all for a little bit of HP damage here on the Strigoi Ghoul King. So that is something to consider. Now, the battle line is here. Graveguard, Great Weapons will lose to Black Orcs 1v1, but with proper magic support and zombies taking the initial charge of the Black Orcs, it becomes a much more even, you know, situation, really. And Blood Knights here charging into Orc Biggins. It's one of the reasons why Blood Knights are so gangster, is that they do very well against, you know, cavalry, but they have pretty good combat stats for shock cav. So they can also do very well against infantry, especially lightly armored infantry. If they can cycle charge them, they can do some big work. Now, the one thing that Evenstar could just straight up lose the game on is if he lets the Strigoi Ghoul King get, you know, taken to the thrift shop here, and he just gets, oh, that's the wrong one. He doesn't have the fur coat. But if he just gets surrounded, right, and just beaten down. But it looks like the vampires have gotten a lot of good pressure on the army. Like, the archers in the back have ghouls summoned on top of them. The Graveguard have gotten pretty optimal engagements. The Black Coaches are sitting on top of the Black Orcs. It really just looks like this is Evenstar's game to, you know, to win here. I mean, of course, like, if he lets the Ghoul King get caught, then, you know, Grom the Paunch might just go full Super Saiyan and carry the game. But generally speaking, it seems like the vampires are getting all the good engagement. So Graveguard, Great Weapons piling in with their bonus first infantry. A nice little kind of edge engagement here. They're able to kind of fight the Black Orcs. But the Wa is down, and or just wore off, and certainly gave the Black Orcs some good stopping power, but now it's gone. Graveguard with Great Weapons, of course, losing against the Black Orcs. We all knew that would happen, but they're still putting a dent in them, which is very essential. And a very risky engagement here with the Strigoi Ghoul King. He actually dives in. He gets Spirit Leeched. He gets Mithered. So we'll see if he can escape. And it looks like the Ghoul King will be getting away, pulling away from that engagement as a big brain buster goes down. Unfortunately, killing many of the Greenskin's own units, which is very classic. So the balance of power ebbing into the favor here of the vampire counts as the Strigoi Ghoul King comes in and, you know, showing the Greenskins a thing or two here. Very good control with the Strigoi Ghoul King. And once this hag is broken, which he inevitably will be, there won't be any way for the Greenskins to salvage that character. And though Grom the Paunch is very strong, he's not going to be able to fight the Ghoul King most likely, especially since Ghoul King probably has a couple invocations waiting in the back pocket, has plenty of ways to heal, and of course is naturally healing itself as it is on a goose. So it looks like this is going to be army losses soon. The Blood Knights just a full surround. Archers got shut down. Just optimal engagements there. And Evenstar showing his vampire count prowess. And really, honestly, that was a very, although it was slow, that was a very one-sided game. Evenstar really dominated that one with his Black Coaches and his Blood Knights. And yeah, great value across the board on most of those. And the Ghoul King did great work. GG, well played. Yeah, the Greenskin build is more or less fine. I think just a couple, you know, the Skirmishers getting caught, the Savage Orcs being given away for more or less free. There was a couple things like that. But Lunacy obviously winning the first game. So we'll be going to game 3 now. So let's go ahead and do this. And jump on over to the lobby and get ready to party. The winner of this will be facing the Kraken King, Enticity, in the grand finals to be earning a ECL spot, which should be quite a bit of fun. So now, baby, we're going to the Bone Zone. We haven't had the Bone Zone in today's tournament. But let's do it, man. I'm hyped for this. Lunacy versus Evenstar, 1-1 here in this series. Yeah, that was very clinical vampire count play for sure. Very clinical. Yeah, Black Coaches haven't gone anywhere, Ethereum. They've been good for a long time. They're an amazing unit because they have a low center of gravity. So even against like missile units, like missile factions, they can be hard to shoot because they often blend in with the infantry, and they're really obnoxious. All right, so we got a donation coming in from Spice. Happy birthday. I know it's not your actual birthday, but at least it's yours. So I'll share some of the spoils. Thanks for everything that you do. Hey, thank you so much for that donation, and happy birthday to you guys. Let's get a big happy birthday to the mighty Spice here in chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate that donation, and happy birthday. Maybe a good year for you. It's funny because black coaches are terrible in tabletop. Dude, everybody loves the Bone Zone. Who doesn't love the Bone Zone? It's the best map ever. Has some issues, but generally, I think it's a fun one. We could also do Troll Country. We'll save Troll Country for one of the games in the grand finals. Now, I don't usually root for the vampire counts, but it's your favorite lord, and it's against Grom. Yeah, tricky for sure. I don't think black coaches need to be nerfed, honestly. Hamram, I think they're fine where they are. Vampire counts have a very particular playstyle, you know. Very much a faction of extremes. I mean, they're pretty good against vampire counts. Like good vampire count players can hang versus almost any faction. They do struggle a bit against the high elves and dark elves, but in my experience, like they can still win. I think high elves is probably the harder of the two because Larry is just so dominant against them. Like she shuts down their entire monster core. She takes over the sky, and then like yeah, it's just really strong. Yeah. It's getting late. Yeah, I know it's getting late. These tournaments can run late. Now, I'm such a night owl. It was like, I should have started this a little bit earlier today, but I was trying to have this tournament be, like, start late enough that, because if I start it too early during the week, then people in Europe who are working, you know, a day job can't make it. So I started it, like, closer to 10, so, like, they were already off work and home. But again, it also goes later into the night because these tournaments are very long, so it's a tricky thing. Yeah. Sice, you just missed it, actually. Evenstar already played Vampire Counts. He just played against Lunacy's Greenskins, if you want to go back and watch that. How old am I? Am I 69 yet? You guys are just all going to be, like, happily in your retirements, and I won't have, like, streamed on my YouTube channel for, like, 50 years, and then when I turn 69, they're just going to... You're going to see that notification pop up once more from the deep, and we'll be back for one last run. It'll be like one of those, like, old man power fantasy movies. One last time. Yeah. Good times. All right, so Evenstar going Chaos, and he bans Wood Elves, Greens. Oh no, he picks Chaos, Wood Elves, and Greenskins, and bans Wood Elves. Yeah. So yeah, Chaos clearly doing very well. I think Chaos is actually a pretty underrated faction. Yeah, Sice, it was a good game too. It was a good game. You considered cracking a cold one open for the stream. One last time. I wonder, like, how long YouTube will be dominant in terms of, like, the... I mean, I don't see any platform taking over YouTube, you know, for a long time. Okay, Lunacy going Vampire Coast, and what is he going to ban here? Okay, Vampirates banning Wood Elves. Okay, so it's probably going to be Vampire Counts versus... Or Vampire Coast versus... Probably not Chaos, probably going to be Greenskins. Which is a matchup we see, like, all the time. Yeah. We'll go. Hey, you know, I'll do YouTube for as long as people watch it, really. You know? Like, I really enjoy it. It's super fun. Turin is Peter Pan. He gets to play video games for a living. He never grows old. There's some truth to that, for sure. I'm 32 right now, actually. Yeah, 32. I started doing my YouTube channel when I was, what, 4.5 years ago? So, I was, like, in my late 20s, like 27, 28, 29. Yeah, 28, I think. 27 and a half. I can't remember. Oh, I can't remember. Oh. He's between 69 and 420. These tourneys are on TikTok soon. Oh my god. I don't know. I don't see any competitors. Oh, it's actually Chaos versus Coast. A matchup I actually enjoy watching more than Greenskins versus Coast. Because like every faction where we have, I feel like it's Enticity on Coast versus like a Greenskin player. So I'm like, oh, give me something different. I know, Sice. Yeah, you went back and watched that. It was a good performance, huh? But yeah, I think YouTube will be dominant for quite some time because, you know, Google owns it, and Google's just such a monopoly. So, I mean, there will be competitors in terms of like streaming platforms, but if YouTube really wanted to go like full evil monopoly villain, they could just optimize their streaming platform and just like take a dump on like every other platform if they wanted to. I don't know. What did I do before YouTube? So I started my YouTube channel when I was working a full-time job, and I just did it as a hobby on the side because, you know, I love it. It was fun. I was actually inspired to do YouTube by Heir of Carthage because when I was working my day job, it was more or less a 9 to 5. I started at 9, usually would finish by 6 or 7 at night, and had to work weekends too. I used to watch Heir of Carthage's videos on like my breaks, and like I got inspired to do YouTube from him. But yeah, I was an athletic director. So basically I ran sports competitions. So, you know, just think of like if you're at a high school, you know, you have an athletic director, right? He organizes all the sports competitions. He like picks out the coaches. I did that exact same thing. But I didn't do it for a school. I did it for a nonprofit organization. So, yeah, that was my full-time job before. And then before that, like I said, I worked at the newspaper and a couple other things like that. But yeah. All right. So, my friends, let us go ahead and see if Lunacy will be using the Enticity style of play, and it looks like he is. So Lunacy coming with double Gunnery White, double Scab Scrape, no surprises there. Up in the sky, it's going to be Deck Droppers, backed up by Lamprey's Revenge, which is something we don't really see Enticity do. But he does have the durable Krabos, and then a couple of Scurvy Dogs as well. Calling it now, in 10 years, YouTube will be overtaken by Turin TV. Oh, that'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? But I don't think so. I don't think so. And then if we take a look here, we have Marauder Horsemen, Horse Masters actually for Evenstar. Front battle line's going to be super wide with some Forsaken on the flanks with Chaos Warriors or Marauders in the front. So there's a couple ways to play this matchup. This is kind of one of the more old school ways of playing it. The other style is what I like to call the Aerocrastic signature, where you basically spam Chaos Warrior Halberds and slow push. But I think against Deck Dropper spam, this might be a little bit better. It's hard to say. Depends on what type of Deck Droppers. But yeah, it's Spawn, Marauders, Forsaken. Double Chaos Chariot here. Chaos Sorcerer, Burning Head, and then, yeah, looks like 5 Marauder Horsemen in total with a combination of Horsemen and Horse Masters and things like that. So, should be pretty cool. Yeah. You know, that would actually be a dream job for me. If I got to go and be a caster for the UFC, holy shit, that would be a dream job. If anybody knows Dana White personally, hit him up. Tell him that, I'll do it for pennies. Yeah, I would love to be a caster for the UFC. I'm a big mixed martial arts fan. I've been following it forever. Yeah, I'd love to do that. That would be like a dream come true. All right, so the forces of chaos advance upon ye old Vampire Coast. Vampire Coast army, of course, in terms of infantry, will crumble. But this is very similar to the games we saw Enticity playing against Chaos. Although this is a much smaller map, so the kiting will be a little bit less effective. This is backcountry. Yeah, this is backcountry. Yeah. And this is the new meta for Coast. Like, I feel like Coast players completely abandoned the old meta of like handguns and like going super wide. Like, nobody does that anymore. When Enticity started doing the double Gunnery White, like Scab Scrape, like that's just the way to do it. And honestly, it's so much more efficient. Like, it's such a strong build. Because like the Chaos Skirmishers just can't do shit against 5 bats. Like, look what just happened. The Horse Masters are like, a vast mighty bats, I will march in and do battle here against the handguns, and they just get like literally one-shotted. So yeah, the poor Horse Masters. It almost makes me think, like in this matchup, maybe I would consider bringing 2 Exalted Heroes on Manticores plus Horsemen just to dominate the sky. I actually think that might be pretty good. Something to consider. Yeah, should be fun. So here they come, Chaos Forces moving in, going after the Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs. Chariot's going to be a nice little piece here. Chariots will, of course, lead to the quicker demise of the Vampire Coast Infantry. It looks like these Scurvy Dogs here are going to be pushing into the Forsaken, but they are intercepted by some Chaos Marauders. Chaos Marauders will be quite happy to have that fight. Should be trading well against the Scurvy Doggos. Chariots getting in, and the Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs are getting worn down. Spawn also continuing to push through. But a little bit of a lapse of micro here allows the Horse Masters of Evenstar to actually sit on top of those Deck Droppers and really, really bring them down to the point of crumbling. And sniping the armor-piercing handgun this early on would be a nice grab. Fireball goes in. It looks like it takes out one of the Deck Droppers there. And now the Warriors of Chaos have gotten a very, very nice engagement. Oh yeah, if I was a UFC commentator, I'd for sure rock a mullet. Yeah, 100%. But Spawn, you know, of course, against the old style of play, they kind of fell out because against like 5 handguns, they would just get annihilated like on the approach. But now maybe like with the threat overload, usually the bats are going to be occupied dealing with your skirmishers. Maybe it's a little bit better. Nice Burning Head too. Burning Head is so good against Undead. And right there it takes out a fair amount of the Deckhand mobs. Looks like 3 of them just got like roasted there. Honestly, I feel like Chaos is off to a pretty decent start, but so too for the Coast. It's an even game. I think that the Deck Dropper bats really, really did dominate many of the Chaos Skirmishers, although Evenstar still does have 2 Marauder Horsemen left. These ones might come back too with 16 models. And these ones are probably about to get chased down. We'll see if Evenstar is paying attention here. Okay, it looks like he is. So the Marauder Horseman able to kind of lure those scurvy dogs away. Bounce power still quite even. Sigvald, you know, just he's slippery and getting in there. A little wet and wild, going after Count Noctilus. Should be able to lay a beating on him for sure. And this is like the dream situation. If Sigvald can just chase Noctilus the entire time and, you know, there isn't enough stopping power to get him off, he is going to generate a ton of value for sure. So Lunacy kiting back right now, which is very, very standard here. Lamprey's Revenge still in very good shape. We still have 2 units of spawn, or 3 units of spawn, all of which are above half health, and we still also have the Chariots. The Chariots will be useful from a mass perspective because the Chariots can actually pin you in place and, like, you know, keep the Vampire Coast from kiting effectively. But here comes what appears to be a Wraithstorm, so going down there on top of the caster. Thankfully for Lunacy, though, or excuse me, for Evenstar, that caster is actually on foot. So basically, he's going to be not taking too much damage. Wraithstorm does a lot more damage to mounted characters, so it won't do much against Sigvald. Might have done a little bit better against some Chariots or Spawn, but, you know, ultimately, it's not a bad choice. So no, Enticity is not playing in this game. This is Lunacy playing the Vampire Coast against Evenstar. Enticity is in the Grand Finals, yes, but he definitely is a coast mate. So right now, Bounce of Power is actually getting a little bit more coast favored as the Gunbats, now that they have no natural predators, are just taking apart this this Chaos Army. The Chaos Sorcerer sniped, Chariots getting sniped. I mean, Sigvald, of course, is a character that can potentially hard carry. If, you know, some of the Gunnery Whites can get dragged down, I think that could help the Bounce of Power. Nice Scab Scrape, though, man. That was a really, really good one there by Lunacy, but yeah, these Chaos Spawn need to try and surround the Gunnery White. I think Sigvald might want to just go for the Whites. Noctilus seems to be a little bit slippery. Chaos piling in. And that's the thing, ammunition is not going to run out. That was why Deck Droppers weren't used for the longest time, because people didn't really kind of use... I mean, I think I remember some early adopters. Zablasky was someone, I think, who did that in the very early days of Vampire Coast, but, you know, Gunline was just so popular for so long, so... Here comes Yield Sigvald. Noctilus, of course, dropping his little payload right here as the zombies jump an abandoned ship. Leadership here is at 29, kind of fluctuating back and forth, but ammunition looking so healthy. Lamprey's Revenge are tanky, and Chaos seems to have just fallen apart. They couldn't bunker bust that position. Lamprey's Revenge, a nice little touch here by Lunacy, actually made it much tougher, because normally Chaos can kill everything, and that's partially why the Halberd spam, I think, might be better for Chaos. I don't know. They're still very weak against Noctilus and handgun focus fire, so that's something to consider. Sigvald's trying his best, you know, running over the Chariots here. He's got his glorious Slaneshi armor on and his mighty chaps, but I just don't think he's going to be able to survive. The thing about Sigvald is he probably will die to 2 Gunnery Whites beating on him, because the Gunnery Whites are on Crabs, which have amazing armor piercing and pretty good stats to boot. So that is a tricky one for sure. Nicholas, just finished your finals. Party time. Hell yeah, man. Congratulations. I know that's a good feeling. I remember the days of finishing finals and just feeling that kind of huge burden lifted off your shoulders. So congratulations, Nicholas. We share a name as well. My name is also Nicholas. So here we go. Count Noctilus moving. But Sigvald's pretty close to army losses, and that is going to be it. And with that, Lunacy has defeated the world champion and will be advancing on to the grand finals to face the Kraken King. It would appear 2 Kraken Kings have met. 2 mighty pirate lords will be dueling here. And Captain Back Slicer, first month subscription to Turin TV. Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, the Gunbat combo is really nasty, man. I don't think Horsemasters can really deal with it, to be honest. I think it almost makes me think you just get more shit on the ground and just ignore them, but it's like, it feels so bad to not have any counterplay. Maybe maybe Warp Chicken plus 2 Exalted Heroes on Manticores plus the Horsemen can deal with it. I think that would actually be good, because the Exalted Heroes could bully the shit out of the Gunnery Whites too. I think Chaos players kind of have to change the page on this. All right, so going to the bracket here, Lunacy will be advancing on to the grand finals to face off against the Kraken King. So let's do it to it. GG. Lunacy, stay here. And we will get Enticity himself. Where is he? All right. You're up. Password is 1234. And we should be good. Turin TV. Has a little bit of a catch to it. You know what I thought would be really funny? You know how, like, there's all these, like, crazy booms with, like, cryptocurrencies and people just making, like, fortunes off, like, gambling on cryptos and things like that? I was like, what if we as a community here created our own crypto coin and called it the mullet coin? And it's legit just like, it's like a mullet. It's like a coin with just an epic mullet on it, you know, as the logo. I don't know. I don't know anything about that stuff, but I just thought that would be a really funny thing. Yeah, we could create our own little, like, our own little currency within the within our community here. The mullet coin. Enticity joins up, and the first thing he says, he's like, nice Vampirates game, man. All right, so let's go ahead and do Prague for the first map. Dude, mullet coin for sure, because that actually has some like appeal. I think like that has a mainstream appeal because mullets are funny. You know? I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I was like, oh, maybe that's something. I don't even know how all that shit works, though. I'm such a caveman. All right. Loading back in. We're here. Map is set. All right, so the players can do their picks and bans. This is the grand finals. This is for all the marbles. Yeah. Corn coin, yeah. Misha's like, no. Is it like a, oh, they have a horrible impact? Okay. Yeah. See, I don't know anything about it. I just see all these like coins with these dogs. I think there's so much crazy shit going on with it. Like I remember like I was like trying to learn about like investments and all these things like that. And I was like talking to my uncle. So my dad's brother is like an investment advisor, and he was like telling me about traditional stocks and long-term investing and like retirement plans and things like that. And then like I remember talking to someone in my Discord who's like, dude, I just made like 50 grand off a something called a dog coin or Dogecoin. And I was like, what the hell is that shit? It's like, it's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, like in all honesty, I'm never gonna do that. But like it's just something I was like, oh, that'd be kind of funny if like there was like a mullet one. Yeah. Joe Exotics coin. Oh my god. 1% of the world's energy currently goes into crypto. Is that actually true? Holy shit. Yeah. It's controversial recently, really, huh? Crazy stuff indeed. Dude, it's insane. It's just like I don't understand it. I feel like a boomer. I was talking to my younger brother and sister who are like in their late teens and early 20s because my dad got remarried after my parents, and they were like telling me about some of the shit, and I'm just like, I don't understand it. Like it makes me it ages me so hard. Yeah. That's some crazy stuff. Yeah. Fantasy currency, good luck humanity. All right, so for the first match here, they haven't done their picks and bans yet, but it is going to be Lunacy versus Enticity. What are your predictions, guys? Lunacy coming off a pretty impressive performance. And in case you guys missed the World Championship, we of course saw that Evenstar did win in the best of 7. So Lunacy getting a 2-1 victory over Evenstar is a huge accomplishment. Lunacy, I think, had some really nice wins today, too, against some other very strong opponents. Yeah. It's wild stuff, man. Dude, it's too complicated for me, to be honest. I'm a simple man, you know. I just get my paycheck and I don't invest it in anything. I pay an exorbitant amount of taxes because I don't know what I'm doing. That's how I roll, man. That's how I roll. Yeah, crazy stuff indeed. Yeah, Misha, feel free to link that article, by the way. So yeah, Rock Paper Shotgun actually just did a really cool article on the Warhammer World Championship. So they interviewed a bunch of people who were a part of it, and yeah, it's great. Like super cool to see Total War multiplayer get that kind of coverage. Same as usual. Top of bracket. This is best of 5 though. So double ban for both of you in first game. Then single bans after that. So basically in the best of 5, we have double bans in the beginning for the first game and then single bans after that. Pretty standard stuff. Could we get a vampirate? We could. We could. How old am I? 32. Yeah, 32. Yeah, no, I'm just like, I'm gonna, in terms of like my retirement, because YouTube's a tricky thing, right? Because YouTube doesn't take out like the tax withholding, so I have to like do that all myself. On top of that, yeah, I'm just gonna have my dad's brother help me. He's like a traditional like financial investor guy, and he's awesome. So he's gonna help me like set up a retirement account for my wife and I. That's the one thing I want to make sure I do. Yeah. Lich109, thank you for the $5. Certainly educating me on such things. Turin is basically a fossil then. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So yeah, the Rock Paper Shotgun article is really cool. If you guys haven't seen it, make sure to check that out. All right. Thank you, thank you. It looks like it's going to be Greenskins versus... So Lunacy going to Greenskins. We just saw this. All right, guys. So you're seeing that we're seeing some very meta matchups now. It's going to be Vampire Counts versus Lunacy's Greenskins. Now, we just saw Lunacy lose this matchup against Evenstar's Counts. Now, how will Enticity's Vampire Counts differ, or what adjustments will Lunacy make? I'm actually kind of interested. Normally, I'm not like super interested in seeing the same matchup again, but based on him picking this and not banning Vampire Counts after he had just lost it to Evenstar, this is going to be very interesting for sure. Yeah. Evan Sherman, thank you for the heads up. Yeah, so my dad's brother is going to, help me out. He's doing it for, free more or less. So it's not like I'm taking a risk by like talking to him, Yeah, we're doing it, man. We're doing it. It's time. It's round 2, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Will we see a wild Grimgore pick? I actually saw Enticity beat, what was it earlier? Enticity had a crazy game on today's stream earlier where he won with Grimgore in a competitive match against Bretonia. I wonder if we'll see like a wild Grimgore pick appear. I don't know, man. I don't know. It would be really funny if they brought the exact same lists. Yeah, Lich 109 for sure. By the way, Lich, shoot me a message in Discord if you got some time. I had a lore question I wanted to ask you about some of the stuff I saw in the Kislev trailer. That's one of the things that's kind of cool about the single faction tournament is when you have what's it called? You get to the finals and it's a best of 3 with the same factions. You get to see like adjustments on builds. I think that's very interesting. As a matter of fact, this week, I don't know, what day is it? It's today. It's what is it? It's Tuesday, I think. Yeah, it's Tuesday. So on Thursday, I think, I'm not sure. I'm going to try and have a single faction tournament this week, like during the week. So, yeah, that'll be pretty fun. Maybe it'll be a qualifier for the next faction war too. Although if I'm going to do a qualifier, I should do it on the weekend. So maybe we'll just do a standard single faction tournament. Those tournaments are cool because they're over in like 3 hours, 4 hours instead of like these big marathon 6-hour ones that the players have to play through. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Listening to your streams, I've assembled my whole Byzantine army for Saga. Oh, that's cool. Right on, man. Oh, man. I want to show you guys some miniatures I'm working on. Dude, I almost never know what day it is. I'm so bad. The only reason I have a semblance is because I had to finish doing my taxes yesterday. So that's like, I had to like review everything. Yeah. Yeah, my younger brother and sister were visiting, right, from New York, and I believe sister, she's 19, and I think my brother is about 21 or 22, quite a bit younger. And like I went to go visit with them, and they were like, I'm like, oh, what are you guys up to? They're like, oh yeah, we're going to a party like with a bunch of musicians in LA, and like we're gonna go have fun. And they're like, what are you up to? I'm like, oh yeah, just paying my taxes. That comment like aged me like 15 years. I just felt like gray hair forming on my head, Yeah. Dude, this year I actually hired like a tax professional to help me with my taxes, but I still had to review it with them and go over all my expenses and things like that. So yeah, Hadries for sure. That format's really fun. I also like the best of one where you can change your armies. Yeah. No. In the years prior, I did use TurboTax, and I noticed I was just doing, it was so inefficient. There's so many things like that, a tax professional spots that TurboTax wouldn't. Yeah. Yeah. No, but we saved a lot of money using these tax guys. Yeah. It was good. Me sure you're laughing at my comment. Yeah. Yeah, good times. Adulting. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is. You should just move to Europe. Lady Turin and I someday, we may end up living in Europe at some point. I don't know when, but I love spending time in Poland. It's amazing. Oh man. The only things for sure, death and taxes. All right, guys, let's get the hype going. It's the finals, baby. No more messing around. No more games. It's going to be Lunacy on the Greenskins facing off against the Kraken King on the Vampire Counts. Now, his build, pretty different from Evenstar's. Well, actually not that different. So basically, the difference is Enticity has a Blood Dragon Lord for Helm of Discord. He's got 2 Black Knights and then Varix Reavers and Blood Knights. So no double Blood Knight. He does have the double black coach. So the builds are very similar in functionality, except Enticity cuts the Graveguard great weapons as well to afford the dragon and more cavalry and different things like that. Weatherspoon's calls, yeah. That's for sure. And now for the forces here of the Greenskins, it's going to be Blackworks, but this time he actually mixes in some Stone Trolls. He's got an Orc Shaman, a little bit of Daka. Honestly, the build looks almost identical. Yeah, so Lunacy brought the same build he brought against Evenstar, and he did lose with it. But he, this time, actually mixed in a Stone Troll to give him some more mass to fight the Black Coaches and the Cavalry and all those different units like that. So, yeah. I mean, honestly, a lot of it comes down to, like, career stuff, you know? Like, wherever Anna wants to go or, you know, live with her career and the direction. Because I'm pretty flexible. I can live anywhere with my current thing. But, you know, also, I don't know if YouTube will last forever. I don't know if people, you know, will keep watching and things like that. So there's a little bit of uncertainty there, but it is what it is. Anime sucks. Thank you for the tenor. Hey, Turin, my sympathy for your hand situation is tripled now. I fractured both my wrists over the weekend, and it totally sucks when your gaming is limited. Dude, it does, yeah. It does. Thank you so much for the donation. And I hope your hands get better quick. Just take it easy, man. Just take it easy. Yeah. Crazy, crazy times indeed. Turin is officially a celebrity. Definitely not. Yeah, it was pretty fun though. It was a cool interview. You know, a lot of times when you read like gaming journalism, you can immediately tell that the individual either doing the interview or the people playing the game have no idea how to play the game, nor do they know anything about the community. But I have to say, the gentleman, Nick, who interviewed us from Rock, Paper, Shotgun, he knew the game, he knew the community, he did his research, he asked really good questions. And yeah, he was awesome. So big shout out to him, man. That was cool. I couldn't in good faith allow Turin to go eat in a Weatherspoons. I already have, Jay Phoenix. I've been to Spoons 3 times. The very first food I tasted when I set my American boots down in England was Weatherspoons. That was my very first experience in England. We arrived at Gatwick, we went to Horsham, and we arrived at the Mighty Spoons. And we were joined by the morning drinkers, the alcoholics there, drinking it like as soon as they served. And we had a big breakfast there, which was pretty funny. So, yeah, good times. You know, I love living in the States. Like I'm you know, really enjoying my life here. But again, I'm flexible, and I really enjoyed spending time in Poland, and you know, I want to have some cool life experiences and travel and all that. So, all right, guys. Sorry about the Weatherspoons rant, but it was pretty funny. I was like, oh, this is what English food is like. Yeah, pretty good times. Hey, Kodo's channel, appreciate that. Vampire counts are advancing. Obviously, Enticity wants to get a full surround. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, he saw the game. I'm sure Enticity was watching as Evenstar surrounded and collapsed the Greenskin army. The formation looks very similar. He actually places his archers behind and doesn't have anything kind of supporting them in the back here. It almost makes me think that one nasty skulker could kind of sit here and hang tight and get like a big flash bomb or something. Now, is that going to be a Gaze of Mork? It looks like it is on the Blood Dragon Lord. 5,000 HP down to 53, so really not that much damage. Dude, I love Kielbasa. Oh, God, it's so good. Don't get me on a rant about Kielbasa. Guys, I need to focus on the commentary. We're in the finals. Don't get me talking about Polish food. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. All right, Varix Reavers and Blood Knights coming in on the flank, looking to perhaps smash into this formation, which would probably be followed up very shortly after with the Helm of Discord coming in from the Blood Dragon Lord. But yeah, basically just going for freebies on the Goblins. Hey, you really got to watch out not to get nailed by Fanatics. Oh, the Mither! Oh, guys, this could be so good. Oh, and Lunacy gets the combo. Enticity reacts right away, though. Good reaction, but still... Oh, no! Look at the Fanatics! They devastated those Varix Reavers and the Blood Knights. Oh, and they're still going. Holy shit, what a play there by Lunacy. What a nice tech, because I don't think we saw the Fanatic play in the previous game. So those Blood Knights really, really take a serious troll toll. A serious troll toll, yeah, brutal stuff. So the Varix Reavers and the Blood Knights pulling back, but that was a beautiful play there by the Greenskins. And now you can see Enticity doesn't really have the surround that Evenstar had. His cavalry are kind of sitting in the front. They obviously could be hammering in the back while the front is being engaged here, but yeah, that was a brutal engagement. I mean, Varix Reavers are crumbling into the Shadow Realm, and on top of that, the Blood Knights, I think, are at about half health. So very, very powerful start here for the Greenskins. You can see the balance of power is actually Greenskin favored very heavily, but that's not to say that the Kraken King can't bring it back. So Blood Dragon Vampire Lord getting blasted there pretty good. I think a big breath attack could go down here on the Blackworks and perhaps equalize the balance of power. Also, the Greenskin army is a little bit vulnerable to being surrounded and mass terror routed outside of its ITP units. Granted, Grom the Paunch is very strong because Grom the Paunch does grant immune to psychology, I believe, to nearby units with the language of the boys, if he did bring it. I'm not sure, but Grom diving into the front line, very, very brutal stuff for sure. Those little fanatics doing the work of Gork and or Mork. And, you know, fanatics are very strong, but, you know, if I were to adjust the Greenskin roster, I don't know if I would nerf them. Like, I feel like it's kind of a fun mechanic. Yeah, because, like, if you over-engage like that in a big blob and just stay longer than you should, it's kind of a punishing thing. Like, I would nerf probably Stone Trolls and Grom and Spider Rider costs and things like that, but I don't know if I would nerf fanatics, honestly. So the Blood Dragon Lord does jump in, but Grom, though he is afflicted by the Helm of Discord, he doesn't care because he's got the Lucky Banner. And now he's going to be getting crumped pretty good. Stone Trolls piling in to help. Balance of Power actually pulling back to the middle, as now the Vampires do get that good juicy surround. We see the two Black Coaches really trolling in the backfield, causing some disruption with the Black Orcs. And now the Blood Dragon Lord juking the ammunition to the best of his abilities. Big breath attack, and that was a really nice one. Ooh, good breath attack. Very, very nice. Fanatics being loosed once again. They are going through, of course, the skeletons here. So not going to be as devastating as before, but also looks like they're going to be taking a little bit of a sojourn out here through the zombies and some fellow goblins. Very, very Greenskin tactics. Very, I guess, signature Greenskin tactics, I should say. Another missile attack going down on the Blood Dragon Lord. What I suspect is going to happen now is that Enticity is probably going to grab his Bro Dragon Lord, his Blood Dragon Lord. And he's probably going to get a big Invocation Overcast and heal the Black Coaches as well as the Dragon Lord, just to optimize. The Greenskins have done a good job holding. You know, in the previous game, we saw their formation completely collapse, just get run over by Evenstar's flank. But this time, I think he's kind of tightened up his game, realized some of the mistakes he made in the previous game by overextending. He also appears to have cut the Savage Orc Biggins. I don't think he has those squishier infantry this time. And now has a more durable army with Orc Biggins. And it looks like a Mither and Spirit Leech going down to the Blood Dragon Lord. Anticity actually doing a dive and a pullback up to dodge shots. It's a very good tactic. If you guys are being focused by missiles and you're slowed and there are nearby units on the ground, you can attack them to basically lower your elevation, avoid the shots, and then pull back up before you actually engage on the ground. So very, very good play there. So yeah, the cavalry does get back. The Black Coaches are here. The Undead still have a fair amount of skeletons left in the front. For the Greenskins, Grom the Paunch is pretty darn healthy as well, and the Black Orcs are rocking 52 models. So yeah, fairly durable presence on both armies. But the big issue for the Vampires is the Blood Dragon Lord. But oh, nasty, nasty breath attack. Taking those Orc Biggins down from like 80% to a very low amount of HP. That was a beauty right there, man. So here comes the Black Coaches moving in, going after the Orc Biggins. Certainly a good choice. Orc Biggins are a pretty threatening infantry piece. You want to take them down. They're good against cavalry. And now the Blood Dragon Lord, the Bro Dragon Lord, going after Grom the Paunch with Helm of Discord. No Lucky Banner in sight, but will the Blood Dragon actually connect? Looks like he does. Grom the Paunch takes a pretty big shot. He's steady, but also surrounded by Blood Knights. It looks like the Kraken King is perhaps going to pull this game back after being very far behind after that initial loss. And now it's suddenly starting to look just like the other game. The Greenskin army enveloped, surrounded, the Blood Dragon Lord doing some beautiful damage, and the Blood Knights also just skewering into this backfield, man. Look at the bounce pulling back. The wall does go down. Grom the Paunch, of course, has room to heal. Lucky Banner is now active, so it looks like he did retreat once the Lucky Banner was there. But the breath attacks from Enticity, I think, have been the big saving grace. It's put a huge dent in the Greenskin infantry this game. Stone Trolls also being broken is very, very nice. That gives the Greenskin, or excuse me, the Greenskin Cavalry, that gives the Vampire Cavalry a huge advantage. And the Stone Trolls are not going to be coming back, as the Knights of Red Keep are going to be riding them down and chasing them off the battlefield. Now, the Greenskins have a couple Black Orcs left. They have Grom, they have the Hag, but I think that the Blood Dragon Lord probably is going to be able to find some good engagements here, especially with these other units engaged. He could snipe this Orc Shaman, he could snipe Grom the Paunch. There's just so many opportunities right now for this Dragon Lord to get in there and do some work. Although Balance of Power is kind of pulling back for the Greenskins here. You can really see that Anticity is having to fight back against his early losses. It's really been the one thing that's kind of, kept him in check here this game. The Greenskin player doing a good job rallying here in the late games. The Grey Duns is here, giving a nice leadership boon to all of these forces. We do get the two Black Coaches running through the Goblins here, and now they're going to be Tokyo drifting up into the high ground. And yeah, certainly getting into the lines. Could cause some terror, but yeah, the Grey Duns is here, and Grom the Paunch's buffs. Pretty damn crazy. Language of the Boys is so good. It's like, why would you even bring the Black Orc Big Boss when you just have it on the best lord, one of the best lords in the entire game, in my opinion. So Grom rotating out, looks like he was eyeing that Blood Dragon Lord, and here we have the giant River Troll Hag, now going after the Necromancer, who probably a little bit worn out from furiously stroking his Forbidden Rod this entire game, but we'll see if he can put up a fight against the Mighty Hag. Balance of power back in the middle, guys. We have a very, very close game. It looked like Enticity was going to mass break that Greenskin army, but I think Grom the Paunch was able to anchor it with his ITP and really keep them from breaking apart. And now the Greenskins have rallied. Grom has healed for about 20% of his HP since that kind of disastrous engagement. And the Blackworks really, really being an anchor piece. The other Black Coach, though, healing is pretty rough. It looked like it was on death's bed. It looked like the Black Coach was at about, I would say 15% HP, if not less, and was crumbling. But it looks like there must have been an invocation going down, kind of keeping that character functional here. Blood Knights charging up into the Black Orcs obviously doesn't feel great for Blood Knights, but, you know, somebody's got to do it. And now another Vindictive Glare. Will Enticity be able to dodge this? Coming in from the caster. Nice shot right there. Blood Dragon Lord getting buttered up pretty good, but Vampire's pulling ahead once again, as the sustainability and the durability of these Black Coaches is really the deciding factor in this engagement. It gives a great answer against all the Greenskin infantry, gives you mobile terror routes on a stick, and now they're going to be piling in to fight Grom. And I think it looks like the Blood Dragon Lord might be able to get in there, although, I don't know, man. Those Greenskin characters are healing. The Blood Knights, though, man, there's 32 Blood Knights, too. They're so good against Grom and the Hag. More so against the Hag, because Grom is, for some reason, has 100 armor, even though he's, like, naked and just... I never understood why Grom's armor was so high. I feel like his armor should be, like, 75 or something. Like, he literally has, like, a ramshackle cart. And that's going to be GG. Enticity winning game 1 with the comeback. The Greenskins having a very bad day. Losing, I think, every single game we've seen them in. I mean, as far as the stream goes. Of course, they did win games early in the tournament, but... The Kraken King pulls out an epic comeback victory with some excellent Blood Dragon Lord control and very, very solid Black Coach play. GG, well played! What a game, man. What a game. The Blood Dragon Lord, heart piercing. Sword of Anti-Hero certainly makes him hit quite hard, but that's going to be it. One lonely little goblin fighting. I don't know why Lunacy hasn't left yet, but I suppose he wants the cinematic shots, so we'll get in there and give them to him. Look at these brave goblins. Yeah, they're having a rough time. GG, I did not expect him to come back after that. Like, man, that was a brutal start. Like, your two most elite cavalry units just getting halved there. It was pretty brutal. Yeah, Grom was really held in check, too. And, I mean, I think Anticity's variant and Evenstar's variant, they're both very good. Both of them work. I like the adjustments that Lunacy made, though, adding some mass as well as the Fanatics, but in the end, it wasn't enough. All right. There you go. Enticity going up 1-0 here. And remember, for anyone joining, the winner of this will be qualifying for the grand finals, which is going to have a pretty big cash prize. So I think it's going to be between $300 to $500. And if I can get sponsors, even more, because that's just out of my pocket, but I'm going to try and get sponsors for it too. So looking here at the top 8, we have Falcon, Alfredinho, of course, Imperator, Ice Power, Total War, and Void Laws. So Enticity, if he wins today, will be taking the 6th spot. Lunacy would be taking the 6th spot. If he wins, you guys get the picture. After that, we have 2 more qualifiers, which I'm considering tying into one qualifier. So we'll see how we decide to do that. We will see indeed, my friends. All right, let's load back. Let's get this next game going. Set up the map for our 2 champions. And now we can go ahead and do... Schwarzhofen is an interesting one. Swamp of Terror is also another one that we've been seeing quite a bit. The Ash Plains. What map do we want to put them on? So that was Prague, which is a medium-sized map. So now we can do the Troll Toll. And then after this, we'll do a big map. So we'll mix it up. So they'll get a medium, a small, and a big map for the first 3 games. And then after that, we'll do some more neutral maps. Map set. Good luck. Have fun. So this will kind of test them out on a smaller map environment. No, Misha. No, it's forbidden. Grom's dad bod deserves 140 armor. Yeah, I mean, his defensive capabilities are already illustrated by the fact that he regenerates, right? I don't think he needs the rest of it there, so yeah, we'll see. Stoked to have some live turn after a 9-hour drive. Damn, brutal drive, man. Blood Dragon Lord is criminal. I wouldn't even say he's underrated, but he's very good, yeah. I mean, it's because of Helm of Discord. If he didn't have Helm of Discord, he wouldn't be picked. But yeah, he's very, very functional for sure. Shetland says, does anyone else who work a 9 to 5 get bitter at all these lucky lads who can play during the week? Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to play. Yeah, when I'm casting tournaments, I'm always like, oh, I wish I was playing. Yeah. It's kind of tricky to cast tournaments and also practice for them, you know, because it takes a fair amount of like organizing to, not for this tournament so much, but for like other ones to get them together and check with everyone's schedule. I wish I had more time to practice competitive play. I mean, I do get a couple games in, but I get enough games in to be competitive where I can be like a mid-level kind of tournament player, but I don't ever get enough games in to really compete with the best players. It kind of, you know, makes me sad sometimes, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I love casting these events, man. It's so fun. Thank you guys all for sticking around, making this possible. This is like a dream come true, just hanging out. Yeah, Lucky Banner probably needs some changes too. The ward save, I think, is good enough. Agreed. So Enticity going with his Vampire Coast and clearly trying to end the series quickly here, pulling out his big guns, not saving them for like a rubber match. He's going for the kill. Yeah. At least you can watch. Yeah, that's true. There you go. Is it going to be Vampirates? No. Is it going to be Vampire Counts for Lunacy? It looks like it. He's sitting on Vampire Counts, which would be pretty good on a small map for sure. I actually think Vampire Counts have a good matchup versus Coast. I've seen them defeat Coast quite decisively. Yeah. Daniel, we are in the grand finals. We're in a best of 5, and 1 game has been played. So there is a maximum, of course, of 5 games. You could potentially have 4 more, or at the very least 2 more. So, yeah. Yeah, for sure, Shetland, for sure. Yeah, 3 games a day keeps you in shape. I agree. That was kind of the routine I was in before. But, yeah. I haven't had too much time to play. Because the thing with me is, since I'm recovering from hand surgery still, like it's still a long recovery, I can only like usually be like 3 to 4 hours on the computer, like actively playing like intense games. And then after that, I have to rest my hands. So for me, if I stream, I can't really do much else the rest of the day, aside from some very light editing maybe, you know, so it's tricky. Oh yeah, Anticity's a really fun player to watch. He's also a great caster too. A great caster, very knowledgeable, top tier player. He's got the whole bag, man. He streams all his runs too, so if you guys ever want to see, I every time he streams, I try and link it from my Discord, so folks can go over there and catch the Kraken King in action. I believe he's streaming right now. I'm not sure. He was earlier. Yeah. But yeah, let's see. I think Lunacy is going Vampire Counts. Yeah, he just didn't say it. So we got Vampire Counts versus Coast. We got a Vampiric Civil War here. But it's time, man. It's time. I'll definitely be hitting campaign harder in Game 3 too, because by the time that comes out, I think I'll be able to do more. Well, you know, Shetland Apache, my right hand is getting better. Here's the thing. I have like a genetic disposition to have like nerve impingement because the tunnels to my nerves are very narrow, apparently, according to the surgeon. So basically, I had 9 or 10 years of my nerves in my right hand and elbow being crushed, because I was misdiagnosed by a shitty doctor. And then I eventually saw a good one who went in, did surgery, and fixed it. And my right hand has been getting progressively better, like over the past year. But he said it would probably be 2 years before I, like based on the amount of time my nerves were pinched, he said it would probably be 2 years before they were like regular function again, or at least like somewhat close to how they were before. If at all. He said like it might be tough, but they are getting better. But the problem is I have the same problems in my left hand creeping up on me. So I'm actually scheduled to get surgery soon to fix my left hand. Granted, it won't be as much of a surgery. It'll be a lighter one. But I have to get that too to fix my left one, which is such a piece of shit. But at least from there, it's only up. There's not going to be any more degenerating and my hands getting weaker and all that shit. Yeah. So yeah, it's all going. I think currently my surgery was actually scheduled for a week from today, but I'm going to be doing it probably in the first week of June. The carpal tunnel and the cubital tunnel in my left hand needs to be fixed too. So that's that. Fun times. Real men play with their feet. You know, if I had to, I would. If I had to, I would. But that one should be a much quicker recovery. So much quicker recovery indeed, my friends. Dude, I would take a side. If I could get like a Luke Skywalker hand or some shit, I for sure would. Yeah. Crazy times. Oh, it'll be fine. Yeah, it'll be all fine. This one's going to be way easier than the first one because the first surgery I had to get on my right hand was 4 procedures in one. It was cubital, carpal, a tendon release, as well as a cyst incision because there was a cyst growing on top of my nerve, which was pushing it. But my left hand, it's only carpal and cubital. It's only 2 procedures instead of 4. So the recovery time will be a lot quicker. I'll probably be back like in functional business after like, you know, like I'll be able to do tournaments again after like 2 to 3 weeks, like 2 weeks probably. And then after that, it'll be better. Hey, Simon Benjamin, finally catch a live stream. Great content as always. Hey, Simon, appreciate it. Thank you so much. And yeah, Simon, I was actually just thinking about the discussion we were having the other day about Warhammer 3 and esports and all that. So once we kind of see what the landscape looks like, man, we'll touch base again. It'll be good. Yeah, for sure, Deacon. Yeah. Well, I'm more or less half Italian, half Irish, but not quite that. Like my dad is half Italian, half Irish. My mom is half Irish, and then she's got some Germanic ancestry, and and some Native American. So, like my grandma on my mom's side is almost full Native American, actually. Yeah, Blackfoot Indian. All right, it's time, baby. Simon Benjamin, thank you for the super generous donation of the 50 pounds, man. Taking me to Poundland here. Great stuff. All right, my friends, let's take a look at the builds for the forces of Lunacy. Down a game here in the grand finals. It's got double Scab's Wraith White King, no surprise there. Usually Banshees are somewhat common too, but we got Isabella von Karstein with the Blood Chalice of Bathora, I think is how you say that, to heal the White King. Certainly pretty good. So we got double Vargulf. Oh, hold on a sec. 1, 2, oh, those are corpse cards. I was about to say, I thought they were black coaches, so I was going to say it looks like a rule break, but yeah. Good stuff. So we got White Kings, we got corpse cards, we got Scab's Wraith, all sorts of fun stuff with a couple of Crypt Ghouls on the flanks. Crypt Ghouls are actually very good at breaking through Vampire Coast armies. And oh my god, look at Anticity's army. Double Deathstreak Goose, Fell Bats, double Gunnery White with a Vampire with a pole arm, and a box with the Lamprey's Revenge. Oh my god, this is like just so haggard. Oh man. This is so janky, dude. Look at this. Yeah, man. It's happening. Goddamn. Never assumed. Oh man. Yeah, the thing is, the first doctor I saw with my wrist, he just like wouldn't listen to what I was saying. Like over the years, like he told me I had tendinitis, and I just kept going and kept going and kept going, and he kept sending me to physical therapy, but I couldn't do anything because my nerves were pinched, and it's just like he wouldn't ever consider that there was like something else going on. Man, oh, it was horrible, and I just went with it for so many years. But alas, enough of that. Back to the commentary. Here, the Gunnery Whites shooting in, going after the White Kings here. Look at how good of an item Scab's Wraith is. God damn, dude. Going down on the Zombie Pirate deckhand mobs. Look how many models it killed, too. I think Scab's Wraith is an item that probably could use some retuning also. I feel like it's just so good. Like, maybe just give it, like, 1 charge or something. Having 3 charges and, like... Scab's Wraith is another reason why Tomb Kings just get shit on, is because, like, it just destroys their infantry with Burning Heads. It's like, if you're not facing Burning Head, you're facing Scab's Wraith. And you're like, Tomb Guard and other units like that are just paying the ultimate troll toll, you know? So here they come, Skeleton Warriors moving in against the Zombie Pirate deckhand mobs. And here comes the mighty White Kings, in conjunction with the Graveguard Great Weapons. Kind of an interesting choice seeing Graveguard Great Weapons, but they do have, you know, general AP damage, right? So I guess against, like, the crabs, they're a little bit better in sustainability. Yeah, Scab's Wraith is insane. There's one going down from... Yeah, they both have double Scab's Wraith, which is so funny. Although, maybe that's why. Graveguard are pretty resilient against it. Now, we do get both White Kings moving in here from Lunacy, going after the Gunnery White of Enticity, who, of course, is... they're just handing powder to one another, which is pretty funny. It's like... You would think they would take a net loss if they're just, like, handing powder to one another, but, you know, it just doesn't work that way. So one White King does get the Blood Chalice of Bathora, but honestly, I think the Kraken King is getting a little bit of a better engagement here. The Deathstreak Terrorgeist are able to rear attack that Vargulf, and both White Kings are kind of pinned into the Gunnery Whites on the crabs. The Vargulf is there supporting, and of course the Vampires are grinding through the army here, but they have to be really careful. I mean, losing a Vargulf this early would probably be potentially a game-losing blunder. Yeah, because though you're killing some zombies, it's just like, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for sure. So Vargulf here disintegrating, it's down. That is a huge catch. And you can see the bounce power immediately goes in the favor of Enticity there as he does get that grab. But Isabella is still functional, but yeah, the White Kings are grinding okay. There was no reason for that Vargulf to be lost though, man, yeah. Because what this Vargulf is doing, Lunacy is doing the right thing here. He's sitting on the outside and beating inwards, whereas the Vargulf diving in after something I think is a little bit of a gamble, especially this early in the game. Because Vampire counts usually win the melee fight pretty decisively. So then if you're patient, you can have them fully surrounded, and then you bring in the Vargulfs to just go King Kong or, you know, go full monkey mode and just start beating those guys down and, you know, doing their thing here. Curse of Years going down from actually the Vampire Coast, nerfing the damage output here of Lunacy's army. Enticity, though, is forced into a blob, which is, you know, this is actually not bad for the counts here. Just kind of grinding them and just having the style of the fight. Might be able to do it, but I'm also a little bit concerned that Scab's Wraiths are going to be really, really strong. White Kings, it's really hard to tell, so sorry if I'm circling the camera too much. I know that can be kind of annoying, but yeah, okay, the White Kings are both still functional, so we're just going to kind of sit here and watch for a minute. I hate these little icons too, like I click it and it just doesn't go away. It's like, I get it. The warriors have rallied. You don't need to tell me 10 times. Yeah, man. That's tricky stuff. Now, Isabella being hunted down by the Deathstreak Goose. Isabella, of course, not the best duelist. She does pop Van Hell's Dance Macabre there. Is able to get away. Perhaps going to charge into that goose once again. It looks like both gooses are being inundated and kind of swarmed by the Fellbats, which is certainly a good play. And now the crabs are fully surrounded. This looks very much like a typical Coast versus Counts game. Again, if the Vargulf had lived, and I think this game would just be over right now. I think that the Vampire Counts would probably just win the grind. But with only one Vargulf, it becomes a bit of a different picture. But you can see Lunacy is bringing the game back a little bit. Getting the crab beating on the gunnery wipe. Yeah, getting some blows in there. And Isabella von Karstein flying around. Van Horstman's Speculum active here. Well, another Scabscraith once again going down the formation. I have no idea whose Scabscraith that is. I would imagine Enticity, because I do not think Lunacy would blast his own Graveguard there. And having the Graveguard Great Weapon, certainly a nice boon. You can see it has led to a little bit of damage being taken off here. I think Anticity's about to fully run out of support. Nice juking from Lunacy. He's like diving and pulling back up. One gunnery wipe getting kind of low. Once the halberds for the coast are gone, yeah, they're disintegrating here. That's really going to be a big paradigm shift here in this battle. We're going to be seeing a big change in dynamic as the vampires are actually surrounded. Isabella with a very ballsy play, and she might suffer the same fate as that mighty Vargulf did earlier. She moves in and now is in the middle of like crabs. It looks like she's going to get away though. And the other Vargulf is happily beating down this gunnery wipe. The two gooses, though, yeah, something I would keep forgetting about. I keep thinking this is Anticity's whole army, but he's got two gooses up in the sky, too, who really need to get busy. The gooses seem to... I think they were fighting some Fellbats there, and now they're going after Isabella, but this is like 4,000 gold that isn't active, but oh, okay, these breath attacks could be a big play right there. Nice breath attack on the Vargulf. Does a bunch of damage. Isabella, in the meantime, on her Hellsteed much faster than the gooses, is going to be running away. And look at the balance of power kind of creeping back towards the middle, man. Yeah, it's getting down and dirty, man. Vampire Fleet Admiral fighting the good fight. Lamprey's Revenge being grinded, but you can see the coast really losing out on the ground. And unless those gooses start getting busy, man, I think they have to take some big risks. Like, dive the gooses in and just try and kill the White Kings. Like, even if it's a risk that might lose you the game, I think you have to at this point. The vampires are just slowly winning this grind, and they usually do. They usually have a very advantageous engagement here. So the Vargulf can now countercharge the Deathstreak Terrorgeist. That certainly would be a good play. Just move in there. But it looks like both of the gooses are going to be jumping after the Vargulf. But we do have Fellbat support moving in. The Vargeist is not going to be unsupported, or the Vargulf. These ones don't have anti-large also. They are a little bit different than the Vampire Count cousin. The Deathstreak Terrorgeist are the ones that are more generalist. They're not like dependent on a bonus versus large. A little bit better versus non-large units, but generally I think the bonus versus large is very, very useful for sure. So the Graveguard Great Weapons grinding down the Lamprey's Revenge. Balance of power becoming quite vampiric indeed, and I think we're seeing the death throes here of the coast, which is kind of funny to say considering they still have 4,000 gold of single entities here up in the sky. Like, I just don't think those gooses are going to be able to get through all this. And the Vampire Fleet Admiral's going down. Those gooses need to get in there, and now they're going for the kill. They've dove in. Go after the Vargulf, go after the White Kings, because that vampire is crumbling. He's at negative 36. Might actually start disintegrating here soon. And then it's just a matter of time. Enticity will just have to fight with his Terrorgeist. And nice juking there from Lunacy. And it looks like we're going to be getting back with a 1-1 series here. I don't see Enticity winning this one unless Lunacy really slips up with Isabella and like lets her get karate chopped. And then maybe the gooses could grind everything else out. But I think with two White Kings on the ground and the Vampire Lord is now gone, so we do see the death of the Vampire Coast Lord. It's only a matter of time here. I think maybe the players are chatting a little bit, just saying that they're both ready. Yes. Kyle, are we getting more late night Warcraft streams? Yes. Yeah, you'll be getting one tomorrow night. And with that, Enticity does withdraw. GG, well played. Lunacy is back on the board. We have 1-1 series. And yes, we got to see Isabella. That was cool, huh? Double gooses, all sorts of crazy shit, man. All right, 1-1. Going into the next match. Nothing too crazy in terms of value. Despite losing a Vargulf early and falling really behind the balance of power, he did a good job getting back into that game. So next up, we will do MP Blue Reach River. A big map to allow players to kind of express their different playstyles. We've had a medium map, a small map, and now we're going to a large map here. 1-1, baby. The geese didn't get through. They didn't do it. Vampire counts are pretty strong. They're definitely not bad. They're definitely not bad. The Terrorgeists just didn't seem to do much. It was like 4,000 gold that just was not really able to find a home. Yeah. I wouldn't say Vampire counts are overpowered. I think they're very strong and very good. Vampire counts are a faction that if you're a really like high micro, high skill player, like I think they're a faction that in the hands of really top tier players are way more scary than they are in the hands of like average mid level players. Yeah. Blue Reach is a fun map. Yeah. Misha says repeat after me, geese. Gooses is so much more fun to say though. But yes, you're right. Geese. Sorry, it's hard to remember the English language when I'm doing commentary. Yes, correct. From here on out. So we had double bans in the first game. So now we go to single bans for both players. Because if you do doubles through all best of fives, it gets a little bit funky. So we'll see what they decide to pick here. 1-1. What I would give for a proper Beastman Vanguards around here. Yeah, Shetland, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Enticity plays Beastmen. He mostly plays good factions. Which it makes sense for, you know, a high-level tournament player. You're not going to want to, like, lower your chances by playing Beastmen. Yeah. I mean, I do it, and then I lose, and then I'm upset about it, and that's how it works. Would I place myself as a top-tier player? No. I would place myself as, like, a mid-level tournament player. So, you know, if I were to play these top guys, and we were to play a best of 5, I would probably consistently go 3-1 against them, which is respectable. I would beat them probably 1 game. They would beat me 3. And, you know, some of the other games might be close. But I don't practice enough to be able to hold up. I think if I practiced a lot and focused less on, like, you know, hosting tournaments, I think I could contend. But I don't know. Even still, maybe not. I think I'm just like a mid-level guy. Like a B player. Yeah. That would be my guess. That would be my guess for sure. I would love to see some Beastmen though. Don't get me wrong. I would really enjoy it. I would certainly enjoy it. Give me a huge Beastman Vanguard on Blue Reach, just like in the bushes with your entire army, just all wild. When Warhammer 3 comes out, I'll definitely go very hard in practicing it first because I want to learn every faction in and out so I can at least give some good insight, because one of my biggest things is if I'm doing commentary and I can't give you like accurate insight on the factions, it really, like, when I'm watching like NFL or like, and I hear commentators saying things that are false or that aren't really like, they're not really like experts in it, like, I can't do it. So I don't ever want to be like that. So yeah, I don't know. I want to at least have topical knowledge of everything. Not like, it doesn't have to be in depth, but at least decent. Yeah. The boldly meme where no man has memed before. Yeah. So what are the odds I eat kielbasa and butter fried cabbage this stream? Oh, it sounds good. I'm jealous. Othmar, nice quote there. That's Marlon Brando on the waterfront, I think is the reference. Yeah, that's a good movie. It's a good movie. That's an old one. That's old school, man. Yeah. We're doing it, man. I have a general understanding of every faction of the game right now, but when Game 3 comes out, it's going to be crazy, man. I'm going to definitely do guides this time around. I kind of missed the wagon on doing them. Hey, thank you, Jellen. Appreciate that. Now, something I wanted to ask you guys while we're here. I'm like, part of me wants to put out guides, like some build guides right now with like good builds for certain factions, but I feel like it's kind of silly to do it now since we're going to get so many factions coming up. So the video I'm thinking of is doing an Empire build guide. It's not necessarily a guide to like how to play the Empire overall, but it's a guide for multiplayer builds. So you could go to my video and there'll be a good Empire build for every single matchup. And I just kind of talk about the build and why they work and just, you know, that kind of a thing. And maybe I'll include deployments in them, like how to deploy and set up the army. Would you guys like, you think I should do it now or should I wait? I'm kind of on the fence about it. I've done a couple guides though. Gotcha. I've done a handful, but part of me is like, it's always the same thing. I'm always like, oh, I should wait. They're adding more factions, and then it's just like an endless cycle. I feel like I should just do the Empire one. Hey, thank you, Krieger, for the 367. With which books do I start if I want to read Warhammer books? Gotrek and Felix novels. They're called Gotrek and Felix. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Would you guys rather see like a big consolidated guide where it's like, I go over every single unit, I show you their stats, I talk about why they're good or why they're bad, how to use them, and then I give you builds on top of that? That video would probably be like 30 to 45 minutes long, if not longer, which YouTube really doesn't like. Or Or do I do a more consolidated guide that's 15 to 20 minutes where I talk about a build for every single matchup? That's what I'm kind of like trying to feel out. Maybe I'll do a poll on it, but nonetheless, if you guys leave a comment expressing your opinion, I will come back to look at it later. Because I can see the chat after the stream. So we got Skaven versus Lizardman here. Pretty fun, yeah. It's a classic Warhammer 2 matchup. Yeah. Yeah, and I could always do like additions to them when new factions come out. I could like give like an extra video giving you those. Yeah, the Gotrek and Felix books. Yeah, Sice knows what's up. Casey knows how to live. Yeah, Gotrek and Felix books are hands down the best. They dabble in everything. Favorite fantasy book? Lord of the Rings. Yeah, probably when I was a kid. That was, I haven't read those since like 8th grade though. So let's see, favorite fantasy books. So growing up, I read Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. I was a big fan of the Drizzt novels by R.A. Salvatore. I read like the first like 12 of those. I love the Game of Thrones books. Those are probably some of my favorites, honestly. I love the Gotrek and Felix series. I'm pretty deep in those. Yeah. All right, so do it for the faction orders we have now. Update it for Warhammer 3. Okay, that's good. That's kind of reading through some of the feedback here. There's still a few months until... Yeah, absolutely. I'll do it for at least the factions I know, because I have pretty comprehensive faction knowledge of like the Empire, Dwarves. I think I have a good Skaven builds for the most part. Vampire Coast for sure. But I don't know. Coast is just going to be double Gunnery White in every matchup and just bats, you know? Yeah, Shetland, I will actually give multiple builds, because if you just give one build, then it becomes, you know, people... Yeah. That's also... I've always been a little bit hesitant, guys, to like upload my build guides, because what happens is if I upload my build guide and I pick Empire against someone in a tournament or on ladder, they can go look at my build. And then unless I switch it to something I'm less comfortable with, you know, that actually has happened to me. I put up like in a video on a stream, I showed like my builds for one faction, and then I played someone in a tournament, and afterwards they're like, yeah, I went and looked at your builds that you were showing on your last stream and just counterpicked the build that you showed. And I was like, damn, man, that sucks. Like, you know, I want to be able to surprise people. So I mean, I'm already putting my builds out there to an extent with my quick battles and stuff that you see on my channel, but it's always been a bit of a conundrum. But yeah, who cares? Screw it, I'm going to do it. So this week I'll record the Empire build guide. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, the Drizzt novels are great. Yeah, I love those. With Brunor Battlehammer. And what was yeah, there was Brunor, Wolfgar, you got Drizzt, you got Caddy Bree. I always forget the halfling's name. I love when Drizzt like emerges from the Underdark and he like trains with that blind monk. It's just it's like such a training montage thing. Yeah. Yeah, Sice, you've done that, Sice, but a lot of people have also. It's not just you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky pickle. I'll do it for Empire though. It's gonna change, you know. The Drizzt books were like some of the first ones I read as a kid. All right, so players are just about ready. I'll just hit the ready button so the game will start whenever they're good to go. So Skaven versus Lizards. Jazales are good, you know. Could see some weird Rattling Gunner play. Enticity likes to use Warp Fire Throwers. He brings very fun Skaven builds. Yeah. You think it's too late for a campaign-only player to get into multiplayer, says Viking Haven? Hell no, dude. Come join us, brother. Definitely not too late. As a matter of fact, you're joining at a very good time, because everything people know about multiplayer, the meta, the nature of the game with domination mode is about to be turned on its head. So you're at a very good point to just learn it with everyone. Obviously, your micro and like that stuff probably might be slightly behind people who play in tournaments a lot, but dude, you're going to be fine. Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite scenes in the Drizzt novels is when Brunor like takes down that dragon when he's trying to reclaim his kingdom. There's literally like a Carrick 8 Peaks like storyline in that, where Brunor goes to recapture his like lost kingdom and he like takes down some huge dragon. Yeah, it's so cool. Put out a build guide with fake builds to throw people off. That'd be really funny. Just like absolute dog shit builds. No, I'll give the good stuff. I mean, you guys can, if somebody went and pieced through all my Empire games, you could pretty much see the guide, but yeah, I've updated a lot of them, so. The meta for Warhammer 3, I have no idea. No idea. Do you know if future Warhammer 3 DLCs will update some Warhammer 2? I bet you they will be doing updates to the old Warhammer 2 factions and Warhammer 1, 100%. Like, not like huge like updates, but like I think there could be DLCs for some of them. I can see them doing like a Chaos Dwarf first, like regular, standard Dwarf DLC. I can see that being like a DLC at some point. I'm actually thought about doing some videos on missing units, so units that we're missing right now, like from the existing factions, to give like a little bit of a roadmap to what we could be getting. Yeah, it's gonna be good, man. Turin, when you got to play Warhammer 3, did you have a chance to ask what... did you get a chance to ask, are you planning to ask about Warhammer 3 multi... I did ask about that. If you actually go to my interview I put up on the channel, I asked that question. They said they couldn't give me any information. Now, that interview actually yielded a fair amount of decent information because I asked a question. I was like, is there going to be an army painter? They're like, no. I was like, is there going to be new co-op or multiplayer campaign features? They're like, we can't talk about that. I'm like, is there... new ladder in the works, so we can't talk about that, which is pretty much a dead giveaway that there are going to be some, like, they said no to something. Why would they just not say no to that, So, yeah, anyways, guys. So here we are, 1-1 series, grand finals, baby. Krokgar coming in on his Velociraptor with the Hand of the Gods. So Krokgar, we got a Manticore Summoner, we got a massive battle line of Skinks to mitigate the value that these Skaven Mortars can get. Cohort of Sotek, backed up by Kroxigors, and 2 Feral Beasties, one of which is going to be a Stegodon and 1 Bastillodon as well. And, of course, what Lizardman army would be complete without 2 Chameleon Skinks at least? In the backfield, it looks like a Pterodon Vanguard, which is very good against Skaven. We got Pterodon Riders, Powhawks as Sentinels, all sorts of fun stuff. And that is that. Now, for the forces here of the dreaded Skaven led by Enticity, it is going to be double Jezzail, a single Warp Lightning Cannon. We have a Plague Priest, Rat Ogres to defend against the Pterodons. And, oh, Lord Skrulk, look at that. We got Skrulk Daddy coming back in. I feel like we're going back in time to some Warhammer 2 duels, which is very neat. Yeah. I think Game 3 is going to be the best time for multiplayer. I think it's going to be the best time multiplayer has ever had in Total War Warhammer's history. Yeah, we'll see. So, yeah, and of course we have the World Championship. Having the Everchosen was really fun for Warhammer 2. I think that was a big kind of step in the right direction. But, James Dogbert, who, of course... we worked together to create the first Everchosen. He doesn't work there anymore, so I don't know about the future of the Everchosen, but at the very least, we'll have the Warhammer World Championship and all that sort of stuff. So, yes, very cool indeed. The Warplock Jezzails have a couple targets, but this map is quite good for Lunacy here because he can take, though there's a lot of like shooting gallery, he does have some forest to move his army. So he's going to take his beasties, move down and up and through the trees here, and then he'll emerge and take like the shortest angle to the Skaven army. So. Yeah, I'm not sure. Dead like me to answer your question. I'm not sure. So here it comes, baby. Let's go. Warp Lightning Cannons shooting into the Skink Cohort Javelins, taking out 6 models. But yeah, good tactics by Lunacy, basically just hiding all of his valuable targets while he advances. This is super common on this map. Granted, Enticity did a good job relocating. He could even actually pull his army back this way a little bit if he wants to. Players just saying good luck, have fun. Warp Lightning Cannon could turn. Probably is the right play at this point to turn around and start shooting at the Air Force, the Pterodon Riders, and all these different units. Of course, I actually think that Lizardmen. I know a lot of Lizardmen players probably don't like playing Skaven, but I actually feel like Lizards, like in the hands of like specialists and people who really know them well, really do some work. Yeah. They do some work for sure. Like Lizards, I feel like can do okay against Skaven. Mortar shooting in. Of course, Mortars were nerfed recently, and Skaven Slaves were. You'll notice that the battle line for Enticity is actually no Skaven Slaves. It looks like, aside from Skaven Slave Slinger here, his entire army's Clan Rats, which is pretty cool. So, showing an evolution in terms of Skaven tactics. Now, Jezzail's going back here. A good Libra Bubonicus. That's solid, getting rid of the Powhawks of Sentinels, but will it get rid of them before their Rock Drop? They're going down like flies. Here comes the Rock Drop. He drops it, and it does some pretty good damage. Doesn't take out any models overall, but at least he got the Powhawks of Sentinels to get some good damage on that Warp Lightning Cannon before they got Karate Chop. Now, the other Pterodon Riders have taken some damage. It looks like 2 of them are going to be forced back, but they probably will return. And now the Feral Manticore, where is it going to go? After the Warp Lightning Cannon, after the Jezzails? A little bit hard to say. It looks like the Pterodons are sitting on top of the Jezzails, and this is a big problem for Skaven. They basically just sit on top of this while the main army advances, and then like no damage is like done to this part of the force, right? Pterodons are so damn good against these bad boys, so damn good. So Pterodons chasing down. The Warp Lightning's already offline with a Manticore summon and a little bit of support from the Pterodons here. The other ones get caught in a Rod of Corruption up in the sky, but it does do damage based on model count, so it's not going to do a whole lot against them. And now I already see the battle unfolding in a pretty fortunate way here for the Lizards. There's skink cohorts on top of Poison Wind Mortars already. Pterodon Riders are on their way back in. We do have Krokgar looking to come around the flank here, perhaps engage these Rat Ogres. And yeah, Pterodons chasing down Jezzails, chasing down the Warp Lightning Cannon crew. The Ogre's taking quite a bit of damage from the Summon Manticore, and now there's going to be a second one in play here. Skaven, I think, are rapidly going to be forced into a blob fight. I think we're going to be seeing them just in a big kind of rat's nest kind of army here, because it seems like their ranged weapon teams are more or less being compromised. Although a good second wind here from Enticity, he is able to get the clan rats and form a new kind of shield wall here, and is holding back and protecting the Jezzails and the mortars, which is actually quite clutch. Now, Krokgar taking a lot of damage here could be a big throw here. Krokgar does get hit with the Assassin's Trophy and the Rival Hide Talisman. Obviously, on his Velociraptor, he's not super quick. So I think that if Krokgar does continue to take a damage like this from the Skaven, I think that the Lizards could actually end up losing this game, in which I feel their start was very, very powerful. The second Jezzail unit's offline, and I think the Mortar is the only weapons team that's still going. Certainly something that needs to be dealt with, but poor Krokgar, he's really taking a hammering here. But it looks like he gets away with the Sacred Spawning, as well as the Explosion ability, which does not look like he brought it. And now Kroxagors have piled in to fight the Assassin, and things are going mighty fine. Thank you for the donation, Tanako. I'll make sure to take a look as soon as this game is over. So Pharaoh Manticore, backed up here by the Stegodon. Terror is still certainly a big factor. I think that Lunacy needs to make a little bit more of a consolidated effort to take down those mortars. And it looks like a couple of Jezzails have actually come back, but not for long. It looks like, yeah, the Powhawks of Sentinels jump on them. Those Warplock Jezzails are probably going into the can. So at this point, Skaven actually pulling a little bit ahead on the balance of power, which is surprising. It looks like the Kroxagors are getting worn down. The Manticore summon would appear to be on its last legs, but it still seems to have done some good work. The Feral Stegodon, of course, does not want to be fighting against Rat Ogres. They'll do an excellent job. I think the Lizards need more chaff to be like swarming in, because the Mortars were online for a little bit too long, and I think that was able to kill a lot of the Lizardmen infantry. Now back to this engagement, we do have the Feral Bastillodon going after what appears to be the Plague Priest, but Lord Skrulk has that nice discouraging effect with his flail, and he's dropping some big rat elbows here. And it looks like Lunacy withdraws from the game. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I think he could have fought a little bit more, but I think the Skaven had certainly taken a lead there. There was no more Lizardmen chaff. Skaven still had the characters left, and a lot of Rat Ogres. If you look, all the Ogres were at like a pretty healthy amount of HP, yeah. So the Ogres and the characters were too much, and the Skaven lost all their chaff, and that was that. You know, where were the Chameleon Skinks the whole time? He had two, I don't know. You know, he had two Chameleon Skinks, full health, probably close to full ammo. I feel like this build needed like 3 or 4 more Chameleon Skinks, because the Chameleon Skinks can kill the Ogres. So thank you, Tanako. Even though I don't play Total War Warhammer due to computer limits, I love your content, Turin. It's background noise while you paint your... oh yeah, Song of Ice and Fire miniatures. I've seen people playing that at my local game store before the Rona. It looks like fun, actually. The models are pretty nice. I've seen some people take them and kit bash them into fantasy models, actually. Cheers. Thank you so much. So, Kraken King goes up. 2-1. There you go. This is best of 5, so we'll be seeing what the players have in store here for the next map. We will go back to an old faithful, the Oakenhammer. And they'll do their picks and bans. The Great Plan was not happy there. Thank you so much for the donation, Tanaka. The Tabletop Shogun. That's a pretty cool name. Would you want a Total War Warhammer 40k? Dude, sign me up. If they made a Total War Warhammer 40k game, I would be like one of those Viagra commercials where they're like, if the erection lasts longer than 6 hours, please contact a medical professional. That would be my reaction to a Total War Warhammer 40k game. Especially if they include Death Guard in the start. Joe Leonard, thank you for the $5. Greatly appreciate that. Yeah, of course I'll Dead Like Me. I can ask the next chance I get. The Greyjoys just dropped 2. Oh, that's cool. I believe Lunacy is a Russian player. Yeah, I think so. Not sure. Hey, Deacon, I'm glad you enjoyed the article. Cheers. I feel like, yeah, you need to max out on Chameleon Skinks there. They're so good against Skaven. I mean, not great against Clan Rats, obviously. Well, the Clan Rats were unshielded, too. I don't think they were the shielded variant. So, yeah, they would have been good against, like, that whole roster, man. You should check out Chaos in the Old World. It's a game where you play as all the Chaos Gods ruling. I have played Samuel Moore. I have played Chaos in the Old World. The board game you're talking about? I played it with Italian Spartacus, Lore Master of Sotek, and Party Elite when we were all at a Creative Assembly event. We played that after hours at a bar. It was pretty fun. I played, of course, Big Papa Nurgle. Yeah, was given some trouble to the old world. Enticity trying to ban greenskins again, even though that's how much he doesn't want to play greenskins. His opponent already played greenskins and he banned them again, just because why not? Yeah, no, but he's gonna change his ban, which is totally fine. Yeah, Chameleon Skinks are hands down the best unit on the Lizardman roster. Such an unholy scourge. They're just the terror. I hate Chameleon Skinks so much. I hate playing against them. It literally makes me want to pull my hair out. Hey, Sice! Thank you for the $5, Casey. Wayne Brady makes Brian Campbell. Dude, I love that. That part always just cracks me up, dude. I love that Wayne Brady skit when he's like in the car with Dave Chappelle and he's just like, you know, he'll like be all nice and then like the music changes and he gets like all serious. Oh god, that skit is so good. Watching Chappelle Show, Casey, is like, it's like going back in time, you know? Because usually with contemporary comedy skits, they're referencing pop culture, whether it be social media, but back then it's like the things they're making fun of on the old Chappelle Show are like the real world, like the first, you know, vestiges of reality TV. It's so funny. The Chappelle Show is the funniest shit ever. I love it so much. Should I become a Slanesh main in 3? I'm sure. Stream while wearing a leather harness. Well, there you go. That's one way to approach it. Yeah. How much longer are we streaming? So until the series is over. So if Lunacy wins the next game, we go to game 5. Yeah. Warhammer 40k. Warnings on the box may cause raging erections. Oh, man. Yeah, those are good times. I hate Chameleon Skink so much. God, they're so annoying, dude. I can't tell you how many games I've like felt like I was winning, and then suddenly I'm like ahead on the bounce of power, but they have like 4 Chameleon Skinks with good ammo left, and I just like get dragged through the mud and lose. It's just like, and you can't even chase them down. They like poison you and just like my Empire Heavy Cavalry goes down to like 55 speed, and I'm just like a potato trying to chase them. It's like, oh. I think I hate playing Lizardmen because I'm an Empire main, and like I feel like Lizardmen just like do so well against Empire these days. Do I have a schedule for Warcraft 3 streams? No, usually it's just at random nights, but I'll try and give you guys better notice. Like I'll make community posts, so if you follow me on Twitter, or if you're just subscribed on YouTube and you keep an eye on my community posts, more so Twitter though, and Discord, I'll make like a post about it. Yeah, I'm pretty bad at announcing those because it's usually just spur of the moment. I'm like, screw it, let's stream, you know. Dwarfs vs. Chaos Dwarves will be very epic. Yeah, and thematic for sure, Noah. I agree. In game 3. Dude, I hate Chameleon Skinks. Oh my god, they piss me off so much. They're just so annoying. You can't shoot them, you can't chase them down, you just have to eat the shit and hope they run out of ammo and then run them over later. It's just like, oh, god. But I mean, I think Lizardmen need them. It's not like, you know, they're pretty much a staple to the roster. Yeah. Like, even if you catch them with your, like, Dark Riders or Empire Knights, I find that, like, you still can't kill them. They, like, beat you in melee, or at least, like, break even. It's just, like, yeah. Is Reforged much better now? No, Warcraft Reforged, unfortunately, it seems like it was abandoned by Blizzard, which is no surprise based on their recent behaviors. But you can still play vintage graphics on there, which is all I really care to do, so. But there is a Warcraft 3 Championship, or Champions, which is like a fan-created ladder and like a client, which is much better apparently. I haven't dove into that yet, but I think it's officially endorsed as well by Blizzard just because they don't want to work on Reforged anymore. Yeah. Also, Turin, since Games Workshop and Fantasy Flight parted ways, the cost of Chaos in the old world went up by like $300. Yeah, geez. I know Sotek has it. Lore Master of Sotek has it, yeah. You played it. Are Ancient Salamanders still good? I wouldn't say good, Forrest. I would say extremely niche, if at all. Yeah, they're not like used very often. I think we saw some in the World Championship in the Grand Finals, or in the round of 8. I think we saw a couple games with them, but they're very rare. So Lunacy is going coast, and then we get greenskins for Enticity, which is pretty funny. So this matchup is just like the eternal curse. Like, I can't escape it. Yeah, Hadries is being a little bit more realistic about Ancient Salamanders with his opinion that they're very bad, which they are pretty bad, and they have a couple niches though. I think like occasionally like sneaking them in against dwarves can be okay because they do really good splash armor piercing damage, but yeah. Lizardmen are a good faction. I would say they're an A tier faction. I would say Bretonia and Greenskins are S tier, and then Lizardmen would be A tier. They're really freaking good. They have a super high win rate. It's like 55. Like they had, I think, top 4 win rate in the World Championship. The dude, I don't know. Yeah, Blizzard has been striking out pretty bad, sadly. Like they haven't made like just mistakes upon mistakes, you know. Like they screwed up Reforged. The Diablo, you know, Diablo 2 or Diablo 3 when that came out was a piece of shit for a long time. It got better, but like I don't know. I feel like Blizzard has lost its way, which is a shame. Cuz man, Blizzard was like growing up, I used to like dream of working at Blizzard and like that like all the games I played were Blizzard games, but like in the early 2010s, 11s, like they just went downhill. Like StarCraft 2 in my opinion was like the last like great game they did. I mean, Overwatch is cool, I guess. Yeah, but I'm not into it, but Overwatch, StarCraft, but yeah, StarCraft was the jam. It was the jam. They should add Ancient Salamanders to High Elves so then we can put all the bad units together. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so this is going to be Enticity on the Greenskins playing against his own build, which is what I'm most curious to see. So, this is going to be Enticity here on Greenskins with Grom the Paunch, Giant Ritual Hag, a big archer core, so 4 archers in total, very light on infantry actually, a couple goblins and orc biggins. He's got 2 squig hoppers, one of which is going to be Durkit squigs, as well as a goblin rock clobber. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That is cool. He's playing against his own build, basically. Lunacy here does have a bomber front line, backed with some basic chaff zombies, a single mortar team to help out against archers, Count Noctilus, and gunbat spam. So yeah, Gunnery White gunbat spam is pretty much how you play Coast nowadays, which kind of bums me out. I miss the olden days of Coast, but it's funny because when we were in the olden days, everybody's like, oh, I hate this shit. I hate Coast Gunline. It's so OP. And now that it's gone and this has replaced it, everybody's like, oh, let's go back to the Coast Gunline. Give me the gunlines back. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Oh my god, the you guys don't have phones thing. StarCraft 2 was a great game. Like, StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty was really goddamn good. That was like the last masterpiece they put out, I think. Yeah. So that's that. Dark times indeed. Yeah, I thought about making a tier list video. Just it's kind of like a fun thing. It's not like a necessary discussion to have, but it's just kind of like fun to speculate and give my opinions on things based on what I've seen. All right. Let me hear your predictions in chat. Are you rooting for Lunacy? He is down, the underdog right now, but certainly not out. Are you rooting for him and his Coast? Or are you rooting for Grom the Paunch? I feel like these are like 2 builds that nobody wants to root for. Nobody wants to root for Grom, and nobody wants to root for Gunnery White Bat combos. Like, those are just like 2 unfun styles of play that just like nobody wants to root for here, you know? It's just like, neither of these are fun. Like, neither of them. Maybe it was fun the first time to see the Bat, but like, oh my god, it's just... You know, I would rather get Warcraft 4 than StarCraft 3. Because StarCraft 2 is still a really good game and has like a great esports community and still going strong. For the most part. But Warcraft 4 would be much more welcome, but I don't think it's going to happen. Would be a hard punch if Total War Warhammer 3 is bad. It's not going to be bad. Total War Warhammer 3 is going to be awesome, guys. Let's be real. You know? Like, the criticisms of it, like, oh yeah, it's like people calling it a MOBA after watching like one fraction of what it's going to have in it. It's literally like one mechanic. That would be like watching Free For All in Warhammer 2 when they showed it early and being like, oh, this is going to become a shitty, you know, battle royale free for all game. It's like, no, dude, it's not. Like, there's going to be a huge epic campaign map probably. Like, it's just, yeah, no. Anyways, that's just my opinion. Like, I think it's going to be great. I'm sure it'll have its flaws in the beginning. There will probably be bounce issues and a couple other things like that, but like, as long as they don't deviate too far from Warhammer 2 and they just keep the engine and add like new factions, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So deck dropper handguns here. Getting mithered and spirit leashed. We've seen this quite a bit. If anybody knows how to deal with deck dropper bats, it's certainly the Kraken King, as he's you know, one of the first innovators of that strategy here. And the deck dropper handguns are yeah, down to half health, give or take. But of course they can be invocation, which is very common. So Lunacy does use invocation. Obviously, the stopping power in this build does come from the bat. So if you do lose your bats outright early on, you are going to be paying a bit of a troll toll, and you'll be having a tricky time for sure. So bats rotating, being hunted down by the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, 2 very annoying units who certainly deserve each other. The deck dropper is down to about 15 models. from their 18. The not Bat Riders. The Spider Riders are rolling right under them, certainly getting some good DACA for sure. And sorry if I seem a little bit distracted. Lady Turin and I are going on a date tonight to my favorite Italian restaurant, which I just literally shove my body full of bread and meatballs, and I just go into a coma. So I'm very hungry. I haven't eaten since like 7 a.m. So it's how we roll, man. Let's do it. Let's get these finals going, man. So the Bat's rotating about, trying to deal with the skirmishers. We've obviously seen that is the recipe for success, is if you just kill the greenskin anti-air and then you just have like an annoying blob and kite the greenskins and use your bats. You can usually win the game in that fashion. Now, Enticity's almost in range with his archers. I'm curious what he's going to be targeting. So he does have Savage Orc Arrow Boys, Orc Arrow Boys, and more Savage Orc Arrow Boys. So they're going to be piling in, shooting into Count Noctilus, I would imagine. Let's go ahead and see maybe the Gunnery Whites. I can understand the theory of going after the Gunnery Whites instead, because it does actually get rid of the extra ammunition tools. In the backfield, Enticity does dodge or dive with some Squig Hoppers who take quite a beating from the Halberds, as well as the Bombers. And Grom the Paunch is now just being a big boy here, getting in there and going after the Zombie Pirate polearms, it would appear, but getting blasted on the head. Enticity does pop the Lucky Banner, but it might have been a little bit too late before he took a big chunk of damage. And now the Giant River Patrol Hag's moving in. Nice Brainbuster. That's a really strong combo for any of you guys who are Greenskin players. You send in Grom against Vampire Coast, you let them get surrounded by Halberds, and then you Brainbust them when they're tightly packed, and usually you net a ton of damage. It is very, very good. So Death Creepers and Spider Riders in the back are on the run, but they do get the Mortar Team. That's actually quite big. So now the Orc Arrow Boys, one of their big natural predators, is gone. It's gone for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4 archers. Scab Scraith going down, and the Night Goblins doing some decent work. But it seems like the Greenskins are definitely getting through the front line. But the Bats are all still here with the exception of one Bat. Both Gunnery Whites are healthy, and Count Noctilus is also still full health, which is a little bit problematic. Grom the Paunch is also at half health. I think the balance of power does reflect that maybe Vampire Coast does have a slight advantage right now. Normally, you know, in the olden days when people didn't use Gunnery Whites with the Bats, you would see the balance of power kind of ebb down as their ammunition ran out, but we're not seeing that now, because with 2 Gunnery Whites, you get what is it, 6 extra powders in total? So yeah, it's very hard to run out of ammo. Very, very tough. We do have the Rock Lobber in the back. The Rock Lobber, I think, is shooting at the Bats for the Greenskins. We do have this haggard little Goblin Rock Lobber here shooting in. And the Orc Arrow Boys are pretty good on ammo, but it looks like there's actually zombies pushing back, so the Greenskins appear to be buckling in the front line. Enticity has lost the Giant River Troll Hag. It looks like the Hag is on the run. Yeah, so a lot of things actually going a little bit south here for the Greenskins. I think Grom the Paunch needs to get more busy. But the thing is, like, Grom the Paunch used to chase down Count Noctilus quite happily, but now he can't because the 2 Gunnery Whites actually beat him up pretty badly in melee. They can defend Count Noctilus. They can really push it back. The Giant River Troll Hag here is definitely getting popped pretty good. She's healing, but she's taking her lunch meat somewhere else. She's like, screw this shit. I don't want to deal with these stupid gun bats. And there she goes, running for the hills, getting shot by Count Noctilus as well. So I would imagine one Deck Chopper probably will chase down the Giant River Troll Hags. Now for the Greenskin Army, we have the Night Goblin RORs. We still have the 4 Arrow Boys, a fair amount of Spider Riders, as well as some Orc Biggins moving in. So this is still a very, very close game, but the Gunnery Whites are healthy. I would imagine Noctilus probably has some Winds of Magic saved as well. Most likely holding on to at least 1 or 2 more summons, as well as Invocations, which he hasn't really had to use. Scab Scraith once again going on the Night Goblins. Thankfully for their sake, they did kind of rotate. And yeah, you can see the Giant River Troll Hag is pulling back, man. It's on the run. It's after you. So let's look around the battlefield, see what is afoot here. Orc Arrow Boys retreating from the pursuing zombies. And here we have more goblins fighting in the front line versus units. And the Night Goblins here rocking 61 models. So very, very close. Still very, very close. We've seen this situation many times. We did see this a couple weeks ago. Actually, in the last ECL qualifier, we actually had, I think, Enticity playing against Lunacy in the last qualifier, but it was in the semifinals. I think Lunacy ended up winning the series in the best of 3. I can't remember. Maybe Enticity did, but in the first game, we had Enticity do the bat build against the Chaos. And was it against him? I can't remember if it was him, but nonetheless, yeah, Greenskins are getting that late game regeneration boon, right? So Grom the Paunch is getting quite, angry here. He's getting nice and heavy duty as he heals up his HP. And the Greenskins do have a disturbing amount of archers online, which is going to be a potential problem. But now the Vampire Coast is just going to go into basically kiting mode. They're going to run away. They're going to use their gun bats. They're going to do a little bit of what I like to call scooting and shooting from StarCraft 2. Just think if you're watching StarCraft when they have the Marines, they use a stim pack, they shoot, they run, they shoot, they run. So while they're running, the reload time is active, and then as soon as they shoot again, it's basically you're covering ground while you're reloading, and that's kind of similar to what we're seeing here. Grom the Paunch is moving in. It looks like there's going to be a Wraith Storm going down on him from the skies. I think so. Let me go ahead and look. Can't quite tell. Would appear to be the case. So Grom the Paunch, Lucky Banner, Fist of Gork. He is sauced to the gills. 732. Oh, but why is he retreating? I feel like Grom should have stayed the course and just beaten down that Gunnery Wight, because now all these buffs are kind of wasted, except the Lucky Banner. A little bit unfortunate for sure, but here comes the Daka shooting up into the Bats, who are very, very happy in the ammunition department. Man, I feel like that was a big mistake running with Grom there. I mean, I guess, maybe not, though. There was 4 gun bats sitting here. He could have actually died to those gun bats. So that's a little bit problematic for sure. Let's see what the players are saying. Just got to make sure. Whenever I see the little icon, I assume there's some sort of a rules issue or something like that. So, yeah, it's a little bit tricky. So, Forest Goblin Spider Riders moving in. Count Noctilus is on the run. Night Goblins are chasing there. Grom the Paunch is grinding down some summons. Yeah, this looks very much like what we had seen from Enticity playing against Chaos in the previous ECL qualifier. Basically just waddling. While the bats are shooting, you run with your single entities, and then you can just turn and shoot with them. As long as you have one bat shooting, you're basically obeying the attacking rules. So there's a lot of gray area you can kind of accomplish here. Night Goblins sticking pretty hot on the heels of Count Noctilus. Actually getting some decent little prison shanks. Did about 100 damage there. The Goblin Rocklobber crew is out of ammunition. Grom the Paunch is not that close to his healing cap, so Grom still could go back up to 80% HP or something like that. A little bit hard to say, but here comes ye old greenskin army. Yes, the archer's moving in. Ammunition pretty good. My concern, though, is that there still probably is a Scab Scraith or two, so I think the Orc Arrow Boys are going to get broken by Count Noctilus's fire. And then from there, I think that the Deck Dropper Handgun Bats are just going to carry the game. And you can see that kind of speculation there is really going forward. Yeah, it's really, really going forward here. So there it goes. Deck Dropper Handguns getting blasted nice and good. And Vampire Coast just kind of pulling ahead here in this game. Looking like it's going to be the Coast day. The Coast glory. Yeah, man. Gunnery Wights, how they doing? Here they come. The Crab shall charge valiantly into the Orc Biggins. Yeah, they're hard to kill, too. They have 120 armor, right? So, yeah, here comes the Biggins, though. The anti-large bonus certainly does help a little bit. Yeah, it's just looking like Coast is going to take this game over, honestly. I don't see too many ways for this to go for the Greenskins here. Noctilus is too healthy. The Gunnery Wights are both in pretty good shape, and the fact that the battle is being dragged close to the edge of the battlefield only makes it even better for the Vampire Coast. Obviously, they're unbreakable due to being undead, and yeah, Count Noctilus here is Arcane Conduit. Probably even has more extra powders, although this may be the last of the powder. I'm not sure. Grom the Paunch is hiding behind his shaman, it looks like. He's kind of juking about there a little bit. But the Arrow Boys are advancing up. I don't think Grom can kill all these characters. Grom against Noctilus one-on-one might actually be able to win with regeneration in his items, but yeah, look at that. And Lunacy still has more summons in the back pocket. This matchup is one that, man, we run into so much. I really hope that in Saturday's Faction War we don't run into this matchup in the finals again. It's just, we see it so much. We see it so much. Night Goblins here get the Fist of Gork. Going to be power fisting here on the feet of Count Noctilus with their 58 melee attack and poison damage. And the Bounce of Power is kind of ebbed back for a second. But I think once, yeah, you can see Grom's kind of getting sniped here, but Anticity's basically just juking right now. He's just running side to side with Grom the Paunch, trying to waste ammunition, and ammunition is a big factor in the Bounce Power. Scab Scraith goes down, hits the Night Goblins, does kind of end its run before it gets to the Arrow Boys, which are pressing in, and could we see a comeback? I don't know, man. Looking pretty tricky here. As a matter of fact, you could probably grab Grom and the Gunnery Wights and actually charge into the Greenskin lines right now. I don't think the Greenskin army here, which looks like is in a little bit of trouble, is going to be, yeah, holding up to the terror route of Count Noctilus. Grom might be able to get really lucky and get some big alpha strike, but man, that's a tall order to take out 2 Gunnery Wights. And the positioning of the battle, like I said, pretty good here for the Coast, but it's not like the Greenskins. Most of their army is away from the edge, so they should more or less be okay. Grom the Paunch getting gadded down pretty good. He pops Lucky Banner. Only Grom the Paunch could survive this amount of Withering Fire over the course of the whole game. In between his armor and his regeneration and his Lucky Banner. Looks like he stabilizes at about 23 leadership. The Orc Shaman's getting in there too, man. Everyone's getting down and dirty. Kraken King might be able to pull this back. He might be able to pull this one back. He's moving in. The Gunnery Wight, though, this positioning is so not good. And it's not like Lunacy like purposely, like he just like ran with whatever space he had. It's not like this is like some intentional abuse here, but Gunnery White's going down, man. Is Grom gonna survive this shit? Oh my god, Grom is so powerful. And it looks like ammunition is out. Oh, the bats are running out of ammo and the balance power is creeping back. Does Noctilus have an invo? I suppose that's the big deciding factor. Noctilus, they should probably all turn around and kill this Orc Shaman right now. I think that would be very, very strong. This is just a terror route too, so it looks like the Orc Biggins are back in business. Oh, no, and then they get terror routed and actually broken. So yeah, they're going to get escorted off the battlefield there. Yeah, it's over, I think. I think Kosa's got this. Like, the bats are now diving onto the Error Boys. Grom the Paunch is coming back. The Gunnery Whites are both pretty healthy. And despite them being close to the edge, the Orc Biggins actually take a very favorable route for Enticity. They don't break off the edge here. So they run away, and that's that. So, yeah. That appears to be it. The Vampire Coast Greenskins are just getting crushed today, man. It seems like people have got their number. At least Vampire Coast has their number. I don't think other factions. The Undead have their number. Greenskins versus everyone else is still really gnarly, of course, but it seems like the Undead are pretty top performers. Grom the Paunch still healing. Orc Shaman, and you know, it looks like none of the units routed off the edge of the battlefield, so that's very, very fortunate. Ammo is out on Gunnery Whites. Could Grom go Super Saiyan here? I mean, he's got 1100 HP. It looks like there are some Forest Goblin Spider Riders too in the back of the map that could come back here. No, there's no way. Grom can't beat 2 Gunnery Whites, especially with the Orc Shaman kind of on the run here. We got some Biggins moving back in. Where's the Chungus? He's rotating about. This balance of power is very tenacious, right? Because if Enticity wins this, he qualifies for the Grand Finals with a chance to win a pretty big cash prize. So there's a lot on the line here in this game. It's a high stakes game, so I can understand why he's trying his hardest here, not leaving the game. I mean, it's still kind of close-ish. I mean, Noctilus is god-awful in combat, right? And if the Greenskins can muster some forces here, if Grom the Paunch can do his thing, that'd be very interesting. If we do go to Game 5, of course, players will do the 3-pick system. So the individual who wins this game will pick 3 factions and ban 1. That is going to be standard. Grom looks like he's going full chub here, going after Count Noctilus. It looks like it. So here he comes. The Axe of Grom into Great Uns is here, chopping into the Hard Knock Life. But I don't see him holding the line here. He does actually hit Count Noctilus pretty aggressively. Holy shit, man. Grom is so meaty. But now we got the friends coming in. So Lucky Banner's popped right as the other units do decide to get in. Noctilus is getting gooned by Grom. Oh my god, could this be a comeback? Grom is so powerful. God damn. And now we got Biggins coming in and shit. Look at Grom. He's like dodging the Gunnery Whites. He's like drifting around Count Noctilus. We have the Night Goblins coming in applying poison. And it looks like Grom hasn't taken any hits. We even have the Goblin Rocklobber crew coming in as well as the Orc Shaman. And I think Grom is just going to avoid the crabs and just keep cycle charging Noctilus. Here comes a charge in the back. It hits him, does some relatively good damage. Holy shit, he's down to 1500. Fist of Gork is active. It looks like Grom does not get hit. The Gunnery Whites are really struggling to make contact. And yeah, man, the Biggins fighting in here will be pretty helpful, actually. Help chew down the bats. Although there's more bats coming. All right, Grom the Paunch going in for the kill once again. The brave Night Goblins going, but Grom is kind of mucked up here by the Jack Droppers. The J Phoenix in chat saying, I love Enticity, but I hope Grom loses. Grom is so good. And now look at this. The Hard Knock Life is like crumbling. Okay, he stabilizes. He's at 7 leadership, 13 leadership. Shit's getting real. Oh my god. It's happening, man. It's happening. So Grom the Paunch is drifting about. The Gunnery Whites are trying their hardest to get him, but he's too slippery. We still have 3 Night Goblins fighting here. Aside from that, look at that. The Goblin Rocklobber crews are being pulled in. And I think Grom has a relatively safe engagement, I guess. Yeah, it looks like he's down to 900. So Grom is starting to take some damage. I'm sure Lunacy is sweating bullets right now. Probably cursing in his flat or apartment or home, wherever he lives. Like, God damn it, Grom, why won't you die? Grom is like the Thing from that Kurt Russell movie. Just like keeps surviving, and you just can't quite get it. It always gets away. So Grom drifting about. Orc Shaman trying to fight, but I think the Gunnery Whites are still going to be too much. The Great Uns is here, giving a leadership buff. Keeping the army fighting, and now Grom is going for the kill. He's going for it. Is he going to get on Count Noctilus? It looks like some of the bats. Oh, and he actually gets blasted in the face by Noctilus. Holy shit. Grom Theft Auto for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to Game 5. It's on, baby. Dude, this is a game. That was a brutal one. Both of these builds I just dislike so much. I know they're good. but I just don't like watching them. All right. Yeah, so looking like that is going to be obviously the Gunnery Whites and Noctwill's doing great. Bats all accruing some pretty respectable value. Grom the Paunch being a raid boss as usual. Yes. And now we go to game 5. Pick 3. Pick 3 here. All right. So now we're at the pick 3 system. We'll do a relatively standard map. We will see. The Bitter Dunes. We could do Iron Sand Desert. I like that map a lot. All right. Map set. Looking good to me. Sounds good to me. Sec. One sec, guys. Just going to respond to some messages real quick. I'll be back in just a moment. Cool. We can even... All right, perfect. We're all set. And now for the final picks and bans. Oh, Pone, I just sent you guys a message in Discord in the chat. Yeah. Which lords are the best in 1v1? I mean, duelist lords, you know, like Karl Franz is quite good. Kolek's really strong. Luther Harkin is a beast. It depends if you're talking like straight up just mouth breathing, like grinding against each other, or if we're including cycle charging. There's many variables. Yeah, there's many variables. It's a long tournament. I mean, we started very early, yeah. This is the nature of the beast with these tournaments, especially when they have so many series that go like 2-1. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be long. All right. Moves. Very good. Cool. Just talking with some folks as well. Talking with Grom Brundle in the community as well. He mentioned that there's going to be a Polish Warhammer Championships. He was asking if I could cast the finals, which if only I could speak Polish. But yeah, we will. Be fun. It'll be very fun indeed. All right. Mouth breathing, grinding together. Why you got to attack my style like that? That's so funny. Yeah, Grom's a beast for sure. So here, yes, there is. So it's like a normal best of 3. You pick 3 and ban 1. Yes. Cool. So yeah, just clarifying with the players what the pick and ban system's like. Impressive performances today across the board. We've had some really, really good matches. And the winner of this, now that we are here in Game 5, is going to be joining the top 8 with these mighty champions. Falcon, Alfredino, Imperator, Ice Power, Total War, and Void Laws. That is a scary, scary top 8. So I'm thinking for the next qualifier as well, we are going to do make Anna co-cast. Yeah, Pone, that would actually be really fun. We could bring in Anna to be like the... Oh, that would be really cool. We could interview the players and like she could interview them in Polish and translate. That'd be really fun. Yeah, Polish is a very tough language. Yeah, this is best of 5. This is a balls deep tournament, man. But for the next ECL, I think what I'm going to do is combine the last 2 spots. So number 7 and 8 will go to 1st and 2nd place. You know. So yeah, Lunacy is going to do his picks and bans here and just get everything going. The map is set, so the players know what to expect. And yeah. Yeah, Polish is a really cool language for sure. It's tricky. It's tricky, you know. And so that guy's just responding to a message. All right, we're all set. What will his 3 picks be? Is Lady Turin our Ice Queen? Yeah, she is. She's very excited for Kislev. We're going to be collecting a Kislev army too in tabletop. Yeah, it's going to be fun because I have an Empire army I've been working on, and when Old World comes back. But my Empire army's on round bases, so I don't know if they're going to bring back Old World with... what I would like to see is Old World be like... I actually prefer round bases to the square bases. I know that might be a little bit heretical, but if they want to do rank and file again, like they did for Warhammer Fantasy, you know, where they're like kind of tightly packed, they could just like have a tray that you can like put them on. I think that would be cool. But I'd rather honestly see Old World have like, you know, big armies for sure. But, you know, Age of Sigmar does have a lot of efficient things about it. Like something more like that. I don't know. This is where the Bone Zone, we already had the Bone Zone. No, they don't sell Kislev models yet, but they will eventually. We're going to collect them for sure. Because then I'll have an Empire army and a Kislev army. And then I'll probably get one bad guy army too. Like one of the Chaos armies in Old World, I'll probably get one of those. Yeah. Yeah. In terms of Age of Sigmar, I have a Demogryph Knight army. So I run, how many demis do I run? 9. I run 9 Demogryph Knights, 3 squads of 3. I run a big Griffin, which is basically the Karl Franz model. And I go that way. Yeah. It's pretty fun. It feels like I'm playing, you know, a very thematic Demogryph Knight charging army. But yeah, we're good. We're good, man. Yeah, I'm 100% going to cover tabletop fantasy when it comes back. I'm going to make videos, battle reports, guides. That's something in my future roadmap that I do plan on covering very heavily. Yeah, Oak, I've seen you in most streams, man. You've done a good job. Done a good job here. This is high stakes. It's the final match. So Lunacy taking a little bit of time, but we're going to be forgiving. They've invested their whole day in this. So, you know, I don't want to rush them here when it's the most important moment. I'm actually, yeah, I was planning on doing that during streams, actually. I kind of changed my mind. I think during like long breaks, I was just going to do that. As a matter of fact, I'll probably do that for the next stream. Yeah. Kislev is too much to bear. Fall of the Samurai tournaments. You know, I actually quit playing Shogun when Fall of the Samurai came out. I didn't like it. I was like, I heard it was a decent expansion, but I played Shogun, like traditional Shogun in multiplayer, and then I remember one day I logged on, the expansion came out. I didn't have it, and I loaded in, and some dude just like had like a Gatling gun and all this powder and just destroyed my army, and I was like, oh, that's how it must have felt. I don't want to play anymore. No, but it just didn't appeal to me. I don't know why. Yeah. So that's that. This is the final, correct. This is the grand final. We're here in the rubber match. Game 5, baby. We have Dark Elves, Wood Elves, and Bretonnia banning Dwarves. Yeah. You think the new Undead faction... Was there a confirmation that there's going to be a new Undead faction? If there is, hell yeah, give me Musion. Musion would be really cool to get like a Bretonnian like Undead faction. Although like that, they'd have to be pretty different. Yeah, because like Bretonnia and like Vampire Counts have a lot of similarities in their cavalry and things like that. What if I told you can be Tom Cruise as your legendary Lord Pwn? I would be so stoked, bro. I would be so happy. I was the Last Samurai, dude. I got Last Samurai, yeah, when I played Shogun. Yeah, it was a tragic time. Right. Looks fine. 1 second here. Cool. Internet's holding up, man. No drama. Can't complain about that. It was really cool when you were beating Fall of the Samurai units with regular. Yeah, for sure. I played for a while, like when Fall of the Samurai came out, but I never got the expansion. I just played with my army, and yeah, it was cool to like pull off a victory. Yeah, it certainly felt pretty righteous. Did Shogun 1 have... I didn't play Shogun 1. I played Shogun 2. I played the original Rome quite a bit. When I was in college in 2006, I remember being in my dorm room playing Rome Total War multiplayer and, you know, doing campaigns and stuff, yeah. I did not really play Three Kingdoms, no. It didn't appeal to me because battles... I don't like the battles in Three Kingdoms. The campaign's good, but for me, battle is the most important thing, so, yeah. And also, like... yeah, it's the time period is cool and all for sure, but it didn't call to me like Warhammer did, so it wasn't enough to like pull my attention away from Warhammer. All right, so Lunacy goes Dark Elves, Wood Elves, and Bretonnia banning Dwarves, and Enticity goes Wood Elves banning Bretonnia. Oh my God, we're getting a Wood Elf mirror match. Lunacy counterpicks his Wood Elves with Wood Elves. Why does this always happen? Always, man. Every time. All right, man. We got a Wood Elf mirror match. I didn't play the Rome remaster, no. Hadries, don't you put that evil on this stream. No rule breaks. Not today. Get that evil out of here. Ice Power Total War, you would have loved this ECL because the Greenskins got shit on like every single game. I don't think the Greenskins won. They went 0-4 today. Just like absolutely run over. But that was because it was against Coast Gunbat spam like every single time, or Vampire counts. So, yeah. Oh, why? We have a game with 15 factions, and this is what we get. Yaru, thank you for the $4.99. This kills the Turin. Oh, God, it's cursed. It's cursed. I have actually legitimately thought about banning mirror matches in my events. Yeah, I've legit thought about it. Dude, I honestly think the Gunbat Gunnery White thing is like almost as degenerate as like Grom and like the Spider Rider spam and all that shit. It's close. I think Greenskins are slightly worse against more factions, but it's just so unfun. Yeah, those ones. Well, hopefully we get like, yeah, one crazy ass rush. I hope we see Mel Gibson, but I don't think we will. Yeah. Ban mirror matches for my tournaments. I've really thought about that. Okay, so from the perspective of both people who have played in tournaments in chat and folks who haven't, what would you guys say about banning mirror matches? Like, I mean, some of them can be interesting, but some of them are just awful. It's like a really mixed bag because I think it's kind of like, I think you should have mirror matches, but like sometimes it's like a little bit unfun to cast and watch. So I guess it's like balancing the player experience versus, I don't know. I'm really on the fence about it because I don't like the idea of banning mirror matches, but like there are times where I'm tempted. Yeah. It does add some memes to the community for sure. And then what happens if we... No, I just don't think it's a good idea to ban them, honestly. They're still already super rare. Yeah, I'm kind of against banning them ultimately, but like I understand why people would want to. Yeah. I was just curious what everyone thought about it. It seems like most viewers want to ban them, but most people, like tournament players I recognize, are against banning them. Yeah. It's more so like it's hard to tell what's happening in the battle, but yeah, you know. As a fan, I say ban the mirror matches. It's not as much fun to watch, yeah. Yeah, it's I probably never will ban them, so let's just be honest about this, but I just wanted to collect some feedback and see what you guys had to say. I'm okay with mirrors personally, but I would not feel a great loss if they were banned. So either works for me, says Hadries, yeah. Yeah, Sigvald dueling Sigvald. The only time I really like am tempted to do it is when there's like a vampire count mirror match, and then I'm just like, oh my god, end me, dude. End me. Just end me. Well, Poison Ducky, they already confirmed there's not going to be an army painter, so. Alright, so if we take a look here at the forces of Enticity, it's going to be Eternal Guard, backed up by Deepwood Scout spam. So it looks like 4 of those. We've got a Spellsinger of Life, a Glade Lord of Pravenoth Rama, as well as Wild Riders into the Sunset. So yeah, very like basic army, right? Like very like, you know, it's got its front line, it's got its archers, it's got its cavalry. So pretty cool. And now for the forces here of Lunacy. No cool lords, no fun lords, just the boring Pravenoth Rama lords. Got a Spellsinger of Life. This one's going to be on horseback. Glade Riders with spears. Wild Riders, oh, it is kind of a rush, a bit of a vanguard. Dryads instead of Eternal Guard, backed with Deepwood Scouts, and a bunch of Wild Riders. All right, looks like we got a rush. This is certainly going to be exciting. Will Enticity be able to hold back the rush? He does have a lot of spears, but the spears do struggle against Dryads, but Dryads struggle against Focus Fire and Cavalry charges. It's very much like a rock, paper, scissors game here. You guys want to just ban only the vampire count mirror match? Just no other ones like, all right, that one we don't allow here. That is really, really funny. So, what are your predictions? Are you rooting for the champion of Clan ODM, the Kraken King himself, Enticity, or the challenger, Lunacy. Lunacy coming off a strong victory against Evenstar, the world champion, and is now looking to claim the ECL crown. Do Dryads beat Eternal Guards? Yes, they do. They do. But Eternal Guards hold for quite some time. It's not like a massacre, but yeah, Dryads do pretty well in that type of a fight. I see some people wagering that Wood Elves are going to win this matchup. All right. Can this end in a draw? I do not believe so. Well, we do have an hour-long timer. What happens? Yeah, I mean, what happens if two Legendary Lords are the only thing left and they kill each other at the exact same time? I think in that case, you might actually see a draw. Will I play Warhammer Stormground? I'll check it out. Yeah, if it's an RTS game, I'm interested in looking, so. Looks like we got people on both sides of the aisle. Enticity immediately recognizing the rush and rotates away, so to move away from the strength of Lunacy's flank. Now it looks like Kraken King has kind of formed ranks. There's going to be a little bit of archer skirmish, it would appear. And it looks like Lunacy going to be the aggressor here, with the Dryads moving in, and now the Eternal Guard are forming ranks. You like the Skaven's chances? Well, Skaven certainly rubbing their little rat paws together from the shadows. Happy to see the Wood Elves fighting each other. Some very good predictions. But yeah, here comes the Dryads. Should be able to make some good work here. But again, Dryads don't have the advantage of having Silver Shields, so they are going to take a lot of damage from the Deepwood Scouts. And it looks like an Awakening of the Wood going down as well. Does kind of slow down the Dryads. Doesn't do too much damage, but still not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Now, Enticity does have a couple Eternal Guard isolated here, but is it just a big trap? Wild Hunters of Kurnus going to be hammering in. This is a big advantage here for Enticity, but a Pravenoth Rhema goes down on the Wild Hunters, and then the Wild Riders get away. But is there going to be follow-up? Or is that just going to be kind of a baited Pravenoth Rhema? Okay, nice right there. Prey goes down. They're taking fire from the Deepwood Scouts. These Wild Riders actually get a nice charge on the other two, but they're still so heavily outnumbered. Oh, look at that Dwellers Below combo. So he prays them. He nails them with the Dwellers Below, and then Lunacy charges in with the Wild Riders and really crumps them good. That was a really masterful play. 1,500 gold unit pretty much in the can here. Now on the other side, it looks like Enticity does use his Pravenoth Rhema and then follows up with his Spear Wall against the Wild Riders, but that's a really nice grab for sure. Getting rid of the very elite Wild Hunters of Kurnus has got to feel pretty good. Plus the Dryads do have a bit of a ticking time bomb, right? They're moving through the front line. Inevitably, they will get through. Maybe not here because these ones did take so much damage, but it is what it is. Now, Lunacy's Wild Hunters of Kurnus do meet a similar fate, but at least they get to go out fighting against some Wild Riders, and we get more Wild Riders piling in on the Wild Riders of Enticity here. You can see why casting mirror matches is so much fun, but so far, it looks like the balance of power is actually showing Enticity to be in a better kind of state. Maybe it's because of the damage his Deepwood Scouts are doing. It's kind of hard to tell, to be honest, but Lunacy's Wild Riders are taking a lot of damage, and it seems like despite Lunacy's pick, Anticity's Cavalry Corps is still holding very, very strong. So in the back, Awakening of the Wood going down, it does blast the Dryads. At least we have a little bit of variance between the Dryads and the Eternal Guard. That is something that is nice. Wild Riders moving in, going after more Wild Riders. And this is a big play here for the Kraken King. Being able to move back here and secure all these Deepwood Scouts, finish off the last mobility, means that the Dryads, even though they are winning many of their fights, the Dryads are just going to have to waddle like potatoes, and Dryads are going to have a horrible time against Deepwood Scouts. Deepwood Scouts, of course, no Swift Shiver Shards, so no magic damage, but they still hit very, very hard against lightly armored infantry, so that is something to consider. So, looking at the balance, Enticity is very, very far ahead here. Certainly getting the better missile fire. He's got that nice little RTS concave back here, shooting into the Dryads. Nice Earthblood going down from Lunacy, though. Does hit his Glade Lord and the remaining Dryads, but I simply think that Lunacy's army doesn't have the stopping power to kill Anticity's. Enticity has so much ammo left on those Deepwood Scouts, and they have a beautiful position. They're not being threatened at all, and they're just taking apart the last of the mobility. You can see here these Wild Riders are getting last hammered pretty efficiently by the Deepwood Scouts. Deepwood Scouts is definitely a very cool-looking unit. And down they go. So balance of power kind of creeping back to the middle for a second. It looks like maybe the melee engagements turning in the favor of Lunacy here have started to get the bounce back. He does have, of course, his Dryads, his Caster, and ammunition is kind of, waxing and waning here for Enticity, but I still think he has enough ammo to close out this game and perhaps get army losses going. Yeah, I think he has enough. So Anticity's Wild Hunters are back. The ones that we saw got caught in the Dwellers Below earlier, but it looks like Lunacy is going to withdraw. A little bit anticlimactic, but nonetheless, a big congratulations to the Kraken King, Enticity, for playing in this 6-7 hour tournament, however long it was, streaming the entire time, He attempted to qualify, I believe, every single time. Came very close, but he finally makes it here. Defeating Lunacy, who just defeated the World Championship. So showing that he's certainly a contender. Yes. GG, well played. The extra Deepwood Scout may have made a big difference. The Spears also against the Cavalry is a big factor as well. So there you have it. Enticity does advance on the bracket. You will fly magically using the power of technology. And now we go to the top 8 and inscribe his name in the Hall of Champions for Season 6. Enticity. Let us do it. Oh, it's already in use here. Here we go. Let's give him the cool font, too. He gets the cool font. GG, well played. Really close games today, man. I think they were all 2-1, right? We didn't have any sweeps. So no wonder the stream went so long. Almost 4 hours. Shit, I'm so goddamn hungry right now. All right. That is the tale of the tape. He finally got his spot, man. A beast. So Falcon, Alfredinho, Imperator, Ice Power, Total War, Void Laws, and Enticity. Currently we have, I think, 3 ODM members. Alfredinho, Imperator, and Enticity. We have an XMT or XMD member with Ice Power. We have 2 XMT, actually. Falcon and Ice Power, I think, are both XMT. And Void Laws, I don't think, is in a clan. So there you have it. It was a wild series. I'm sure we'll be seeing Lunacy back to attempt to qualify for the next week. Should be quite exciting. Where can you register? So if any of the mods in chat could drop a link to my Discord, you just sign up in there when I announce it. That is a scary list. This is going to be like just an absolute beast mode competition. Void Laws is basically VM. Got it. Yeah, VM, a very, very strong clan. Great players. So I'm sure we'll be seeing some VM people filling these last 2 spots. You never know. You never know. So again, guys, I just want to take a moment to sincerely thank you all for joining. It was a fun day of competition. We got to see some interesting builds and some very familiar builds as well. And congratulations to Enticity, the Kraken King, earning his spot in the ECL Grand Finals of Season 6. Big thanks to Yaru, Sice, Joe Leonard, Tanako, Krieger, Simon Benjamin, TY Guy, Anime Sucks, Lich 109, Captain Backslicer, Mr. Morgenthaler, Spice, Logan, Winston, Hawker 85, Wesley Chartrand, Lich 109, Alex here, and Press for Sleepy Time. Thank you guys all so much for your donations. Really helping me get that prize pool going. And that's that. So, for now, you guys take care of yourselves. Spend some time with your loved ones. Get some food. Get some sleep. I know it's late over in Europe. The stream went quite long, but you know that's the nature when you have a fearsome battle. It's gonna go that way. I do drop a like on the way out. It helps quite a bit. All right, guys, ECL's back in business. We'll have an ECL not this weekend, but there will be one not this weekend, but the following weekend to close out the season, basically. And then that's it. That was fun. Take care, my friends. Stay safe. We'll see you next time. Congratulations to Enticity. And we will see you guys on the other side. Thank you, Christopher, for the donation. Take care.